The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
Hey, let's bring in Aaron Paul.
Yeah,
where are we going to put him? We got
He'll be in the chair of honor.
The chair of honor. Ah, there he is.
Wow, I
recognize
know this guy.
It's like, hey, I know this guy.
Fuck, I know this guy.
I know. We have the
Jim.
how you doing, Anthony? That's
Opie, brother. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And for the 80th time, I have to explain. Look, I don't normally look like this. I had a fight with my
He doesn't
pool.
care.
I didn't even notice it.
No, actually, I look like
notice.
you in every episode.
I know.
You get the shit beat out of you
Yeah,
constantly.
They love
They love beating you to a pulp.
throwing me down.
Yes, you're Jesse, of course, on Breaking Bad.
Jesse Pinkman.
And I didn't watch the show from the beginning when it was actually on, but somebody turned me on to the DVDs, and it was one of those where I popped the first one in and went, all right, that's it, captured.
Yeah.
That first episode grabs it because you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And from there, it just gets better and better.
It's so good.
Yeah,
It's so good. I started smoking meth.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you?
yeah, it really
we have that effect.
It's great.
It kind of does make you want to do meth.
Yeah, it
'cause
really
just
does.
looks so fun.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just like so excited when they do it and everything.
I literally just started. I'm only 2 episodes into the box set because I know the new season starting. What happens after the acid bleeds through the ceiling? I'm kidding. That's where I am. I have
The melted body falls through.
Yeah,
That's where I am
that's
right
a
now.
great
Yeah.
one.
I've only seen the first 2.
That is a good one, and yeah, you screwing things up like that really makes the show, because obviously you got Brian, who's very technical and knows his shit. And you're just like, yeah, well, you get a plastic tub when I could use the metal bathtub. And ooh,
I can
See,
do
you
this.
learn stuff on that
bad
show.
idea.
Like,
you
don't
really do.
Yeah.
Have you been watching it and thinking like, I think I could make meth?
Yes.
I'm going to have to be devil's
I have this
advocate.
down.
I don't get it. No.
I don't understand the
No,
story.
we watched the first 2 seasons,
Yeah.
and I mean, this has nothing to do with you, but it's taken forever to get the 3rd season on DVD on Amazon. Is it out?
Yeah, it actually it just came
Huh?
out.
It just came out?
Yeah.
He's having a problem with his iTunes download. Could you call somebody?
Can you go to his house and
Hey,
work
wait,
on it?
listen, I'm married, my wife and I are comics, and we don't like talking to each other, so we got to watch this
Okay.
kind of stuff. You know what I mean? 2 fucking seasons. You know how much conversation we...
Rich, what is the show about for the people out there that don't know?
It's about. You want me to tell you? It's about.
Yes,
it's
please,
a school teacher who thinks he has a certain amount of time to live. He has cancer, so he wants to leave his family with a little nest egg.
Right.
So and he's a chemist, so he realizes, hey, I can make money making meth because it's big. They kill people throughout the show. There's never an investigation. People are dead. Okay, the guy's selling meth in front of his brother-in-law, who's supposedly a big DEA agent. Okay. But it's fucking good, all right.
But that's
it's not
just
like
it.
it's
It's
not like
those-
the killings of Son of Anarchy, where they kill you right in front of a cop and they don't investigate. There's drugs behind
It
it.
is, but I see it as they're like drug skulls. They're scum. Like a lot of times, you don't really want to investigate.
Have you
too
ever
much
been
into
in
that
an
shit.
interview where you didn't speak at all?
No, actually, this is fantastic. I love watching you guys talk.
It really is.
No, I'd much rather be in this situation.
We're just looking at Aaron and going, right?
Yeah. And I just said, yes, you're absolutely right.
No, I do want to ask you a couple of things. I gather you were not supposed to be in the full show.
No,
You were just supposed to do.
Yeah, Jesse was supposed to die at the end of the
Die
first
off.
season.
Now,
Yeah.
now what changed that? I guess you did a good job.
Yeah, thank God they decided to keep him around. They just Vince, our creator, kind of just loved the tug of war, odd couple, like you know, beating head element of Walt and Jesse's characters. So
Yeah, I couldn't imagine like what they would have done if you weren't in it, because it would have been kind of one-sided. It does give that kind of two guys that are complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, it's this type of show is like you never know if you're going to die or not. There's a lot of our main cast. They just meet their demise, and
when I first started watching it, and I was trying to stay away from spoilers.
I don't know any
people will
spoilers.
just be, no, I'm not going to say any. But people were like, there are these holy shit moments where you literally sit there and just go, holy shit, no way. No fucking way that just happened.
Right.
Or that person got killed or whatever. But
So wait, when you got hired, you knew you were supposed to die at the end of the first season?
I had no idea.
You didn't?
Yeah, I mean, I've done so many pilots, and none of them ever, see the light of day. And this is the first one that I did that actually got picked up. And I just thought I got a series regular gig, but they told me towards the end of the season they were going to plan to kill off the character, and then they decided.
Hey, we got some bad news for you.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to die.
Don't tell him.
Oh, you
No spoilers.
It's depressing. When he came in, his publicist was outside, and she's looking. I'm going, oh, she recognizes me, and it was stupid fucking Tom Papa.
Of course you recognize Tom.
I work with her too.
Tom's a big star.
Tom has a
on
show on NBC.
Yeah.
You were on between fucking whisk commercials in 1997. You depress me because you look like what I would want to look like.
It's true. I was thinking that.
He's me.
Oh, shit.
He's me if I was really handsome and thin.
And in shape,
And in shape, yeah.
He's the perfect Norton.
You're what I could have been.
No, you couldn't. No, you
Well,
couldn't.
a little booze during pregnancy might have hurt him.
No, and he can act. He knows what to do with his hands. Not like Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't know what to do with his
His
hands.
eyes don't pop out after every scene.
I do. What do you do? That's the hardest part. I always ask real actors. When I act, I don't like. I'm talking. My hands are very still, and it's fine. But I don't know how to work my hands when I act. It's a fucking nightmare. I literally am all over the place.
You're not a
Work your
puppet.
mouth.
He's a puppet.
They're all over the place. It's uncomfortable.
Maybe hold something.
That's a good idea. But every scene I'm holding things.
Where are you
Just,
going to put a black cock on every shot?
your mouth.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Wow.
No, Brian Cranston's your co-star. Everybody knows him from Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
And he played like a pretty goofy guy in that. And you could see pieces of that come through in Breaking Bad. Is he more like that on the set?
Bryan Cranston is a child trapped in a man's body.
Yeah, that's
really
what it comes across as.
Yeah, he's incredible.
His girlfriend's a child trapped in his house.
Oh, right, Rich.
Who, me? Oh,
Yeah,
Anthony.
me.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty funny. He pointed at Anthony.
Yes, right. I don't go for 50-year-old women. Sorry.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey.
No, you're not 50.
Oh, Bonnie.
I look beaten down because I've been with him.
I wasn't even implying it.
Don't you insult Bonnie.
How old is Bonnie? Bonnie,
come back.
You made her uncomfortable.
You better not
Bonnie-
walk out. This is
It's just
something.
another excuse for me to use meth. That's all.
Exactly.
Bonnie's in her late 30s.
Yeah.
That's absolutely where I put you.
In her late 30s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mid.
No, she looks good. I'm telling you.
Trouble.
A lady never tells me.
You know, I just
What
tried
happened to the
fucking-
interview?
I don't know.
Bonnie
Bonnie jumped on me.
We all have this weird stuff going on. We have this weird dynamic. We're happy you're here. I'm attracted to a married woman in the corner, and it's giving her the creeps. I keep looking at her long toes, and I want to touch them. It's awful.
We haven't even interviewed fucking Hubble telescope eyes over here.
We'll get to him at some point.
Exactly. We'll get to Carl from Sling Blade in a second. I want to talk about her and how she and I can be on Land of the Lost with those slee stack feet. I'm very interested. I'm kidding, of course. I like you a
Fun
lot.
of her
Seth.
big feet.
She's very sexy.
Jesus.
All right.
So and Brian, he won an Emmy for this.
Yeah. He's won the past 3 years in a row.
It's amazing because his acting is. I guess I underestimated him because he was just in a sitcom for the most part and kind of playing the goofy dad part.
Yeah.
But man, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, he's great.
He gets that whole thing going of the fear and confusion. And he played the cancer guy really well too. I was kind of a little skeptical at first watching it because I'm thinking like, oh God, I hate watching shows like this because I always think I have something. If I watch something where someone's sick in the show, but at least they didn't really dwell on it a lot. He was coughing up blood. I wasn't. I felt I was okay.
You're in the clear.
Yeah, I was pretty much in the clear. But I guess the first, and this isn't a spoiler because it happens. The first killing that takes place that he is responsible for, hands-on and eye-to-eye, is frightening.
Yeah.
Because you really do kind of get to know that person. And I think he did a fantastic job on that one.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah.
How many girls now are all over you because you're on this fucking show? I mean, you got to be.
He would have girls all over him even if he
Well,
wasn't.
you're at your age,
Right.
of course. I'm talking about. I'm talking about young,
Right.
you know.
Right.
You know.
I think I can speak on behalf of the youngsters.
No.
I'm talking about girls that you let stay over. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, I mean, are you from L.A.?
I am.
All right, so
How many
so-
questions are you going to ask the guy? You ask him two different. Let him answer one first, then ask the second
I want
one.
to hear the girl thing today.
Of course I do. Do you have girls all over you? You from L.A.? What airline do you fly? How many things are you going to ask him?
Check your bag.
Can you give me a copy of the DVD?
I would like the
Call
third
Amazon.
season.
So, yeah, you're from L.A. originally?
No, Idaho originally, but
Oh,
I've been
wow.
in LA since I was 17.
All right, and has the woman situation improved a lot since you've been on the show?
It's a little different, but I don't know.
You know,
I'm in a very serious, kind of
long
relationship.
term.
Yeah.
Were you in it when you got the gig?
No.
Oh, you got involved after. How many seasons in did you meet the girl?
3.
Oh, so you have
Or
time.
2,
All right,
yeah.
you got it out of your system.
2, yeah.
That's fucking first.
Got it out of his system.
First 2 seasons, you go fucking crazy,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you meet somebody,
And then
who-
settle down.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I wouldn't know. I've only been on a series that lasted 1 season, but I imagine if there was a second one, all right.
You're working on it.
Yeah, whatever.
You're working on it.
You can get, when you're on TV like that, you can get like clothing and
Could you
sneakers.
talk into the
top
mic?
and shit, like, you know what I mean?
He's talking about he's talking about pilfering from the set.
He's trying to get
No,
swag.
he's talking getting swag.
He loves to barter.
Yeah, but the clothes
loves
that
the deal.
I wear on the show are they're all like triple XL, like
Right.
giant.
Give them to Norton when you're done. Nothing.
But
Did
that's
you-
just
I got
mean,
I
Rich.
got greedy.
It's all right.
Did you have to hang out and watch some meth heads to figure out how to?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching and going like, that kind of looks like what meth would look like.
Yeah. I definitely surrounded myself with a lot of those characters.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, I went to rehabs, and it was an interesting time.
A real disturbing scene is when you're having sex with that hooker thing in the room, and I'm like, I was
Wendy, yeah.
I was kind of like, what's he doing there?
What's he doing?
That's gotta be
What was wrong
some
with
kind of
Wendy?
she's just a disaster, meth head,
fat?
bad. No, but she's like got meth fucking.
Yeah,
like,
she's our
teeth
crack
and-
whore of the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's great, but yeah, she's definitely the crack
Who plays
whore.
her?
This local actress in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they completely ugly her up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
is she
girl
not?
that played
She's
your
not.
girl?
She's not quite that bad.
No.
The girl that played your girlfriend was really attractive.
Yeah, Kristen Ritter.
Oh
yeah,
man, yeah.
Yeah.
She's,
Definitely
no,
hot.
I'm not farting.
I actually somebody. It's got to be Jimmy.
No, actually, it's not.
It wasn't.
No.
Someone
Was it Rich?
got nervous
No,
on
it's
the
not
couch of
me.
Zilches.
It's one of the couches.
Who farted? You.
Because you stuck
Who
the
got
whole
nervous?
goddamn studio
Caught it,
up
too.
during an interview.
It was Sam? Oh, I'm in
Oh,
love.
Sam.
Oh, she's a good
Christ.
egg.
Is it really you?
Oh,
No, she's
bad.
like-
Who
It's really
farted?
bad. I'm sorry. I'm
It's
actually
really
starting
bad. It had to
to
be
smell it
Jimmy.
now.
Jimmy,
I'm
was it
starting to
you?
smell it over here.
No, I would tell you.
Wow.
I
Good
wish it was
Lord.
me.
Why won't anyone admit
Open the
it?
door.
I don't know.
Tom, was it you?
No, good Lord.
This must be
No.
what it smells like in the meth lab without the gas mask on when everybody just falls down.
You guys
Well,
getting
can you
any?
give yourself a car crash?
I will. I'll
Really?
try.
Really? You should come up over here.
yeah,
It's really bad.
Save you.
Now whoever farts now is going to get blamed for the last one.
That was. You people are terrible. That really did stink the whole place.
Yeah, it
up.
was awful.
I suck.
Good Lord.
One of our new people, I think, is fucking
Yeah, I
a little
know.
nervous
You
on the
just don't want to
sofa.
admit it, huh?
I gotta
man.
apologize.
Another
for
No, this is a really fun room.
messing up this whole fucking.
Yeah.
What
Another
press
risk
are you
of
doing
having 20
today?
people in the room.
You have a bunch of radio shows?
Yeah,
or
I'm
TV?
hanging out in this building and hopping around. to
Like
different
you're
places.
doing a junket? A bunch
Yeah.
of, okay. Any TV today?
I don't know. I honestly have
pop
no
you on.
idea what I'm doing.
I think we're having Brian on Monday.
Yeah, he's coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish I would have had something get signed.
It's really cool. Yeah, now see, you would have had two signed things.
I got to get that dirt.
Now you got nothing.
Damn,
I got nothing.
stupid.
I saw the first 3 episodes of the 4th season.
Oh, what you think?
So I'm psyched. Very good.
I've only seen the first of the 4.
Really, really good, man.
Yeah, it starts off really.
No one's going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts off well. The 3rd season ends like, oh my god, and then the 4th kicks right in.
The 4th season is definitely our darkest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
And believe me, the first 3 were pretty dark.
Yeah.
How many episodes? Sorry.
No, there's 13
Oh, okay.
in the 4th, and so
How about the other ones?
There's 7 in the 1st, and then 13 in the 2nd and 3rd.
Isn't it weird how cable does things? It kind of gives you like a freedom that network never gave. They had to commit to 22 or whatever. So
Yeah.
if they didn't like it, they'd shit can it. But 7, it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
I
it's
went through the
nice.
first season pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, 7, and then you
Yeah,
get
a lot
the
of
second
people
one, you're
will
like, wow.
just sit through the first season like one sitting.
Yeah.
And
It's very
And those
easy to
people are
watch.
called
man. Very
O&A fans.
Great show, man. I love it. You working on anything else while you're off? or
yeah, I mean, I
things
just
like
did
that?
animation series for Disney. It's a
Mm-hmm.
Tron Uprising, and so I've never done any sort of animation stuff. So that was fun to kind of get into
Yeah,
the
that's
room
cool.
and play the villain.
And
But,
you also played Weird Al.
yeah, Weird Al and a Funny or Die piece. I actually just did another Funny or Die called Corky Girl. It'll be coming out in the next week or so. But
Yeah, I like that. That's just hilarious. Hilarious.
hilarious.
That should be
fucking fun-
hilarious.
Funny or Die is taking off, man.
Man, I did something for a comedy website. I forget what it was called, but once again, I bet the wrong horse. It was what was
Kind
the
of funny.
What was the other? Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes funny.
Moderately-amusing.com. Just didn't. What was the one right before Funny or Die? There was a website that was a weird name.
Oh,
Cringe
boy,
humor?
really.
No. Do you remember?
No.
Nobody does.
Nobody
That's the
knows.
problem.
That's
you're,
the problem.
You're proving your point, Jim.
It had a weird name for a comedy website. Oh, shit.
Great. Thanks.
But Funny or Die, that's serious shit. now.
RichRoss.com.
That ain't gonna work.
Did he get me there? Ooh,
Sorry, gonna
call
work.
it a day on this one. He fucking zapped me.
Did they give you a certain amount of episodes like that they're going to end the show? Is there an end date or just? let's keep
We're not
this-
really sure.
Keep this thing going.
Yeah, no. I know Vince, our showrunner, wants to end it on a good note. He doesn't want to stretch out the storylines too much, and so I think probably 5 or 6 seasons will be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the what's his name? The lawyer is a comic. Yeah, he's fucking hilarious, man.
Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob Odenkirk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's great on that
Yeah.
show too. Yeah.
We did a benefit with him. It was some Andy Kaufman thing.
House of Blues.
It was so bizarre. Fucking.
Was it?
No one has ever milked a situation like Bob Zamuda with Andy Kaufman. Yeah, it was like some 20th anniversary of his death, and they were having comedians, and Andy always said he'd come back
Oh,
after
the
20
seance
years.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun to do the gig though. Oh, they showed clips of his movies with
Right.
Jim Carrey's movie. It was-
We did 20. There was the show was me, Norton. I was hosting Norton, the guy. What's his name, Bob? But they had 2 hours before us of everybody telling Andy Kaufman stories. His mailman, everybody, and the room's depressed. And now our comedy show, and they brought us up in the fucking middle of this fucking memorial.
So what you're saying is you have a great excuse why people didn't laugh.
Oh no! I walk down, go Andy Kaufman. I go. I used to watch Taxi. I go. No, he didn't.
See?
Just
Nothing.
A great, yeah.
See?
Yeah, that must have been an amazing show.
Amazing moment.
Oh, what is
Oh,
that?
thank you
that
very
3?
much. I texted Roland.
Oh, damn. There it is.
I don't want season 3.
I do.
I'm kidding. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. You're not even, I'll give you season 1 and 2. I have it at home. I'll give you 2.
Well, yeah, well, really? So, are you going to bring Aaron to your house and have him sign it?
Huh?
Die in a fire. I'm getting him to sign this.
Die in a fire.
Thank you. Thank you, Roland. I said to Roland, I texted, do we have anything from Breaking Bad? 'Cause I'd like to get it signed. We have
Well,
one of the-
sign the cover and just let me use the inside, and I'll give it back to you. That's all.
Nah, I don't like the idea of that. I like to keep my things pristine.
Listen, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Jimmy, I got your answer.
What's that?
E-Bombs World?
No.
Comedy site? No?
All right, that's big. My video's going
fuck,
viral
I thought I
on
had
that.
it.
What's going viral?
One of my television appearances.
Right.
What television
On
appearance?
Lawrence, when the black lady was fucking with me, and I
fucking guy.
smashed her.
Rich does have a viral video. It's making
Okay.
rounds.
What year is it from?
Huh?
He's
Last
beating down
year
a
when I did
heckler.
Martin Luther Black First
Please.
Amendment.
All
some
right,
lady-
let's talk to Aaron.
Right. I know, right?
Going
Exactly.
viral doesn't mean over
Hold
years.
on,
I like this.
Yeah. He really is.
What's that?
I wanted to I wanted to talk about a lot of shows. They have like these coincidental things that happen.
It's like
that
the
tie
actor's
in.
studio with this
Shut
fucking
up.
asshole.
He's the
Let's
guest.
just have fucking fun, all right, with your dumb
if it was
questions.
like the actor's
He's
studio,
got to fucking do this all day.
you wouldn't
Let's
be in here.
You got these fucking people here. Okay, you all this
But we're having
attention.
fun.
He's the co-star. Let's
I
fucking
know.
move on.
I want to talk about. I enjoy the show.
Your idea of fun is talking about your awful Martin clip. Nobody knows about that. And some lady heckled me. Of course she did. She wanted her money's worth.
It's gone viral over 3 years.
Exactly.
Hold on, Tom's back. Hold on, there's an echo.
You're not getting season 3. I'm just going to start watching from season 3 and go, I don't know what's happening. No.
Why do I have to be punished for what he did?
Season 1.
Season 2.
Yeah, I don't want
There's,
season 2. I have season 3.
All right.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
let
much.
Anthony.
No, I wanted to get a lot of times coincidental stuff happens and you're watching a show and goes, that ain't gonna fucking like. What are the odds that would happen and that would happen? There seems to be, and I'm not going out on a limb here, this underlying thread of almost this cosmic attachment between all the characters.
Yeah.
Like that they're I think Brian kind of is linking all these people together in some strange way that
Yeah.
doesn't seem to just be, oh, let's throw this and people will believe it. It is almost some kind of spiritual thing going on with the show.
Yeah, it feels like it all kind of makes sense in a strange, dark, weird way.
Yeah, especially like that one scene with your chick there that I won't. I'm no spoiler from
Yeah,
me.
I don't-
Ain't getting it from me.
Is it in
motherfucker.
season 3? Because I'll
She's-
see it tonight.
And she is very hot. She actually made me look her up on IMDb.
Oh, yeah.
To see what she was in.
So did
anything
Dakota
else.
Fanning.
She's like, well, hey, you can't use her anymore. She's of age. You got to go with her younger sister now for the joke.
All right, are you done with your
right.
questions? Can
Whatever.
we move the fuck
I know.
on?
Yes,
Why do you want to
all
ask
right.
questions during an
You know,
interview?
it's like the fucking Glenn Close
Go.
interview. Enough of your stock interviews.
Hey, what's wrong with
All
our
right,
Glenn
here's-
Close interview? We did a terrific job that day.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck this
I don't
interview.
know. I think-
Ask Rich questions about Rich.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Nothing to do
Wow.
with me, okay?
How did he get such a pretty wife? That's what I'd ask first.
Because
Jeez.
his nose didn't
How
look
long-
like a
But you
fucking
think she's
racetrack.
All right, look, I hit the pool.
Yeah, you
And
hit
you
the
think
pool.
Bonnie's 50.
Terrible.
Exactly.
I didn't say that at all. She implied.
We haven't
I
got
said-
past that yet.
Right.
I'm still crying about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
All right, Aaron.
I think Anthony's
Aaron
interview is
has a
very
question.
good.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
I love the show, and I'm
Prove it.
really glad you came in. I did prove it. I know everything that's going on the show. Breaking Bad. When's the premiere? Sunday, July 17th.
Yes.
10 p.m. on AMC.
Our
Yeah,
pal
he's getting
Bill
good
Burr is
shows.
in it.
I like that.
Do you know Bill
I
Burr?
saw Bill Burr. Now, wait a minute. That is from the 4th season, which isn't out yet.
Right.
So that's a little teaser.
Bill's in it?
Yeah, our
Bill,
pal
Bill,
Bill is in it.
Bill had a spot in it. He told me he's in it a little more, but I haven't seen that. He plays that guy that was testing the pH of the soil.
Yeah.
That's Bill. Oh, Billy Burr. He looked gruffly handsome. His beard was grown in and everything.
I don't like people with red hair and beards.
He gets more
You don't
handsome
like
as he
pirates?
gets older, that Bill Burr.
He really
Yeah,
does.
but red
You
hair
got-
people have thin lips.
No,
It's like kissing a fucking. It's like a box cutter. It's fucking horrible. Their lips are like.
Did it take you that long
Greedy,
to
you got
think of
greedy.
something thin?
you got
Yeah.
greedy.
Well, I looked at
Greedy.
you and nothing came to mind. Fucking swollen fuck.
He gotcha. He gotcha. I guess we'll continue with our couch of zilches. But Aaron,
Why, you have him here. You're going to
thanks.
talk to him?
No, I'm thanking
He's a
Aaron
busy
for
guy.
coming in.
He's a very
busy.
famous
He's
guy.
got to walk around
Where's
his
Where's
fucking
he going
shithole
to the Food
place and-
Network next? He doesn't want to leave here. This is
You
fucking
don't want to
big.
ask him
with
questions.
you in the
don't
room?
want him to
He didn't want to
leave.
come in.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, but he'll come
Nothing.
back now.
Yes. Breaking Bad. I wish that was a documentary about your teeth. And there's a big fist on the cover. I hate Rich. But I wish I had seen more than 2 episodes. I'm annoyed. I want to watch more over the weekend, so I'm more prepared for Brian.
They're great. It's a great show to sit down and marathon with the discs.
Everybody talks about
my wife and I closer together.
Stop calling me your wife, you cockblock.
Wait, so you guys aren't married?
No, we are.
They are.
She's
She's trying to get some sides.
She's miserable. Miserable.
No, we are married.
Have people been trying to make blue meth? Like just putting food coloring in it? I bet they are, right?
Yeah, some people have gotten busted for having blue meth.
Blue meth.
Yeah.
And it's just because they put food coloring in it.
Well, what's the difference? Why are they
with the
doing
good
it?
stuff. Because it's like celebrity meth. It's on TV.
Because our meth on the show is blue.
Yeah, you watched it? Do you remember
Oh, yeah, wow.
You remember watching the show?
Glad you're watching it, Rich.
Do you know colors?
Glad you're watching it.
Real
Would
fan
you read
of the show.
Synopsis?
You don't have to be a meth addict to know.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I don't remember the color
to watch
of
the
meth.
show, you have to be a meth addict.
Yeah.
Well, we forgot to tell you.
Oh, wait, excuse me,
You won't
sorry.
get it unless you've been on
Sorry,
meth.
fucking research breath. I don't remember the color of the fucking meth.
Why don't you remember? That's an easy thing to remember.
Research breath.
I
my God.
remember every
Stop
episode.
trying to shame people who know things.
You can't just turn your head. Your whole body has to turn.
He's trying to shame Anthony because he knows the show.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the star of the show, and what are you doing watching it and asking
When it
questions about
asks,
it?
Yeah, I'm asking him questions about a show I enjoy. Wow, what a dick I am.
Exactly.
Fucking guy.
Exactly.
Damn Rich.
So what are you doing? Bothering him with questions about his own show, which is premiering. Why would he want to talk about that?
On July 17th. That's, by the way, the 17th, same day Casey Anthony gets out of jail.
And 2 days before my birthday. See how ugly it is when we make it about ourselves?
I want to know when your birthday was.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Look.
Let's get Aaron out of here.
Let's wrap up
before we
because
fuck this up.
Get Aaron out of here. I want to get the fuck home. It's Friday. I'm tired.
We have to finish up with the Couch and Zilches.
Yeah, the Couch and
The
Zilches.
Breaking Bad, obviously, I'm annoyed I have not seen more. It comes on Sunday night. What time?
Yep. It's on at
10
10 o'clock on AMC.
Right.
Look for Aaron and Brian in that. It's a fantastic show, man.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
it. And pick up the discs and get caught up, you bastards.
Can you get it on iTunes?
Yes!
Of course.
What kind of
iTunes, Netflix.
Yeah, come
It's
back and see
everywhere.
us. Next time you're here, he won't be
Yeah,
here. So
yeah,
don't worry
exactly.
about it.
Please.
What the fuck?
You didn't
Aaron.
you didn't want us to interview the guy.
Yeah, you wanted to
I
start asking
wanted you
questions.
to want us-
You know, no, he's not doing pictures.
Yes! My stupid iPhone. And
I'll take one with a real camera.
Fucking face. Oh, yeah, so I never see him?
I have a whole. I gave you a disc.
No, you didn't.
I did so.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you have some of our pictures. Jimmy.
The wall was there.
Yeah, go
They
ahead.
just let it happen
How
like that?
Danny did it the other week, and I laughed at him. So.
No, but this is like
This looks like a fucking.
No, it's rolling.
This looks like before and after.
Hey, thank
Could you
man.
snap one at me and Aaron?
I love the show. Love it.
I normally don't do this, but hold on.
Mr. Picture, I normally don't do this.
Jimmy had an extra good smile on that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Jimmy, you really went for the smile on
I want to
that.
see your handsome picture, Jim.
Yeah. Jimmy, why the over-the-top smile there?
Oh, with the annoying interrupting guy.
Yeah.
At some point, Voss will watch the show and then be like, "Oh, that was the guy."
he does. He
Oh.
does watch
I
the
know
Oh, that
show.
was
I
the
know that
guy.
show. I know that fucking show.
And you'll be pointing at a different person.
It's in my top.
Oh shit!
What?
It's on my wish list. on
Is it?
Amazon. Yeah.
You know what's on mine? Right. We get it.
Hopefully a plastic surgeon.
I know. I'm a fucking disaster. Believe me. I have no illusions here that I'm a fucking wreck. I was supposed to do Red Eye last night, and I couldn't even fucking do that.
Would you
It
do
kind of
Red
would have been
Nose?
funny if I know. Yeah.
Do they sell swimming helmets?
It would. I think I need one, man. I'm a disaster.
Who's the last guy on the couch and Zilches? Give him a little time.
Well, we didn't talk
Yeah.
to the fireman. Oh, we talked
We
to
talked to the fireman.
Oh, yeah.
The fireman.
As Rich
And,
calls him, the fireman.
the buzzard from
Damn it, I
the Bugs
have
Bunny
one of those and I
cartoon. You haven't
didn't
talked to
bring it
him.
The what?
This guy.
You're the best.
Well, that should have been yours. You're the
Thanks,
host.
man. No. I got one.
yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Hey, Aaron,
Aaron
thank
Paul,
you, man.
thank you, sir.
Enjoy the rest
Thank
of
you, brother.
the shit that goes around this fucking studio.
This was
Later,
your best
man.
interview of the day. You just don't know that yet.
Take it easy, man. Open that door. Come right in, sir. Hey, there he is. Brian, sit down.
Hey,
We're on the air. We just do this.
On the air.
Easy as that. How are you? Oh, look at that. Nice to see you with a little bit of hair on your head. That's good.
I'm good, guys. How are you? I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah,
You know,
Brian Cranston,
there's
yes.
a guy in your producer's office
Yeah.
who has a Heisenberg T-shirt from the show, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, other people, other stars of TV shows get to sign tits.
Yeah. What did you get?
I signed
That.
this guy. Yeah.
Usually, if it's a
guy-
listener or a staff of our show, you're still signing tits because
Yeah.
the guys here really not staying in the
It's man
best of
tits.
shape.
Yeah.
Who did he sign, E-Rock?
Salil.
Was it Roland? Who's wearing the shirt?
Oh, boy, look at him. He's panicking with his little
I'm
5-year-old
just trying to figure
baseball
out who-
cap on.
Exactly.
He looks like a
Hey,
little
Vic
child.
Morrow, take some pictures.
Yes, that type of show, bro.
That's the Blackboard Jungle hat.
Yeah, that's a good one. Brian, wow, I can't say enough about Breaking Bad. My girlfriend, she watched it as it was playing, as it was on each season, and kept telling me how good it was. I went out, got all of the seasons, and by the first show, I don't know who figured this out, but the first show is so weird, the opening scene even, that it's like, all right, now, thank you, I'm hooked on this. And couldn't stop watching it.
It's designed that way. I mean, the very first page of the pilot episode that you're talking about says, you know, a pair of trousers are falling down from the blue sky, white clouds, red dirt, hits the ground, an out-of-control RV rolls over them. Inside, a man only wearing tighty-whitey underwear and a respirator drives frantically. Next to him and I'm going, what? Next to him is another man with a respirator. Behind him, 2 dead men sliding up and back in a sea of chemicals and glass. And that was page 1. And it was like, what?
That's what gets you, because you cannot turn that off and go, I don't care. I don't care what happens.
Let's see what's on reruns.
Yeah, it was. It just grabs you, and then the whole show just has this. Everything's kind of tied together, which is weird. And I really didn't kind of get a grasp on that until I guess maybe the second season. That there's this cosmic thing going on where I guess you're the center of it. And was that put out in the first season, or they kind of think of that later?
What Breaking Bad is attempting to do is to do something that has never been done in the history of television. And that is to start out the series with a guy in one's kind of person. He's, in my case, I was a milquetoast high school chemistry teacher who is a good guy, loves his wife, has a couple kids, one special needs child, and is just trying to make ends meet, just trying to get through life. And over the course of the series, that completely changes because of circumstances that comes up, i.e. terminal lung cancer. You got 2 years to live. What are you going to do? So he changes his entire life, becomes a drug dealer. And by the end of this series, whenever that's going to be, I will be this hardened guy, this hardened criminal.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how it'll end in that respect. Like, will there be some kind of redemption? Will you just be a bad? Because as this is going along, from the first season till now, like, you don't have problems with killing people. You probably enjoy dealing the drugs more than you would running a science class.
Well, it's an interesting look, sociological study, really, because you say, what are the influences? What are the indicators that can change a man? What confluence of occurrences has to happen in order for, as our lead writer says, he wants to change the guy from Mr. Chips to Scarface. How do you do that?
Yeah.
You know, what are the circumstances? That allow you
Yeah,
to-
because it's not that you're doing everything at this point, because I'm caught up and I even managed to catch a couple of the season 4. Yeah, it's one of the perks. One of the perks. And I got to tell you, amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Because the way season 3 ended, and then stepping into season 4 like that, it was perfect.
Cool.
But you start wondering, like, okay, this character did this for his family to start with.
Yeah.
But now you're enjoying this. There's a part of you that doesn't want other people. It's like, hey, this is my dope. This is my stuff.
Yeah.
And you're proud of it.
He takes a proprietary relationship to his dope.
Yeah, and it's not just taking, which was paramount at the beginning, was taking care of your family.
Right.
Making sure they're okay when you're gone. Nothing else other than that.
Right.
But now it's this thing where the character is turning into a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly as planned.
Like planned.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is not going to be any redemption to this man. He's going to go.
He's going.
It's in the title, Breaking Bad. We're
Yeah.
going. It's going all the way there. And the trick is, in that first episode, in the first season, you plant the hook in the audience that they at least relate to this guy. They either know him. Like, I know a guy like that. He's just trying to make ends meet, or that's me. I can relate to him. And then you hook him. And then as you start to allow the changes to happen to this character, it's challenging for the audience to follow him along. And the audiences that we talk to, they love the show, and they say, look, man, you're really starting to piss me off now. It's like, you're freaking me out because and it's like, you're still on the ride because you're hooked. You're strapped in. There's no way out.
It is a great strategy because if they just went right into it as a drug dealer, you'd be like, hey, look, I've never done that. I can't relate to this guy.
And why would I want to watch this guy?
Right.
Kill people and make drugs is I don't know.
I've seen it. Seen it before.
Yeah.
But this guy, regular Joe, he's married, he's working, and then gets cancer.
And that's it. And our show asks that question that everybody's played over dinner at some point. What would you do if you had 2 years to live?
Yeah.
And what lengths would you go to make $1 million? Mm-hmm. And everybody, when it stays in that hypothetical, it's easy to take the moral high ground. Oh, no, I would do it. But if it's really honestly presented in front of you, what would you do?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, man.
I would kill my enemy.
What? What if your enemy is
I got $1 million? Kill my friends.
No.
for $1 million. Oh.
If I only had the 2 years, I would actually wait till I have about 3 months, and I got a short list. And I'm being honest.
Short list.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to leave this building.
Yeah.
Fuck that morality
for work.
Yeah.
But how would you take care of your family? That's the big thing.
They're already taken care of.
Yeah, but that's you. What if you were, a high school
teacher? Well,
teacher?
I don't have the answer to the $1 million thing. I already got that. But I
elitist.
Yeah. Well,
I don't understand. Goldman hasn't gone after OJ.
Well, he's probably waiting.
But I think there's guys out there
jail.
when they do have terminal shit.
He's made OJ's life so miserable. OJ would be better off dead. Fucking Goldman got every dollar in that civil suit. So believe me, OJ has been miserable for 15 years.
What does prevent people from maybe going after some people that did them really wrong in their lives if they know they're not going to be around too
Maybe
much
there
longer?
is that redemption thing.
In my day, it was Jack Ruby who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. He had terminal cancer. He was the guy who was sent in. Take him out.
Yeah.
You think there's more people like that out there?
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I think from playing this role as Walter White, I've realized that even the meekest person out there is dangerous and capable of doing some real terrific damage.
A great thing about the character, too, is taking that intellect that would just be this nerdy, geeky intellect that obviously you've had being a chemistry teacher, and using it to outwit people, to save your own ass a lot of times against people that should be a lot smarter in the drug industry, but you're seeing how they're working, pick up on it very quickly. How you got out of getting killed by the washing machine thing when they were going to take you downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Is genius. It's genius. It's just blurt it out, and the guy goes I don't want to spoil anything for people, but it's oh my God, now they can kill him. It was fantastic.
My concern is, though, what if kids are affected by this negative?
You ass.
I love this interview because I haven't seen the show yet, but because
I saw the first 2 episodes.
can't wait
they gave me the box set recently, and I love the first 2 episodes.
I can't wait to get the box set and go through this now. Man.
It's fantastic.
I understand that my co-star came here, Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse.
Aaron,
and there was the promotional discs that came in, and he didn't see him yet, so he took them.
Yeah.
That putz head bastard.
Did he take it? Good thing I didn't bring mine in.
Well,
How
we got
shitty
him
are
before
his
he
connections? He has to go through us to get stuff for his own show.
He's really got it played.
I had so
Billy
many
Burr
people.
was on the show, too. Right?
Yeah,
Bill's got a
Burr,
part.
yeah.
Bill Burr had a part.
Friend of ours.
He was on. I was watching the season 4 couple of DVDs that they gave me with a couple of episodes, and I was watching it in my theater downstairs. So
You guys are so elitist.
Oh, we are
multi-millionaire
elitist. Total elitist.
theaters.
But I took
By the way, who's the person doing your mani-pedi right now? Who's that?
Underneath
underneath the
table.
console.
We gotta get the,
My goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are very, very elitist.
Yeah. So you saw it in your theater. I'm sorry.
Yeah, saw it in there, snapped a few pictures, no video, but just snapped a few pictures, and people were so jealous. They're like, you son of a bitch, I gotta see this. What happens? Like, I'm not telling you.
The show has become as addictive as the drug itself. It's crazy.
The meth. Did you now? Did you have to? I asked Aaron this. Did you have to kind of research what people are like when they're on that shit?
Not so much, because my character was I researched the chemistry. I followed the head of the chemistry department at USC around for a couple days, and just learning the nomenclature and what does what, and this flask is for this titration, and that's for mixing, and this is for, to get my head wrapped around that again.
Yeah.
But I didn't really want to learn about the effects of the drug, because my character is ignorant to that.
You don't have to.
Just doesn't. So I learn along with my character as we go.
Do people ask you like chemical questions now in real life? And you're like, I'm an actor, idiot. I'm not a chemist.
It's a compliment. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you have won some Emmys there. That's
yeah, I have.
That's not
how
too
many have you
shabby,
won?
right?
3.
That's great.
You brought it up to Aaron Paul, didn't you?
I realized that he indeed also has won an Emmy.
He won an
But
Emmy.
not as many as
He won an Emmy.
And all I said to him was like, "So Brian won like 3 Emmys for that. It's amazing."
that was
He's like, yeah, thanks.
You didn't acknowledge his Emmy, but you acknowledged Brian. Make fun of Aaron.
He's got plenty of time to act and stuff. You've been in quite a few things.
That's also nice to say to Brian,
I'm on my
too.
deathbed.
Not saying that.
Aaron's got plenty of time left. You, on the other hand, get him while you can. It's your last shot.
I noticed with this character too, there's an element of the father from Malcolm in the Middle in there.
Is he?
Yeah, but I think that's part of you. Like, and I was asking, is that like, you seem like a fun guy?
No,
but it does. No, you're miserable. No. Just a miserable bastard.
My character Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. No, he was afraid of everything. This guy was just afraid of heights, of bugs, of someone walking in the room he didn't know. Yeah, so that was him. But no, hopefully there's not too much leakage.
Yeah, I think these are totally different. I don't really.
Shut up,
I think they're totally different too.
Kind of a dick comment to make.
Yeah, it really is. So you're the same guy in every show. How do you pull that off?
I think it's amazing the difference between them. You're funny and Malcolm is hilarious, and this is just so dramatic. It's unbelievable.
Comic element.
Trying to save his
There's
ass.
a comic element
oh my
there.
God. And the physical.
That you could tell.
I'm going to turn my attention to this right.
Because
Bobby Kelly,
I can see the differences.
Yeah.
Gravity is making you turn. Fat bastard.
Really? Turn on me?
I had to.
Yeah, you had to.
Anything.
You had to.
Malcolm in the blade of a sword.
Hilarious. That was a hilarious show. I mean, really funny and edgy show. And now to do this is fucking crazy. That's like an actor's dream, to have a hit comedy and then have a hit drama.
Is there a question somewhere?
Yeah, and the critics love it, man.
No, it was a statement, stupid.
A nice long,
just wait for the
drawn-out statement.
Wait for the period at the end, dummy.
We're waiting,
and of course, Dr. Tim Watley being part of an institution comedy like Seinfeld is great.
That's crazy.
That's got to be one you're recognized for a lot.
I am still recognized because it plays so much.
Yeah,
a lot of the new generation, they don't even realize that it hasn't been shot in 10 years.
Yeah,
and it's an iconic show. Probably my most favorite comedy of all time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that. Yeah, that is a good one. And one of the best. I think one of the best episodes is when you convert to Judaism and will not stop at the Jewish joke.
Right, and Jerry goes to my former priest and complains about it. And he says, "And this offends you as a Jewish person?" No, it offends me as a comedian. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant writing.
Hilarious.
That's where it all stems from.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, it's like this show. It's about the writing.
Always.
All the time that is spent.
You meant our show.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't written a thing in 17 years.
We're up
when you guys take the time to write that material, it's gold. It's gold, Jerry.
Can I ask something? I'm a little out of this one, but that's fine.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Are you really doing Total Recall, the reboot?
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, we're I'm in the middle of shooting it now. I go back up to Toronto in about another
Who are you playing?
couple weeks.
Arnold
I play
Schwarzenegger?
Cohagen.
Cohagen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cohagen.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
That
it's
is
fun.
good. Cohagen was a pretty good bad guy.
Yeah.
Who's
It's,
playing
it's
Arnold's?
fun.
Who's playing Arnold's part?
That's Colin Farrell.
Really?
Colin Farrell is playing the lead, Hauser, and Kate Beckinsale, and also Jessica Biel. Oh my God,
Jessica Biel.
I
Look at
want to
that.
smell where the poop comes out.
my
Oh,
God!
Jesus.
What? What? Who's it?
I have a big star here. Hold
See,
on.
it's that kind of writing. That's what.
The lowest common denominator.
That Total Recall,
That's it.
that's going to be
Because
great.
the original, very good, but to
Absolutely.
be able to do it now and update
phenomenal.
a little bit, it's amazing. I like that. Welcome to the party, Richter.
Does Arnold make a cameo or anything, or you don't want to talk about
Not that I know of.
Not anymore.
No, I mean I haven't heard anything that he does. I think he's
He plays the
he's a little
baby.
radioactive right now. You know what I mean?
It's making a cameo in his.
He plays the
housekeeper.
baby in the stomach.
Oh, Quanto. Oh, that's cool. Is it sticking pretty much to the story?
No,
the book?
actually it's closer
More
to
the book
to the
than,
book
the movie.
than the movie was. Yeah, it's really cool though, and with the special effects that they're doing. That's
How many episodes of Falcon Crest were you in?
Oh my God!
No, but it's like
You're digging back
Yeah,
there.
it's a great resume though, man. It's like goes back to this guy. It goes back. What was your first show? Chips.
Guy's work.
What's that?
I think Chips was the first
It's a great
nighttime show.
It's an
I think.
amazing.
What do you do for Chips?
What's that?
I played. There was really bad. I played a guy who was talking like this. I like Gomer Pyle, and I was married to a girl. Kathy Shower was her name. You can pop her up. Kathy Shower was.
I prefer Golden.
Was a,
Jesus, Jimmy, again. It's not writing.
We're going to lose our guest. We're going to lose him.
No,
It's
it's
a little too edgy.
She was a Playboy playmate, and Eric Estrada was all over her. And anyway, Kathy and I played this husband and wife, and we're from the South like this, and we're breaking the laws. It's just some ridiculous kind of thing.
She's making erotic films now. Is she really? Yeah, I'm sorry.
How horrible is it?
There you go. Is that her?
How bad can it be?
Is that her? It's just her ass that is showing. Very good, Bobby.
It's her with the flip cam.
But how terrible is
that's
that?
her
You want to
right
bang
there.
a girl, and Eric Estrada is trying to bang her on his own show. It's like there's no way.
Is that her?
Yeah, Eric's
check.
probably
You don't
going to
think you
get
have
her.
a chance?
No.
Eric's probably going to get her.
It's been a long time. I have no idea
What was the first thing you did?
Sheesh. I did some daytime stuff. I lived in New York for 5 years and did soap operas.
Oh, so you did some soaps, yeah?
Yeah, and then went back to L.A. and did all that stuff. I met my wife on a TV show back in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah,
What
she was
show was
an
that?
actor. I was an actor, and I'm doing the bad guy of the week, and she's the victim of the week, as the male-female roles are.
Oh, wow.
You know, especially back.
Was it a
It was a
Mannix?
show
Or-
called Airwolf.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It's about the helicopter,
Ernest
right?
Borgnine,
Ernest Borgnine.
and Jan Michael Vincent.
There you go.
Jan Michael at his prime.
Yeah.
Well, just after his prime, but
He
close.
was that poor guy.
But he was talking about Ernest Borgnine in his prime. Oh, so you were like the bad guy in that one?
Of course.
They had to swoop down in Airwolf and
yeah, exactly.
fix your wagon.
Kind of crap.
Yeah.
Terrible show.
Do you really?
Terrible
goddamn show. Well, I think a lot of the '80s were full of some pretty
Crappy shows.
bad shows.
Yeah.
Just as long as they were, because everything was produced by God, what's his name? He did
Stu
the
Siegel?
Stephen J.
Siegel down
Cannell.
in- yeah.
Stu Siegel Productions. I actually did a
Belisario.
pilot for him called Adrenaline Run. You know the
How'd that work out?
you know the helicopter. I'm here. You know the helicopters footage the news gets in L.A. because they always chase the cars.
Yeah.
They would take the real footage and build a story around that.
my God.
And we were the adrenaline
I
runners.
can make a whole feature out of this stock footage.
And shoot it in 2 days.
Frank Lupo, the creator of the A-Team, and Hunter actually came up with the show.
Wait, the adrenaline runners. What would you guys do?
We would get in the car and chase them because we were on adrenaline. Let's go!
Oh, it's like fucking. It's like Twister,
And
but with cars.
we chased them, and then they cut in the real footage. They'd have to duplicate. They shut down the highway. We had to do a chase. I had to slide over a hood. But this is the thing: is the
You
lead.
leave a nice crease in it.
Yes, the lead.
No, it was a movie about the Klan.
I had hair and I was thin. But I had a goatee, and the lead had a goatee. I was like one of the adrenaline runners. The lead cop guy had a goatee, so they made me cut mine off and have a mustache. So I just look like a fucking Mexican with a mustache.
One of the scenes from Boogie Nights where they had to make one of the
Magnum PU.
Speaking of the 80s shows, they're bringing back Dallas.
Yes.
That hit the paper today.
As a regular series or a...
I think Larry Hagman's coming back. He's going to be part of it.
So is Susan Gray, I think, and so is Patrick Duffy.
Isn't there a time and a place for certain shows and things like that?
To let it go.
Yeah, just
let it go.
Let it go. Did you notice that the kids on Malcolm were getting a little old for what they were doing?
Long in the tooth, yeah.
It's like, hi, Dad. Wait a minute, what the fuck is this?
It would be fun, though. We'd love to come back years later, all the kids are grown, and see what happens. What has happened to that family.
Right. Yeah,
It'd be fun to do like a movie, just a
one-off.
Just a one movie.
I think that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be fun to do.
Hey, getting back to Breaking Bad, Charlie Dog, I hope this doesn't give anything away. He says, love the show. Please ask Brian how he got the pizza on the roof. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And how many takes did it take?
That was hilarious.
Okay, this is the truth. It's a huge pizza. So huge, it was so heavy, and a real pizza. This box was the largest pizza box I've ever seen. And I'm trying to get in good graces with my ex-wife, and she won't have anything of it, and so I get pissed off, and I throw it up on the roof. But I can't look like I'm trying to throw it on the roof. I'm just frustrated, and it lands on the roof. And so I'm kind of feeling the heft of it and the distance, and I tell the director, I said, I need to be about here, about 6 feet away or so, in order to justify getting it up there. So they have monofilament ready. They have all kinds of tricks they're ready to do.
What's monofilament?
It's a little thin wire. It's almost invisible that you can connect to it and pull it to help it out.
I have some on me.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm wearing some as underwear right now. But
ow.
That's got to hurt.
Ouch.
It hurts in a good way, though. So I said, I think I can do this. And so we did the scene, and then sure enough, I fling the pizza. It lands exactly in the spot that would be optimum for the camera.
Yeah.
On the roof, one take. That was it. And of course, the director says, oh my God, that was fantastic. It was fantastic. Okay, let's try it again.
No.
And I said, exactly. I said, no. Good. Look, trust me, it's not going to happen again.
It's never happening again.
Yeah, that's it. Let's walk away.
The second you walked out that door, I went, that pizza is flying. Like, I think everyone knew watching that going, that pizza's got to go, because you're too pissed.
Yeah.
You're too pissed off. And some of the hiding places for the money, I was a little like, that seems a little obvious. I don't know.
Inside the
vent,
heating vent or whatever?
Yeah. And
this was new to, having cash, that amount of cash is new to him. He's like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know where to go with it.
And I was talking to somebody about a show that just has a lot of holy shit moments.
Yeah.
Where you do not expect, like, it's like, wow, I thought that person would be around a little longer.
Yeah. It's like, whoa.
I guess that's the show.
Have you seen the first couple episodes, you said?
I've only seen the first all of season 4.
Oh, man. In the lab, that is just brutal. It's fantastic.
It's a
great scene. Just a fantastic show. I couldn't be happier to have you here today.
Thanks.
What was your first acting role that you actually booked? Like, you had probably gotten a bunch of auditions, gotten no. What was the first one you actually landed for real?
I think it was like Days of Our Lives or something. So? I had some kind of thing, and then turns out that I overslept on my first day, and you're panicked, and I show up, and it was like they were ready to recast it, and it was just a little role anyway, and I was just horrified the entire day. I spent every dollar of my paycheck sending apology flowers to the casting director and the producer and everybody. Yeah.
Was that the time where Marlena was trying to be abducted by, what's his name, by Stefano Demira?
Oh, look at you.
There's a story behind that, Brian.
Oh. We were doing afternoon radio.
There's a story behind that,
and,
if you want to hear.
And it was the one thing to watch before I went to work, doing afternoons.
Yeah.
And I got so roped into it, for years, I knew everything that went on that goddamn show. It's like, oh, boy, this is, it's been 3 months and Stefano's still stalking this woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've seen the demise of that whole genre.
That's gone. It looks like
soap
some of them
operas are going away.
Just going to strictly internet. Some of them.
Yeah.
Other ones are just gone.
That was one of the highest paying gigs in show business at one point, where because you did that live TV every day.
How long ago was that?
You just added just because you did the show every day, you got paid so much money.
It seemed like a rough gig too, man. No reruns, but 5 days a week you had to do an hour show. I mean, that's brutal.
Well, I mean, it's not like the highest acting quality either. It's just.
Oh, what are you saying?
Where did you go?
There we go. Now I get it from this side.
Way to go, Bobby. Way to go.
Oh, God.
Brian. You were the last one he liked in this
now.
Am I the only one here who likes you? What's going on with you guys?
Thank you.
I watched soap operas at mono. I was in the hospital for a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What were you kissing?
My mom.
Oh, man.
That's right. It was what she was kissing that wasn't a problem.
Trying to be nice.
No disrespect.
You just
God damn.
No, what the deal on acting on daytime? It's extremely difficult because it's the quantity of work. It's really challenging to do really good work because you finish that day and you basically throw that script away and pick up a brand new script and start reading for tomorrow, and it's like you're overwhelmed with how much work there is.
I guess when they're taping, you really don't have a lot of time to work out a part or dialogue with a certain person. It's like, stand here, say these lines, okay.
Turn here, exit,
like Ed Wood.
look angry.
cut, print, perfect.
Yeah. And if you get close, if the intention is correct and you get all the names correct, then we're moving on. That's good.
Now, were you in the show in the capacity where you got to be one of the people that had to kind of freeze frame their face and make expressions when they went to commercial?
Everyone on daytime has to do that. That's the hardest part because it's a big lie.
So what were you doing last night with Kay?
Yeah.
And then you got to just...
And then just hold it.
And while they're fading out. That is hilarious.
Or my deal was my character, and all the characters are pretty cut and dry. So my character, I was the associate professor at the university, and I was a good guy. So I get dumped on by girlfriends, and everybody's, like, I'm a terrific guy. So I have this girlfriend who is dubious, and she's like, she gets a phone call and is obviously in shock. I mean, obviously. And I'm going, who was that? And she goes, no one. And I go, okay. It's like, and I go, I can't do this.
Yeah,
no, you don't see it. And I go,
come on. It stinks.
It looks like she's just been disemboweled.
Yeah.
And I go, okay.
And you're
want something to drink?
And you're supposed to be a professor. Jesus. Well, I got to tell you, Brian, actually, we're running out of time. I want to get the hell out of here. I got things to do. Brian,
I'm actually good for time.
Why are you throwing Brian out?
Yeah, what the hell?
Because our show is done in 60 seconds.
Oh, you're right. 9:58.
Yes.
No, we're
you think I'm hanging around here for the likes of Jim Norton?
Let's lock the doors and refuse to go off there.
You know we're allowed to go to 11. What are you talking about?
Please.
Man.
Today I have to go to B&H.
What are you going to B&H for?
I got to look at some lighting.
Yeah. You have an exciting life.
I know.
Exactly.
He really does.
Busy man.
And he wants to get a telescope because he lives next door to a grammar school.
Whoa. Well, Brian is.
I thought I was going to make it out before
Brian
the
did
show
ask,
ended. And
he did ask.
You suck.
Why don't we get into the big plug for Breaking Bad, man?
Yes, Breaking Bad, the premiere July 17th.
That's Sunday.
10 p.m., on AMC.
This coming Sunday.
Yep. And AMC gives you guys a lot of freedom, which is good, too. I like, the language, the content. They don't really nail you guys like they would on a network
No, in
station.
fact, on AMC, their whole credo is that if it can be seen on NBC, CBS, ABC, or whatever, we don't want it.
We don't want it.
Right,
Get out of here. That's it. Hopefully we'll get a Bryan Cranston ass shot coming up on...
I'll give it to you right now.
What did he just...
What?
Why? What
do you know? Because they say in a lot of shows they show an ass and we haven't seen Brian's ass
But
yet.
I said
Bobby,
right.
I
don't know. Enough.
Did he ask for an ass shot
Jesus
from
Christ.
I know.
What happened here?
And we had seconds to go, and he slipped it in there.
And things got
Now
screwed up.
you're a pedophile and you're gay. 2 for 2.
I don't know what happened.
I got to go get some lights, but can I check out your ass before I take off?
We were all having fun. What the fuck? I don't know.
Now I want to see his ass.
Oh, well.
Brian, thanks so much.
great.
man.
I appreciate it.
Love
show.
I love the show, and big
Obviously.
fan.
Which
Thanks,
is great.
man.
I can't
Thanks,
wait to
guys.
check it out
I appreciate
on,
it.
the box set. Hey, Bobby, we're out of here. So
Okay, Gotham tomorrow night show. Check it out at Gotham.com or go to my website and check out my podcast.
But it's a big show because you're doing it
big
for the
show. Comedy Central
thing, so.
hour. We're working it out.
So please go check out Bobby if you're around Gotham tomorrow night. Jimmy?
Please.
I will be in my first trip to Utah, Salt Lake City, Wise Guys Comedy Club, August 19 and 20.
And, of course, Brian Cranston. Thank you.
I'm going to be showing my ass tomorrow night and tonight.
Hey, can you come back and see us or what?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, man.
It'd be great.
You were great.
Especially Total Recall, yeah.
Total Recall.
You'll forget it about us by then.
No. That's enough.
It happens to everybody. Fucking Breaking Bad, huh? Season 5 premiere Sunday at 10 p.m. on AMC. Brian
That's
Cranston.
right. There he is.
How are you, Brian?
There he is. Oh, my God. You know what?
man.
I'm so psyched.
Guess what? Ant's seen a couple episodes.
I
haven't.
I have been privy.
He was
to
privy.
the first
Not all of us privy.
2 episodes.
Really?
And let me tell you something. The second the first one came on, I'm like, yes, finally. Because, you know, that long wait between seasons, it's not easy for us.
How long was the wait?
No.
We don't know how this goes, so we have to wait.
But how long was the wait in between seasons?
A year.
Like a year.
That's doable.
Full calendar year. It's
That's
not.
a
It's a year.
That's doable. Some of
Crazy.
these. What about The Sopranos and The Wire? They
Exactly.
got a little longer than a year.
Sopranos would be 16 months, sometimes 18
did get
months.
crazy.
Brutal.
Listen, I brought a little something for you guys. So you don't. If you wait a year,
Oh, man.
you can still. I have a little.
I would love some of your
a little
meth,
teenth of our product, my
some
friend.
of your product.
My friend, that's for you.
Wonderful. Oh, man.
Wow, you got
how
actual
cool is
product.
this?
You got actual product.
Nice.
It's rock candy.
Oh, that is. I'm keeping.
Are you
this.
going to eat it?
Or you can
I'm
call
gonna
it
smoke
rock candy if you
I'm
want.
smoke it. That's the good stuff.
What did I see you in recently? You were in something else, weren't you? You in a film recently?
Yeah, I have a couple things out. I have Rock of Ages, that's out now, and also Madagascar 3, you have my voice.
Oh, really?
I play the Russian tiger.
Man, you're
Listen to me.
Yes.
You are not circus animal. Your kids will love it.
I got a kid.
You got a kid.
Perfect.
We talk about how with guys that come in that do cartoon voices, how just printing money that is.
It is the best. You roll out of bed, literally. You don't even have to wipe the sleep out of your eyes. It's like you have a cup of coffee in one hand, and you're like, what? Okay,
is that?
bigger. Good. All right, next.
How did they know you could do
fantastic.
Russian? Did they say we need you to do Russian, or you just made them Russian?
They kind of asked me to do it and said, "What characters would you be interested? Here's a Russian tiger. Here's this guy and that guy." And I said, "How about the Russian tiger? That sounds fun." You did sound like this. I'm like this. Hey, comrade.
That's good. Very KGB, old school Soviet Russia.
And a little like a tiger growl to it. So I go, listen to me.
Oh yeah,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I could see that animated.
You ever see Yakov Smirnoff down there in Branson, Missouri?
I haven't seen.
Apparently, he's got magnetic dinner trays and genuine linen napkins.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Vegetable medley.
You might want to look it up online. It's
Something going on
it's
down
a
there.
great video
It's
to
like
check
a cult.
out if you
that
want to
whole
laugh.
city's a cult.
Yeah.
Well, Breaking Bad.
Hilarious.
When is it premiere? Because I already saw the
Premiere
first one.
Sunday at 10 p.m. on AMC. And we love AMC.
Very excited.
And we love Dish Network. We love them all.
Now, last time,
Love everybody.
We don't love Dish. They
No.
cut us out.
That's right. See, I'm with Brian
Bastards.
Cranston.
Why'd they cut
Someone
you?
has to take his side.
Without getting too far into it, and I really don't know. There is a huge settlement that came down a little while ago against Dish and for our parent company at AMC, and so it feels a little punitive that they're trying to punish AMC networks. They're just cutting them all off. Cutting them off. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Walking Dead, Mad Men, all that is all gone.
no one
Isn't that bad for Dish?
No one wants to see those shows, Jay.
That's not true.
They don't really want to see
but
those.
they're sponsored.
It's got to play the side of the sponsor. 'cause
Yeah, what are
they
you
might
going
be
to
a
do?
sponsor.
I just do the live reads.
And we're desperate, sir.
Are you?
Not really.
Now, last time you were in, you were talking about Walt and how you were getting really, really over the deep end, and very, very bad. And I'm seeing this happen.
Yeah.
With the first 2 episodes I saw. No spoilers. Don't worry, people. You don't have to change the channel here. I'm not going to say anything. But you are taking this to a very extreme level, and it doesn't look like it's going to end well. I'll just say that.
Well, it is called Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Not Breaking Good.
No, not Breaking Good.
I mean, it is going dark. You know, from the beginning, we knew that it was going to go this way because our creator, Vince Gilligan, and the Lord Jesus Christ said that he wanted to take a guy who was a really nice guy, a good guy, and take him from Mr. Chips to Scarface. So we knew the trajectory. I just didn't know how deep and dark it would actually go for this guy.
Yeah, just a complete disregard for anyone else but you and apparently your immediate family. But even your wife on the show is starting to look at you like this is a monster.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even know the half of it.
I know she doesn't.
It gets really bad.
She doesn't need to know. Who's going to tell her? You going to tell her?
I'm not saying a word. You go about your business, Mr. Science Teacher.
The thing that's so interesting about this is that I think, certainly men, but any human being is capable of getting this dark, given the right set of circumstance. I'm telling you, I think it's possible. What's happened to Walter White is that he's been seduced. Never before in his adult life has he had money, has he been able to intimidate any other man ever.
Just a mild-mannered science teacher,
He was invisible to everybody, even himself. And all of a sudden, through these set of circumstances, he finds himself. He finds his power, and he's preening now. He's a peacock, but it's better than feeling numb. You know, so if you told him you can have an extraordinary 2 years to live, or the absolute most boring 20 years to live, what would you do? And it's like, I'm not so sure. There's a lot of desperation and depression involved in that kind of desperate life.
Yeah. The transformation has been done so well that it's believable. That's the amazing part. Over the course of all the seasons, you have gone from just the invisible science teacher to a drug kingpin for the most part, and the whole transformation's been very realistic because it didn't. There wasn't any one moment that kind of made it happen. It's just all these things came together. Over time.
I think that's what Breaking Bad does well, is that it uses the medium the way it should. It's like your show. You use the medium the way it
look at us, see?
You do. You use the medium the way it should. It's immediate, it's current, it's funny, it moves quickly.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad would not make a good movie because there are too many elements that would have been necessary to cut out in order to make it an hour and a half to 2 hours.
And you'd look at it and say, how did this guy become this? He was
it's too truncated. There's too many leaps. So serialized television, slowly played out, agonizingly played out sometimes.
You wanted
the best way.
You definitely saw the direction you wanted to go in, but it took these things, these hurdles you had to go over and awful things you had to do to learn how to be that evil. It's an amazing transformation.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Really a sociological experiment to me.
Can I don't want to give any spoilers or anything. I got to ask you, at the very beginning of the first episode of season 5, we do see a different look on you. A different look when you're near the trunk.
Yes, you do.
Was that a flash?
You're being so good, by the way.
I'm trying. Was that a flash forward?
It is a flash forward.
Okay.
You're looking at a flash forward.
So we'll get a little resolution of that?
Well, no, you know what's funny is that the teaser of the first episode this Sunday on AMC at 10 o'clock East Coast and West Coast, 9 o'clock in the middle, is revealing in so many ways.
Yes.
And yet not.
And you don't get anything.
You don't get, it's like, what? And then you realize, what did I just see?
That's what I was doing. Yeah. I was literally craning my neck, looking up, going, what's in there? What is, like thinking I'd see something different if I looked the other way.
Yeah.
It's been such a compelling show. The suspense is great. The second episode of this season was edge of your seat. The entire time is edge of your seat. Mike, the character Mike in there, the fact, what he wants to do and what he has to do, the difference in that is you start feeling bad for him.
Yeah.
And he's a son of a bitch.
It's amazing how this show toys with your sympathies.
Yes.
Where you have these people doing awful things, and yet you're sympathizing and almost rooting for them. Come on, make that crystal meth. Yeah, come on.
Bring back the old team. Let's get the band back together, kind of a feel to it.
Exactly.
It really is.
Housewives saying, "Oh, maybe if we just warn him with shooting his kneecap as opposed to killing him." I think that I don't think we have to kill everyone.
That just goes to show how well the writing is, because
It's really brilliant.
How do you get somebody that's so awful of a person and make him sympathetic?
What was so interesting about Vince Gilligan's jump into this is that historically television has always been about staying the same. Mm-hmm. Every single character that you know and love in the past, you could turn on the television. There he is. There's my guy.
My pal.
He's always the same. I can depend on him. And this show has always been about change. How can we change? And just when he comes to a certain point, change him again.
Yeah.
Get him darker, get him moving. And then what about my wife, who is, she's a loving, caring oh, wait a minute. Maybe she's changing too.
She's got a little in her, yeah.
Everybody's changing.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of evil in her too. But I think it's almost like she didn't realize how bad this was going to get, and how far you drag your family into all this. And what is initially, I guess the motivation was dying of cancer, have to take care of the family. So it was a noble effort.
Right.
When you started. But how did it get so evil? What is it in the character? Is it the fact that the character just didn't want to be bored for the rest of his life?
Well, if it's been a hypothetical that we've all played. If you had a year to live, how would you live your life? And this poor bastard's thinking, I'm just going to wither away, and my wife's going to empty my bedpan and we'll blow through whatever little savings we have, and that's the legacy I'm leaving. No man wants to. You want to have some control. So for the first time in his life, he makes a bold move and says, by God, I'm going to do this thing because I know how. The one thing I don't know is what to do with it. I don't know how to sell it. So that's why he needs Aaron Paul's character,
right,
Jesse, in order to come in to distribute the thing. Simple plan, make a bunch of money, give it to my family, die. There it is. It doesn't. But he realizes once you sell your morality for cash, you're lost.
There's no line.
You try
that
to become someone you're not, you're lost.
So you paint like a real picture of this guy. Like as an actor, how much of that do you do beforehand? Well, how much of it do you do just from the script, or do you actually, will you go home and think like, who is this person, or what? How do you see it when you play somebody like that?
Not anymore. When you first start to put a character together, you ask that question a lot. Where is he from? In fact, most actors, including myself, will do what's called a backstory. You'll write your own backstory, his education, where he was raised, teachers, things like that. That just helps fill in the blanks for you. And some of it may come to fruition. Some of it may never be known except to you. But you start doing that so you have more anchor points. The more that an actor knows about a character, it gets inside of him or her, and you feel more comfortable in how you portray it. After a certain point, I don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
I just live it. I slip into his wallabies, put on the glasses and the chinos, and I go, there you are.
Well, how much different of a guy is he from you? I mean, not the behavior, but I mean, as a guy.
He's killed more people than I have.
No, but I mean, like,
I've killed people. I don't want to paint the wrong picture.
I don't mean his actions. I mean, like, as a person, like, because this is a regular person pushed into extraordinary circumstances. So that's kind of what you base it on, as being a real person.
He's not anything like me.
No,
no. I mean, he's very, very smart. So there's the big comparison there. He's been put in a position where he has not expressed himself as a man, as an adult. He's never taken chances. My whole career is being an actor and being in the arts. You're taking chances constantly, and you have to get comfortable with that. He's introverted, or at the start he was shy. He was milquetoast, and so I had to get into that mindset of what makes him be him. What makes a person, what makes a man cave in like that? and become depressed. And I came up that he developed a fear of failure, and that he had missed opportunities in his life, and that led to his depression, and that led to this kind of invisible man, concept that I wanted to bring forward. And so when we were designing the face and the hair, I took all the color out of my hair when we first started. I had this little impotent mustache, a mustache that you can see through, and was light because we lightened it and thinned it out. And you'd never, if you want to make an impotent mustache, you guys, I know you'd want this. You would never have the hair turn down the corners of the mouth, because then it gets macho when you get down there. So I used to cut it here. I thin it out. I wanted a mustache for people to look at and go, What's the point? What are you trying to say?
We've all seen those. Yeah.
It's like,
wow.
Yeah, we look at people and go, really? So you groomed that. It's like, what do you...
An impotent mustache.
That's so I wanted him to disappear. So all his clothes were taupes and sand color and off-whites and thing. I wanted him to blend into the walls. I wanted him to feel invisible. And so on those first episodes when I'm in the classroom and trying to look at anybody who might be interested in chemistry and getting nothing, it helped me as a character realize I'm so depressed. How did I get here? I'm looking at it. Nobody cares that I'm even here.
Yeah.
Nobody knows I'm even here. If I walked out of this classroom, they wouldn't even know. They're going to continue texting and whatever. I've lost.
And that was
a man who lost.
That was like part of what made you do what you ended up doing on the show.
Yeah.
I guess if you were successful, or if the character was a successful teacher that was beloved by the students, even if you got the cancer and needed to get money for the family, it probably wouldn't have worked out the same way. It was just a combination of everything.
It had everything to do
all
with
the
that.
features,
all those elements
were there.
came into play.
Yeah. Now, but one thing confusing though, you did it initially for your family and out of love for your family and concern about their future, and then it seems like you lost the concern for your family because you pretty much put them in danger. Now with what you're doing.
What are you saying?
How did that?
You got a problem with that?
Not at all. I think it's great. All for one, and all for me. Wait a minute. But what happened with the character that he kind of almost not wrote off his family, but didn't seem that concerned?
Walter White was seduced. He was seduced by power, by money. All the things that
even
he
at the
never
cost
had
of his
before.
family.
Well, he didn't realize. I mean, we've all met very bright people who, in a social situation, right? I mean, you go, oh my God, this guy's a PhD and he's like unbelievably bright, and yet he can't hold a conversation in a social environment or whatever. So it doesn't mean if you're good at one thing, you're good at another. And so here you have a man who is very smart, but he made some poor choices, and he actually thinks that this simple plan will work. But he doesn't have the skill set to be a mastermind criminal. At least back then he didn't. He's learning quickly.
Yeah.
Is there anything hard for you, as an actor, is there anything that's hard for you to play? Like when they ask you to do is there a behavior or an emotion that's easier for you or more comfortable for you? And then there's one that when you do it, you're like, all right, this one's more work.
Any given emotion, I don't know. If you're asked to play some fast talking kind of guy who is authority on something, you have a lot of research to do, because you have to really delve into that and know what you're talking about, because it's coming out of your mouth so much faster than you ever thought. My guy on Drive, that movie Drive, was kind of that way, where he talked too much, he spoke too much. So I had to just get back into the garage and just get my head into that, that grease monkey kind of mentality and pick up a wrench and figure out things, and because I ad-libbed a lot in that film, and it was a lot about cars and things like that. Yeah.
Do you give yourself something to do? Like a lot of great actors will do that. Like they'll always be doing something like normal, like whether it's eating or just doing something like Pacino with his hands. That people like there's these little weird things that actors do that I think is so interesting, just to feel like it's real life.
It gives actors a handle, something to hold on to. If you're just standing there,
it doesn't always feel the most comfortable. So
what do you do
if
with
you're
your
actually
hands?
doing something and peeling a potato or something, anything, it basically makes the actor a little distracted in an activity, which is a good thing.
See, I never know what it's a
Jimmy
running
never
joke
knows.
on this show. But I don't. When I'm just standing there, like if they said in every scene like that I've ever like we need you to just dump salt on something. Like if there was slugs in every scene, I'd be fucking amazing. But when you just have to stand there, like walk into a room and make a proclamation, I stiffen up and I literally don't. I watch hands so much when people act because it's so hard to be natural and conversational. Like right now, my hands are just dead.
You don't think about it when you're talking to someone on the street. Your hands are doing what they do. But if you were told to speak to a person on camera, now you're conscious of everything.
Like we were having this conversation. If I had written this conversation out and we were having it, you'd be sitting there as natural as you are, and my hands, I'd be like, I'd be raising them, I'd be fucking poking things. Just...
And then they'll tell you, no, you're moving your hands a lot. Put them to your side. Let's do another take, everybody, and just keep your hands to your side. Now you're thinking, get my hands on my side. I've been moving my hands.
Exactly.
And now they like frozen down.
Yeah. Jim, this is whose life is it anyway? You can't be moving your hands around a lot. Must be quadriplegic.
It's like, remember, Jim, you're paralyzed from the neck down. So the movement thing is a little bit of a problem.
I'm always interested in how guys do that. Maybe they just don't. Maybe you're just so good you don't think about it anymore. But I'm fascinated by how you can make that so fucking natural. It's so hard to do, man.
It does look
really hard.
It's supposed to look hard, but it look easy, but it is actually very difficult to do.
Are you comfortable around guns? You do a lot of gunplay in the show.
Well, my character is not.
Yes,
he doesn't know from that world. So no, he's not too comfortable. When I was a kid, I used to shoot rifles. And doing some competitive shooting, and that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I know my way around a
Oh,
gun,
okay.
so.
Yeah. I guess you're more apt to poison somebody or something like a little more
drink
science oriented. Yeah. Wait a minute. Did he touch my coffee? Yeah, that was.
I love the idea of incorporating science in killing people.
Yeah,
there's more of that coming up this year.
I don't doubt it. It does work well, and your loyalty to Jesse. It seems like it's there in the criminal element of what you want to do, but as a person or friend, you have really no respect or like for this guy.
Well, I don't know.
And I think he idolizes you. He still calls you Mr. White, which is very odd to watch
very
after everything
sign of respect.
you've
I like
done.
that.
I think it's more a sign of him kind of still being a child in the classroom and calling you Mr. White. But yeah, you personally, on a personal level, you've done horrible things to this guy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if he ever finds out what I've done,
yes, there will be hell to
in
pay.
trouble. Yeah.
But
he's a great actor, and he's fun to work with. He's supposed to be here, right?
Yeah, I was going to say great actor, not very prompt.
He's not very punctual. He doesn't own a watch. He has no clue what time it is at any given.
Yeah, they said he was in traffic.
He's stuck in traffic.
Yeah. But it just does seem like you put everything aside, even that, and that's a very threatening place to put yourself because he would do awful things if he found out what you've done.
Yeah, and as we wind down for season 5 starts on Sunday for 8 episodes. Season 6 will start next summer for 8 episodes, and then we're done. For
See,
good.
I did not know that.
Yes,
and that's going to be it.
Okay,
and that'll be it.
Wow,
that'll be it.
I need more.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I mean, it will have.
I think it's time.
Yeah, I mean, given the conceit of the story that this man had 2 years to live and he's still going to die of lung cancer, if not of something else beforehand. But yeah, I want to stay true to what we told the audience and be fair with that. And
you don't want to do like MASH where the Korean War's 11 years.
11 years. I thought this was supposed to only be 3 years. I was like,
yeah. The Beatles are playing in the Korean War.
It's like, really?
Was it 11 years? Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's time to move on. It's time to move on. Close it down. And
well, you got the Total Recall movie. When is that coming out?
That comes out August 3rd.
It's coming out soon.
Yeah, August 3rd.
I can't wait.
Very cool.
I can't wait for that.
Very
That's
cool.
going to be huge.
Absolutely, it is.
Do you remember?
it's a
Here's an
lot
odd
of
question. Do you remember the last time that you were lousy? Like something you did like years ago that you're like, oh God, was I awful in that?
I wasn't too kind to my wife the other day.
No, I mean as an actor.
Oh, Oh yeah. Oh sure. In fact, friends of mine have a humiliation night where they ask actors and performers to bring your worst shit over. And
wow! You know how easy it is to be me and bring everything?
No, and see, that's it. You have to call through that and say, this is the worst I've ever been.
What a great idea
right?
it is.
And you drink. You're drinking all night long, and you're laughing at everyone else's horrible performances.
Great.
It's great. You're just ripping each other completely.
We've had some of the stand-ups come in, and we played some of their early material and some of their videos, and we've actually we played shit that we've done on the air when we were first on the radio. Just happy to be there.
That's right. 5 minutes after the big hour, 5 o'clock here.
Just embarrassing. Yeah. But that's got to be pretty nerve-wracking, just sitting there with your friends goofing on your work.
The last time we did it was with Seth MacFarlane. He was over, and we were drinking, and he did an on-camera thing on Star Trek, the TV series, and he was really stiff and in the background, and he was doing it and marching. It looked like he had something stuck up his ass. It was funny, so funny.
It is embarrassing to watch, though. Even though you're getting laughs from your friends, it really is on some level like, oh, God, is that rough?
What did you bring?
I brought this thing called Crisis Counselor, which was a really bad one of the early reality shows back in like 1980, I want to say, and it was kind of an improv show dealing with therapy sessions, group therapy sessions, and they would only tell you basically what you are, and then everything else just comes out. And I played this guy who who was married, and his wife is pregnant, and he has a male lover on the side. And I was told, you need to make this right on the show. You just need to say, what's wrong with this? And I went, really? That's what and so my arguments were, like, I don't know, I just, she was a little sick, so I thought I'd step away, have myself a lover.
Were you playing it up like that?
Not unlike any other guy would do. Go get yourself a male lover. When your wife is pregnant, right? And it's like they're looking at me like, "What? You're such an ass!" And so everybody else on the panel was throwing daggers at me, and I'm trying to this weak argument. Anyway, we had a blast. They carved me up quite a bit on that one.
Do you know how? I guess back then you'd never thought this would end up for public consumption, but all this stuff can be found on YouTube and stuff.
Everything's available.
And back then it was like, all right, that's gone forever.
Yeah,
it's never going to see the light of day.
It'll never surface.
And
ever
here
again.
you go.
Here
there it
you
is.
Oops.
Yeah, that's
yep.
They're telling us you have to leave. They're telling us that you have to. So Brian Cranston, Aaron Paul is in traffic. But Breaking Bad Season 5, it's Sunday, 10 o'clock on AMC. Mm-hmm. And where can people get it if they're on Dish or something, they don't have it? Is there another way to see it?
iTunes, Netflix.
Yeah.
Right? I think those are the places. We do
on demand.
Really on demand. It's great.
All right, so there's a way to see it.
Absolutely.
Great show and you're a tremendous actor.
I love it. If you have not seen it, you have maybe the weekend to do a big long marathon,
4 seasons catch up.
I would do it. I'd run 2 TVs at once and do 2 episodes at the same time. It's fantastic.
Wow,
I love it. And I said when you were here last time, the first episode of the first season grabs you.
Yeah.
The only comparison I have really is the Lost pilot was like that when all of a sudden there's a plane crash, people walk around and they're like, what is going on here? Yeah. And you have to stick around for it. And that's exactly what Breaking Bad is. Fantastic show. Huge fan, Brian.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Love it.
All right. Appreciate it.
Hey, Bob. And Kirk. Jesus Christ.
How are you, sir?
Interrupt your show.
Don't worry about it. You're not interrupting anything.
It's just a strange day today, sir.
Huge fan of Breaking Bad, of course. Hanging out.
I'm a big fan of radio.
Are you?
Are you really? Why?
Are you really?
We're the last of a dying breed. Yeah, we're not, and we do it every day.
This is Don Trump Jr.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Yes.
You related to the senior one?
No, not at all. Yeah. Yes, I
Poor
am.
fella.
He would be the son.
Poor fella.
Yeah. Yeah, Donald Trump put out a few kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How's it going? You're like a judge on one of those shows, right?
Exactly, on The Apprentice.
Hey, I just got hired as a judge on one on a show's coming out next year.
Yeah,
cool.
It's called America. What is that you're doing? Are you? Is that your talent?
Isn't that
what
every
you're doing
reality
right now?
Yeah, what is that you're doing?
Can you stop that?
It's a long title.
They're going to use an acronym
with a lot of dots.
They're going to use an acronym.
dot.
Yeah. Do you like that? Is that fun?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to quit my day job, but it's sort of a interesting way to break up the year. It's one of those things, I guess, being kind of a real estate guy, I'll look back on 20 years and be like, hey, I was like network TV for 7 or 8 years.
That
like,
is
kinda
pretty cool
It's
when you think about
just
your
a life
real
experience,
estate guy.
It's not something I do. It doesn't change what I, just makes my life a lot harder during the time that we're filming because it's hours that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, so I got to go back and, but it breaks it up. It's pretty cool.
That's the beauty of my career. I don't have that whole hubbub with TV to interfere with the shit that I'm doing.
But watching TV.
That does get very distracting.
That's a lot of fun. You worked with Bob, right?
We did years ago, man. We haven't seen each other many. We did me, Bob, Rich Voss, and Zamuda as Tony Clifton. It was this weird thing where they were showing outtakes.
Why were we doing that? What was the event?
It was an Andy Kaufman
special that they were showing on TV, or there was some reason why it wasn't just. It was like the 10 years.
It was or 20 even
20 years
of Andy Kaufman's death. It was at the House of Blues in L.A. And they showed a lot of Jim Carrey footage that wasn't in the movie from. It was right whenever Man on the Moon came out.
Right.
And then they did a walk by Kaufman's house. We went over to the Comedy Store.
Yeah. It was kind of a weird show, but cool that way. It was a cool one, and I'm a fan of Jim. He's a funny
thanks,
guy.
Man. Thank you.
Man,
Jimmy is.
That was a weird night. It was a weird crowd.
But it's for Andy Kaufman.
But that's what I
expect. It was perfect. Perfect for Andy.
I'm jealous. I would have loved to check that out.
I was before it was my first time, I think, meeting Zamuda, and
he's been on the show.
It was as it got hotter and hotter, the fucking Clifton makeup gets tougher and tougher to keep on.
Oh God, nice.
And he's doing it again. He's doing Clifton.
He is
hosting a show at the Comedy Store.
He came in as Clifton about a year, maybe.
Oh,
it might be 2 years
was
ago
it
now.
pleasant?
No, it was weird.
He's not a pleasant man.
It was very strange. Extremely strange.
Very odd, yeah.
But we enjoyed it.
Yeah, Zamuda's a weird dude, but I mean, he's managed to keep that going for
amazing, right?
a long time. And it's odd. We all know Kaufman is fucking dead, but there is a part of you that when this son of a bitch sells it, you're like, well,
yeah, that could be him.
You have like a little hope.
A little hope, right?
Yeah, then it's just, you realize it's just fucking Bob.
I love what they did with that. I love that they switched off who played the character.
Amazing.
And
just
it
an
was
amazing
also kind of comedy that it seems like it would fit in right now. Everyone would understand it with, like, Between Two Ferns and stuff, the kind of rudeness but back then, that's nuts.
Yeah. It was nuts, man. And he would do stuff that people didn't like.
They went on. Did you see the Dinah Shore show appearance?
No.
It was great. It was just great.
Was it
rude
with Kaufman or
I think it was Muda. And he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just because back then there was no alternative comedy.
Right.
It wasn't this weird irony. It was like you were just a guy who they thought sucked. Like, that was really ballsy to fucking do that, man.
Yeah,
like, he was
to go up and bomb on purpose was a
catch a rising star. It's not like it was the Luna Lounge where people were a little bit more tolerant because they knew you were exploring a certain mentality or a certain thought process.
Right.
This was just, what the fuck is he doing?
The only thing I would say is different is I used to go do stand-up at the Improv here when I wrote for Saturday Night Live because I wanted to get a laugh once a week. If you can believe that going to the Improv was the thing that fed my soul. You know how rough SNL was.
What years were you there?
87 to 91.
Okay.
I wrote for... Dennis Miller and Jan Hook's time, and then also Farley and Sandler.
The Farley years were
fucking amazing.
Yeah, some great stuff. And on the wall they had those photos. Do you remember? Did you ever do that club?
The New York Improv?
The old one.
I think I went in there once. It kind of was before my time.
So anyways,
closing.
on the wall were these pictures of acts, and it was so weird because there were singers and there were people doing juggling, and then they explained to me that that's what used to happen in a comedy club in the 70s was you'd have a comic, a singer, and a specialty act in that order all night long.
That's
like a variety show almost.
Like Ed Sullivan. People
Imagine being
spinning
those
plates.
Weird variety acts. Yeah, those spinning plates in a nightclub.
It was always weird. Like, I remember Ed Sullivan, and it was that kind of dumb thing. And the whole family would sit and just be captivated by somebody doing some awful thing with bouncing balls and spinning plates and juggling bowling pins. It's like, what?
Yeah,
who's watching this
party.
shit?
This is a party act, right?
Yeah,
this is like a 6-year-old birthday party act.
And it's on
But they
national
were on
television.
national TV.
Yeah.
I'm amazed there's enough people interested in taking the time to learn a practice like that. Like, what's for
Backstage, imagine that. The Beatles talking to the plate spinning guy.
Yes.
And they're both doing equally well. They're both at the same place in their career.
No one remembers that, like, when the Beatles were on Sullivan, like, there had to be some filler acts before and after.
The zookeeper with
Yeah, and there was a guy that's like, I played with the Beatles. On Ed Sullivan. No one remembers me.
That's a funny moment in Mr. Saturday Night, which it wasn't my favorite movie, but there was a really funny moment where Buddy, who is Billy Crystal's, like nightclub guy who never quite made it to the big time character, comes out was it before or after the Beatles, and he's just screaming at all the kids and he fucking sabotages his career. But it was a very funny thing to picture a comedian having to come out and fucking work with the Beatles.
Well, the Beatles.
Yeah. I just don't remember if it was before or after them.
Yeah.
But somebody else did.
You were involved in Mr. Show, right?
I helped with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in the way of the camera. David and I did that. David Cross and I.
And of course also Ben Stiller's show too. Which, that show, why didn't that show take off?
Well, because it was on opposite 60 Minutes.
Oh, was it?
It was such a crazy placement for that show. It was
Sunday at fucking
parodies
7?
and definitely for young people.
Yeah.
And it was opposite 60 Minutes. I mean, it was death right away.
What time? What channel?
Jesus. It was Fox, which was just beginning to have shows. So, you didn't even know they had shows some nights.
They did have like a Fox Sunday, and then like the rest of the week, it was the local affiliate was running like I Love Lucy or something.
Yeah, right.
And then they built it into a 7-day-a-week network. But at the time, you're right, it was like Fox Sundays.
Well, maybe they didn't have a lot of spaces to choose from, but it really was not going to do well. Because, 60 Minutes... They already had, all those people. Their audience was people between 7 and 75, and we had everyone else we could pluck from.
Yeah, I remember that just being really a funny show, very cutting edge and comedy that you weren't seeing everywhere else.
It was also pretty weird. I mean, people say, I don't know, when people use the word weird for comedy, I think sometimes it means they're boring. You know? Like Mr. Show, I feel like people talk about it like it was weird or whatever, but I don't think it's weird at all. I mean, it's just the things we're making fun of are pretty apparent. Mm-hmm. If you're watching it, you can like, oh, well, that's a parody of this and that he's doing, And then I think the Ben Stiller show was like weirder by far because the pieces were so such a strange like mashup, Eddie Munster in whatever, what was it? I can't remember. Cape Fear, and like, where does that come from?
Medieval Cops. I remember that one too. It was
cool. Some funny stuff. Yeah.
Who else was on that? It was you, obviously Stiller, Janine Garofalo.
Andy Dick.
Oh, right.
Judd Apatow was the producer.
Jeez.
Rob Cohen, Jeff Kahn, David Cross wrote for the last, 3 episodes. I never talked to him. I just gave him shit. He was in the room pitching, and he was a new writer, right? So he wanted to get something on, and people were pitching these parodies that I hated, these stupid, mix the titles together, and somebody had A Few Good Scouts. And I was like, ugh. And David was like, yeah, he was just trying to cooperate as a new writer. He was like, I finally got a job. I'm making money doing comedy. And he's like, well, you could do this and you could do that. And I think Judd said, well, write it up. And I turned to him and I said, good luck with that. and he remembers that forever.
Yeah.
How hard is it to write for a show? Like, I've never written for anyone but myself, and like SNL is supposed to be a fucking rough environment, like a very
but I
tough
don't know what
place.
it's like now because I think people are much nicer now.
Yeah.
It seems like just the vibe there is much better than it was when I was there and before I was there. I when I first got there, I couldn't understand the coldness and the kind of strangeness and intensity of everyone. I mean, I was already intimidated because it's my first job and I'm 25.
Huge.
And then for people to like pile on the intimidation, it was like, what is up here? And I found out that everyone felt that way about the place and previous, cast
Everyone
members.
I've spoken to from SNL has the same story about how just awful it was to work there.
Yeah, and they wouldn't go up there. I mean, I heard that, like, Jane Curtin said she'll never set foot on this floor again in her life,
Wow.
And, like, wow, really? I thought, wasn't this a great time in her life?
It looked fun.
Daryl Hammond was the longest running cast member, and he's been in 9 mental institutions.
That says all you need to know, right?
Now, does it have the same cachet today as it did back then when it was a rougher environment? Because I kind of look at it as like the ultimate back then, and I know it's still on. But
it does though. It does, and also, like I said, I think it's different over there now. I think everyone is nicer to each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's more people, which somehow makes it. There's way more writers. There was like 14 when I was there, and now there's like 23. So I guess your odds went down to get something on, but everybody's kind of in the same boat. There's so many people up there in the same boat, so they're kinder to each other, it seems. But I think it does because there's so many venues for comedy, and it's still a premier place.
Well, because my question is more from the business side: did like the aggressive work environment actually promote sort of a better product than the happy, friendly?
I suppose they probably
everyone
think
gets along
that
nicely.
may be true. That may be true. I don't know.
There's so many Saturday Night Live alumni that it's like, and all you guys seem like, it's like veterans of the Nam. You all have this like
It's
camaraderie.
An intense experience.
We made it through.
Yeah, it is a really intense experience. I totally respect to everyone who went through there. But the other thing is, I don't think people are deluded when they go there now. Like, oh, I'm going to be a movie star. They know I'm going to do this, and it might work, it might not pan out. I'm just going to try to do the best I can with this. So when I was there, people were still showing up going, that's it, I'm done. I'm a billionaire.
I'm huge.
Was that the Hartman years or no?
Yeah.
You were there for Phil?
Phil, I was there for Phil.
He was
brilliant.
Funny dudes, man.
that was
funny
great.
people.
Fucking
The best.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Simple caveman lawyer. That was one of the great skits of all time.
Was Farley as crazy as everyone says? The stories
When
that
you
come
say
out.
crazy, what do you mean?
Well, I
He's
guess
a
there's-
really sweet guy.
No,
Really
I
super
understand
sweet
that,
guy.
but there was one story about how he would shit out the window.
Yeah,
and-
he would do that.
That's actually never been verified.
Why is that crazy? Let's analyze this.
I
Where does
personally-
your shit go?
I should explain.
Flush it down the toilet.
I should explain. I'm a huge fan of Chris Farley, but
It's
they
crazier
said
to
he-
shit in your own window, I guess.
They said he did.
Yes, at least it's out.
It would be crazy
He
if it was on
kept
the
it. He
floor.
kept it interesting for everyone.
Yeah.
He
should
was,
explain.
youthful. He was very.
So depressed when he passed, man.
Yeah, it was really
he had a
sad.
lot more to give.
He sure did, yeah. And he was a good actor too. I did Second City with him. I did the main stage with him, and he did a few scenes that weren't pure comedy scenes. They were kind of dramatic, and he could have done anything. His movie work doesn't show what he could have done,
Right.
And he just.
His performance in Tommy Boy, though, was brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Really, but way past just being funny.
Yeah. It's a real shame because my kids don't really know who he is, and I showed him one or two movies, but he just didn't stick around and do enough to make the impact he should have made, But he was the best guy ever. I loved him. Everybody who knew him loved him, and and of course you saw it coming for so long. It made it worse because for so many years everyone was trying to help him, and it was weird because there was one party that I went to in L.A. and I didn't know he'd be there, and he wasn't drinking, and he was with David Spade, and he wasn't drinking, and he was totally on the ground and doing great, and I thought, oh my God, he's going to make it. I'd never seen him like that. I'd never seen him so in control of himself. And it was like a different person than I'd ever seen. So it made me really happy and to feel like he did it. He made it there. I can't believe this. Because before that, you just see Chris sober after, rehab, but very still, kind of being a childish, kind of being immature, going, I promise. Yeah, I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
But you kind of go like, you're just saying that to me like I'm your dad. I don't want to hear that. I want to believe it, and I did. I believed it. But I think he had a lot of temptation. There's people who have a certain kind of celebrity where when people see them on the street, they're like, dude, let's party.
Yeah.
And he had that.
Yeah.
So the temptation around him was insane and never stopped. And just walking down the street, and people are, this is their one chance to have a beer with Farley. I'm not going to pass that up. I know he's supposed to be sober. Come on.
And he's the big funny
just this
guy.
one time. Come on, Chris.
Very approachable.
It was really sad.
That's gotta be a tough way to live.
How long after that did he die that you said you saw him at that and he seemed okay?
I'd say it was about 2 years after that.
Okay.
So it was a while. Yeah.
Wow.
There's something about there's something about like those big fat guys who are like Gleason, John Candy, him, Belushi. They those guys also, those really over the top fucking gut funny fat dudes that are great actors as well. There's different to me than there's a certain physicality they have that smaller guys don't have that they bring. Like no skinny guy could do what Gleason did. There's something about his largeness.
Why is that though?
I don't know. It's just the dynamics of how they're made up, and maybe what goes into making them big, loud, brash, funny guys.
Yeah.
But usually they turn to be fucking like Candy was a really good, serious actor when he did it. I'm babbling.
No, Farley when he did the Chippendale skit.
Oh,
he was actually a pretty good athlete, man. That stuff was amazing.
He was. He was absolutely
someone
a dancer. I mean, he could do anything.
He was incredible. I'm looking at that. I mean, he was as good as Swayze or whatever it was in there.
Yeah.
With an extra 300 pounds. It was
classic, but Breaking Bad, obviously.
That's why you're here, Bob.
What
right?
about that show? What is with that show? I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen it.
I hear it's great. I'm a huge fucking fan.
That's great, man. Thanks.
I wound up
no
getting...
need to swear.
Well, that's true. I shouldn't use the blue language. There's no reason to go blue over here,
Satellite
children.
Radio.
Yeah, you kind of love it.
It's like ham, right?
Yeah, it's ham radio. Sometimes we get skip. We get skip and we broadcast to Europe.
Yeah, Breaking Bad's awesome. I mean,
it really is. And your character came in. Was it the second
end of the
season?
Second season, yeah.
End of the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had to get in enough trouble where he needed a lawyer.
Oh yeah,
I guess is why you came in at that point. The character's great. We were talking last night about your office alone is a character. That office is hilarious.
Yeah.
And God,
with the
what
pillars
is it?
and the
behind it, in God we trust.
Constitution,
the Constitution behind you,
on the wallpaper,
the pillars. It's so pompous.
Well, it's such a facade. I mean, everything about Saul. When Vince called me to ask me to do it, which is amazing that he asked me to do it.
You were in mind when they. Like you were the guy?
I guess so.
Wow, that's fucking great.
Somebody turned it down, some idiot.
Oh,
did they ask you to read for it, or they said we'd like you to do it? That's great.
No, I know. Isn't that weird? And I said, so tell me about it. And he goes, well, he's a sleazy lawyer. And I go, great, I can do that.
How hard can that be?
And then he goes, his name's Saul Goodman, and he blah blah blah. And I go, whoa. I said, I'm not Jewish. My kids are Jewish and my wife is, but I'm not. And he goes, oh, well, he's not Jewish. He's Irish. He made that name up. Yeah. He just wanted to
even better.
Appear Jewish to the homeboys,
because it is great.
Credibility.
Saul Goodman.
Yeah. And
Saul
I said,
Goodman.
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right away. And I right away wanted to do the hair, the mullet, and the comb over mixed together, but also cleaned up as much as possible on the sides.
Yeah.
And no offense to comb overs. Family tradition.
I heard that one on no less than millions of occasions.
I'm sorry.
No. I'd make fun of it myself, but karma's a bitch, and I figured my genetic propensity towards potential bad hair, I'd rather just not go there.
You're lucking out. You got a great head of hair. Right?
You really do.
I'm doing okay so far. Yeah, that's why I don't want to tempt fate. I'll leave it alone.
Good. So and honestly, Jim, I showed up there. I would not have been surprised if they said Odenkirk. Oh, that wasn't the name. No, go back home.
Yeah, we
Wrong
didn't want
actor.
you.
No, I can't believe it. So years later, 2 years into it, I asked Vince. Vince Gilligan writes the show, and he's the mastermind of the show. And there's great writers, amazing writers, but he is the final say, and I think propels it into the place that it is. And I said, so why'd you hire me? Is it because of the Larry Sanders Show? Because there's some similarities between the characters, Saul and Stevie Grant, the agent I played.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, Mr. Show. So I don't know. I'm not going to touch it. I've done it for 3 years now, and I love it.
Great situation, man.
I'm just going to keep going.
Was the character supposed to be as prevalent in the show?
No, he's. I don't know, because Vince is hard to scrutinize, but he said, initially it was 3 episodes.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Omar from The Wire was supposed to be on for 6, and it just worked, and he became the star of the show. That's great.
People love the character. The character's so sleazy.
It makes wisecracks and stuff.
Yeah.
And because for him, like all these characters that you've been watching, if you watch Breaking Bad, everybody's got a gun to their head.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
Everybody. The wife of the guy who's making the meth is, scared to death. So he's the one character who wasn't in fear all the time. And he was just making wisecracks. And it was a big game to him. Like, how much money can I make off these idiot meth cookers, these degenerates? And then now, as the intensity of the show has gone up, which is amazing, right? That it keeps going up. You can't
really
believe
is.
it. Yeah. It's the hot water's starting to rise up.
Yeah, you
over
can't be
my neck.
involved with that many people that are in that much trouble and not get your own hands dirty.
Yeah, I'm only on beginning of season 3, so don't really tell me to go earmuffs or something like that.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, yeah.
No,
but,
I was lucky enough to see the first couple of episodes before it aired, and the first episode's great. The second episode of the new season here, it was unbelievable. Just blown away by it. I was saying how it's almost like a movie that's taken years, because a lot of times they don't want a character to change in a show.
Yeah, TV shows about not
leave
changing.
Fonzie the way he is.
Yeah,
Fonzie's this guy. But like Walter White has completely changed through the whole show.
Yeah, well, that was the goal of making a show where that happened, which is it's probably happened once or twice before. I don't know when though. But yeah, mostly TV is about watching the same characters in the same place.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a no-no to make them change. You're going to ruin the formula.
But yeah, TV's really changing with these cable channels and what they're trying to do something new, and so that was Vince's idea, was to watch Walter White mutate and evolve or devolve into this evil guy and believe every step and understand why he makes each step.
And it happens so gradually that it's not like 1 week he's this timid guy and then the next week he was this tough guy.
Well, he's always got a loose screw. That's the thing that as you watch it, you start to understand that he's got this past, that he's got this anger and rage.
Oh, he's broken
Garland,
right from the beginning.
Jeff Garland said to me, because Jeff, like a lot of people, I have people come up to you when you're on that show all the time and go, I never watched it, and then 2 weeks ago, I watched all of them. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's like 24 that way. You know what I mean? You sit down, you're like, oh, and you realize you spent your whole weekend watching a show.
Yeah, and I think it's streaming on Netflix, so it's easy to watch them all. So Garland comes up to me and he goes, I finally watched them all. It's about middle age. It's about being a middle-aged white guy. Nobody says it. It kind of, if you look at the character and how Walter White's character and how much rage and resentment he has, I think a lot of 50-year-old white guys are like, I never got mine. I never got what's coming to me.
He was invisible. He was just a science teacher. And
shit on every corner.
Yeah,
and then
always
boom,
shit on. And what's really great about your interaction with him in the beginning, you were shitting all over him. I mean, you controlled him like a puppet.
Yeah.
And then now in the last few episodes that I've seen from this season, boy, does he have you petrified now too? You know, he's
I've seen what
he's the boss.
Yeah.
Oh, what he's capable of. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
We had him in recently, and
he's fantastic.
Brian described it as he said when he came up with the character and how to make it. He said he wanted him to blend in. It was really brilliant. He said I gave him these bland colors, so he blended in, and an impotent mustache, and it's all I can think of now is an impotent mustache.
Yeah,
greatest term.
Just sitting over
his facial hair
with no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, just nonsense on his face.
Yeah.
What a smart actor thing to do that is.
He's great. He's a great actor and a really great guy, and sets the tone for that set. And
then the Emmy nominations came out, and
13, right?
Crazy, right? A lot.
Wow. It's amazing.
Amazing. I mean, Giancarlo Esposito is such a great actor, and he's plays Gus, and he's nominated, and Anna Gunn is nominated this year. She's so great as Skylar, and this year she's amazing what's coming up.
Yeah.
So
she looks petrified too, which is great. Like
she's in such a spot. That first episode of this year, I don't want to wreck it for you.
No,
but
I'll go earmuffs, you know.
That line,
right at the end, right?
I forgive you.
Yes. And
that was crazy.
And she's like, why? Her face is brilliant because she's just, you could hear her going, what? You forgive me?
Oh, man.
Everyone's just petrified. It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's a moment where you're like, I don't know if I wanted to see. You didn't need to have a camera in there then when they said that, did you?
Fantastic.
Did you need to show us that?
And it's also a credit to the show that a lot of people, when it first came out, weren't watching it. I mean, this has built up steam where people are going back and getting those first couple of seasons and blasting through them, trying to catch up before the spoilers come out.
I can't believe I get to be on it. It blows me away, and it's an amazing project.
I bet you get recognized a lot from this, or more so
from this than anything I've done. I've been doing comedy. Stiller Show, Mr. Show, and all kinds of little videos because I'm always making stuff with friends in LA.
Funny or Die.
Funny or Die stuff. And, but I've done so much. But this is obviously the biggest thing by far, in a way, that I've done.
Yeah. Do you have any clue of where the storyline's going to go? Not even going to ask you what happens, but I'm just curious if you know.
I won't make it outside the studio.
Well, that's true. We might have to beat it out of you.
It is a darker season this season, as you can see, and but there's some amazing, mind-blowing stuff that happens. That when I read it, you read the scripts. When I get the scripts, you read it. It's just like watching it. You're like, what? No, you're kidding me. I mean, I call them up and say, how are you going to do that?
That's got to be fun.
It is fun, and then you want to forget it right away because you want to watch it again and sort of see it for the first time.
Do you get the whole script? You don't just get your
at the
sides?
end. The last couple episodes of the season, they black it out like a government document.
CIA document.
Right?
Yeah, they do because script almost got out like 2 years ago. I don't know how. But they, so they don't want to.
They don't trust you guys at all.
Ruin it for everyone.
Right.
I don't want to know what's going to happen, and especially now that the end of the run is kind of looming. I watch these episodes like you want to savor them. They end, and you're like, shit, there's another one gone.
Yeah,
I definitely say, because I watch it mostly on like an iPad when I travel. I save them all up, and so it's like, man, there's 2 more shows in the season. It's like, do I watch it now and try to grab it all in, or do I wait 2 weeks and just try to get something more out of it and watch something else to break it up? And
I totally get people who go, I can't. I have to wait till the end of the season and watch them all. I can't suffer through the week.
I watch them, and when I ever watch anything, I watch it fast because of again, spoilers and the amount on Twitter.
Oh, these pricks.
Yeah, they'll ruin anything on Twitter. So you got to get it out quick.
Whenever I'm doing something like that, having one of these marathons of a show that I haven't caught up on, I never say on the air that I'm watching it.
Oh, speaking of which, don't tell me what happens on Big Ange.
Oh, damn! No, don't spoil Big Ange.
I'll get right now. I'm on season 2 of Laverne and Shirley, and I want to know what happens.
She blows the big ragu.
Yeah, I hear there's a double dildo coming where the father catches him in the pizzeria, but I don't want
to. Don't.
I've been watching Classic Sports Network. Don't tell me what happens.
Ali Frazier's next
Super Bowl 17.
Hey, you had a stand-up background, right? It was.
I did stand-up. I'm not a real like you're a real stand-up. I'm not a real stand-up. I just use the stage for getting up there and telling jokes and
But you did Second City. I mean, that's
no, but he does it for a living, and
I'm not in real estate. I just build
Jim,
buildings.
Jim fights with an audience. See, I don't do that. If they don't like me, I go, well, okay, I got to go. It's okay. You don't have to like me. I probably don't like you.
Believe me, if I was a better actor, I wouldn't fight with him either. It's just I have no choice. It's either that or I'm fucking not working at all.
Yeah, no, you got to go with what you got.
Yeah.
I'd
love to be a better actor.
You know, that's part of it, is being a real great stand-up like you is that you get up in front of people and you work it with that crowd. You make it work for you. It's hard. It's a tough gig. So, I just do it for fun.
Yeah.
But I did it during the comedy boom when I was starting out because I always loved sketch comedy. That's always what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And but you could, if you could write some jokes, you could
get up there and
make
tell
some
them.
money.
Yeah.
Remember how crazy that was? I mean, I don't know if Jim, you came kind of
1990. I started, and I got my first paid gig like April of '91. I was on the tail end of the boom when it was kind of bottlenecking a little bit.
Would you bamboozle for that paying gig?
All right, I was
Dennis Ross and Jim Florentine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first paid gig.
Yeah.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, 91.
Because I do remember when, there were, on any Friday and Saturday night,
crazy.
There were so many comedy shows on television. Just they couldn't find enough clubs to pop a camera on in front of that brick wall and just
it was
comic
nuts.
after
in
comic.
In Chicago, it was like it was like there were 2 clubs, and then 2 years later there were like 12.
Yeah,
like these chains, they would open chains of them. Like Zanies had like 3 locations and.
One of those just closed too. The Zanies in
they closed
Vernon Hills
like 2 of them. Yeah,
and quantity did not mean quality.
No,
either.
it didn't.
Wow.
No. And every disco had used to be disco had a comedy night. You could pick up $50 and it's better than waiting tables.
That hurt a lot of comics too, though. Like a lot of guys who might have been much funnier start headlining before they were ready because there was so many headliner spots available. And then in 1993, 94, 95. They weren't good at writing material, so they were doing the same shit.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys have been phased out and probably would have been better acts if they had been forced to.
They had to just
fucking work their way through it.
Clubs up.
Yeah,
trying to fill up so many goddamn comedy clubs.
It was so crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts back then.
You can't do it you can't just. It's not like opening a disco where you just play the top songs and everyone can play them. You need to get these guys to show up and have material.
Entertain a crowd.
So it was really some lame comedy.
Yeah. I find sketch to be harder because I've never seen Second City live. Excuse me, but I've gone to UCB and when Amy Poehler went in one night, and what a masterful improver she is. She's fucking brilliant at it. And it's like improv is either really, really horrendous or it's fucking art.
I mean, if you're going to do it good, the people who do it well, they do it all the time. They get their head into this space. I've seen some great improvisation. I'm not a great improviser. I've done it, but I've seen some great stuff. And UCB guys are the top notch people. Some of the people who do like Ass Cat and stuff, like Besser and Amy Poehler and Matt Walsh. But then you're right. A lot of improv is terrible. But sketch to me, he was writing sketches and then putting them up and I love that. Monty Python and early Saturday Night Live and Second City TV. Those were the things.
You guys were. I'm sorry. Were you guys more improv or sketch? Were you doing improv too? Mostly?
I did improv because that's where you do it in the same place where you would do a sketch show. But I was always more for let's go write this and try to make it good. And improvisation to me was a way to get there. But I always was skeptical of improv and still am a little.
Yeah.
When they're really good at it, when people do it 2 times a week for 3 years or more, some people do, they get to this place where their head is just, they're making connections. The Groundlings is amazing too in LA. The alumni Groundlings, the guys who've been just doing it for years. And that can be mind blowing because everything ties up and it's funny. And how did you do that? It's hard to grasp.
Yeah.
But but a lot of improv is just people being clever on stage and being scared, and everyone laughs because they're all worried for you. It's just weird.
Yes.
Like, so we'll get together and we'll worry. And then if anybody says anything remotely clever, we'll all be thrilled.
Very hard.
Laughing at the cleverness instead of like maybe sometimes it would deserve a like a nod, but it gets a laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
I still find it scary because I just know I would find crutches and just lean on them constantly. I knew it's very difficult to do.
Well, stand up is a scary thing.
Chips
Both the chip.
Yeah, chips are a great
Stand-up
example.
seems petrifying to me.
Stand up is a scary thing because of the audience, though. I mean, you get some really rough audiences in stand-up.
Yeah, but you can attack them. You can't attack the camera guy or the fucking writers when you're bombing in a scene. It's horrible because you're stuck in it. I just got to keep forcing out my dialogue.
Yeah.
Stand up, you can go wherever you want to go, and like you can own it. I can say I stink. This crowd blows. I'm terrible. You can acknowledge it. It's much more. It's much easier to me than acting is fucking hard, man.
Yeah, it looks
hard. You're stuck in a scene. And
How
you
do
can't
you
get out of it.
How did you feel when you got this part? Is this like your first really dramatic kind of? Even though there's a comedic element to it, is this really your first kind of dramatic role?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I
did you have any reservations about
things. No. The only thing about it is, in comedy, comedy is back and forth. You say two lines, and the other person says two lines, and in this, my character is a kind of a motor mouth, and he runs off, and so I have these long monologues, and I wasn't going to memorize it because I was used to comedy scripts, and you get the blue pages, which is the rewrite, like 3 days before you go shoot it, right? And anything long in comedy gets cut down to 2 lines.
Right.
Yeah, I can't help you today. There's the door. And so I didn't memorize it because I was like, well, they're going to shorten this. Essentially what my character's saying here is, I can help you. So I'll just say that.
No, verbatim, right?
Yeah, they changed like a date. They changed like the word Tuesday to Wednesday. And that was it. And everything else you've memorized. So that was kind of strange. It's such long things, but long passages. But then as I studied them, I started to really get the characters, like how his mind works. And so there was something going on in there. And it's new. It's a challenge for me. And I'm really enjoying it, and yes, it's
you can tell it
different.
comes off very well. I mean, I couldn't imagine anybody else doing that part. You've really owned it as an actor, definitely.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
I'm lucky.
Is there anything hard for you? I always ask this to guys who are good actors. Like, what's hard for you to play? Like, is there like one that's like that emotion is hard, or that type of a scene is difficult?
I don't think I could cry. So some actors can cry. It's nuts. I did a movie called Melvin Goes to Dinner, and it's Annabelle Gurwitch is in it, and she had a scene where she cries, and she just cries.
Yeah.
And every time you do it, tears come.
How do you do that?
Flowing out of her eyes.
A lot of actors can't put the tears out. Like you'll see them, like they do the crying face, but like your face is dry.
They just do that. They just wince.
It's like your face is dry. Who cries with a dry face?
She just cried.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? How do you do that? She's like, oh, it's acting.
No, I think that's something screwy in the head.
Yeah, that's
I think there's something that you're always on the brink of crying.
Yeah.
You're constantly on the brink of crying.
If she thinks her boyfriend's not listening during a discussion, that fucking comes out. Always
starts
there.
crying. Yeah, she's always got to hold it back.
Yeah, so I don't think I could do that. But otherwise,
I think it's a woman thing.
Yeah,
I think they have the ability to do that much easier than men.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I've seen guy crying in movies and TV shows.
Some people. Demi Moore has a great teardrop. Denzel. That won him the Oscar in Glory. It's like, he's just standing there getting whipped and the fucking tear just drops.
I think the single tear on the not crying face has more impact than the goofy cry face.
Yeah.
Like Demi Moore just stood there and one tear in Ghost just fell out of her eyeball. You're like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you do that with mentholatum.
Yeah. They put the fan with the menthol in your face.
They blow in your eye through one of those menthol inhalers,
Oh, shit,
and then just before they say action, and somebody blows through that into your eye for like 10 seconds and then gets out of the frame and then tears.
Yeah,
come
you
out.
just
But
start
that's different.
yeah,
I could do
blubbering.
that.
Yeah, I could react to an injury.
That's what you're doing. Yeah, just injured here. This is painful.
Yeah, I don't know, but I really think that one Denzel Washington. Oh, he did it in X too when he met Elijah Muhammad. He fucking dropped a tear, a couple of tears, and it's really intense because like there was no blubbering lead up to it. It was a deadpan face, and then whap, there was no indication.
Amazing.
Where I believe me, that's how I would ruin it. I would go like, "Get me a tissue." Like I would really fucking let the audience know it was coming.
Cut.
You're not supposed to say tears coming and look at the front camera.
It's Jim Cut Norton.
Yeah, 50 take idiot. Are you better on? I tend to do better as the takes go on. Like Louis fun to shoot with because he works like a comic. But some guys are better in the first.
What do you mean he works like a comic? Does he?
He's okay with fucking around a little bit, like a stand-up, like because he's in charge. So whatever you like, he'll go. All right, let's just do it, and then like we'll play with a line a little bit, or I'll add something, or he'll add something. He's fine doing that as a stand-up.
Right. No, I don't change anything. By the way, people, because I've done so much comedy and because Saul Goodman is funny, they say, so do you improvise a lot of that? And I don't improvise anything.
It's all written.
Not a single
and,
word, no.
That's even more impressive.
Don't stray.
God, I
really learn it verbatim.
Yeah.
And do it verbatim.
Well, the writing is so good on that show. You know, it's
kind of fun to do that too because that's where you really go. So how do I get from this thought to this thought? And it's like it's neat to do something new. I mean, I'm 50 this year, and people don't often let you do something very different from what you've done. When you get older, so it's cool to have this opportunity. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's also obviously it's being written, but you have to deliver the lines, and you can't just do it deadpan straight face. There's inflections and facial expressions and body movements, and you do play a great sleazy lawyer.
I just dig through it and ask kind of follow his train of thought and ask myself what he's thinking about. And one thing I also do is, Robert Evans, the famous film producer.
Yeah.
The Kid Stays in the Picture. Great book and the best book on tape ever.
Book on tape, really?
Kid Stays in the
Experienced
Picture.
a book on tape.
Oh, it's so awesome because he's got this incredible. You know Robert Evans, right?
Yeah, I know the
and he's got this. He's got this crazy, like up and down to his voice, and he's always saying, "Did I do the right thing? No." Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. It's like a sing-song thing, and the pacing changes up, and he's just really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So I always do all my lines as him a couple times before I go out there.
Oh, wow.
Just because he's able to do like a monologue, and you want to hear the whole thing, and he puts like, do I think that's a smart move? Not in a million years. It's just this crazy rhythmy thing, and I think it maybe helps me to be more entertaining in those long.
I've heard they tell us we have to wrap up. I guess I don't know if you have other press.
Well, we got a special we're running.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, your comical.
Oh, when does that start?
Right now,
okay.
Really, to be honest with you.
Hey, do you know Fred Willard at all?
I do know Fred.
Do you like him more now today than you did yesterday? I know I do.
I saw Fred only a few weeks ago. We did a Jeff Garland's movie a few weeks ago, and he was so funny.
He's fucking hilarious, man. He's really
and he didn't jerk off once.
Not once
that you're aware of.
Now, look,
that's so...
I got to ask you something.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't go into porn theaters, and this is old people need to learn how to use the internet, right?
Of course.
You missed the first half of our discussion where this was definitely covered.
But you got to buy him a modem.
Shouldn't you be arresting people who are in porn theaters not jerking? What are they doing?
Exactly.
Those are the creeps.
What a creepy
Why
person
are you in there not jerking off?
Right. Yeah, playing words with friends. Yeah, that is a little bit creepy.
I don't know what he was doing, or I don't care. I don't want to know. I can't believe this. People are talking about this in this day and age.
He's hilarious.
And PBS fired him, those shitheads. Even if he was jacking off, he's not fucking
in the right place.
He's doing it in the right place.
Yeah.
It's a good citizen. That's what you should do in the right place.
It's home in front of your computer, by the way.
Limping along, selling weird old combinations of the old TV shows. So weird. PBS. What the?
And they get this brilliantly funny dude, this relevant guy who's been in so many great things.
Yep.
And they shit can him because he behaves like an adult in an adult establishment. If it happened, even.
If it even
He's saying
happened,
it didn't happen.
yeah.
So I'm hoping for his sake it actually didn't, just because I'm sure he's embarrassed.
Well, I don't care either way. I don't want to hear any more about it. It's just so. You know what I mean? It just shouldn't be reported. It shouldn't happen. Leave people alone. If they want to go in there, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm sure, back in the old day, well, it's, the new 24-hour news cycle. It's, I'm sure Clark Gable maybe at some point wanted to spank one out in the movie theater, and they left him alone.
Oh, my God.
They didn't even
news
bother
today
with
is a
him.
little different, man.
Yeah.
There's so much
Nowadays,
stuff that's irrelevant to real news.
You got to fill it up,
I remember one time jerking off in a porn theater on my way home from a gig. I was, this is way back when they existed on Route 130.
Yeah.
And you'd always have to sit in a corner away from everybody, because guys sit together when they want to fuck around. But I would always be off to myself. And I remember just you could kind of see in the upper corner, a bunch of guys were lining up in front of some dude who was blowing everybody. And I had to leave. That was the first time I was where poppers were used. So
Really?
I saw the guys breathing, and I'm like, this is too fucking, even for me, it was too creepy.
Too David Lynch.
Like a movie, right? Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be watched jerking off.
Yeah, no,
believe me, I'm a hero when I walk into those places. I fucking sachey in, and all eyes are on me. So I left. Yeah, I'm dishing.
How about the fact that at his age, he's
just going to town.
Yeah, it's good to know.
It's
good to know. You still have those urges.
That's fantastic. And he was in the right place for, an older guy. I mean, he obviously, he's got to learn that you can stay home and do that now.
So maybe he lost PBS. Maybe he'll get
pick up
some
some fucking pay-per-view.
Hard-on medication for old people.
Exactly. The Postivac.
I love the guy.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
He's fucking hilarious.
It doesn't change a thing.
Guy's giving us years of great entertainment. Leave him alone. Let him do what he wants. I just wanted to know if you knew him and were familiar with
He's
the
a great man.
story.
Real
Yes,
sweet guy.
And so are you, Bob. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Well, I don't
Thanks
know,
for having
but
me, guys.
Thanks
Breaking
for
Bad
coming
Sunday at 10 p.m. on AMC.
Great show.
Yeah.
I definitely suggest you catch up very quickly and then watch Sunday's episode.
And are you active on Twitter? It's Mr. Bob Odenkirk.
I'm not that active on Twitter, but
I think you have 3
tell
tweets,
people.
sir.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what. I'm not going to be involved like you are.
A little guy.
I'm just going to tell people when I have something on TV or whatever.
And just so you know, our gig, Opie and Anthony, we're live in Chicago. The show Friday, August 10th at 115 Bourbon Street. We'll be there in the afternoon. And I'm doing a gig the next night, Saturday the 11th. Myself, Nick DiPaolo, Artie Lang, and Dave Attell at the Horseshoe Casino right outside of Chicago.
Go to Horse's Ass Casino with you guys.
That's nice language to end on the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy.
And let's not forget Donald Trump Jr. Thanks for
coming in.
Glad to be in, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks for having
sir.
me again.
And I believe up next on this channel is the Comical Con special. Comic-Con, obviously.
Sure, it'll be fucking ridiculous.
No, it said you interviewing a lot of big names. So stay tuned for that. Bob, thank you, bro.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Sir.
We got Anna Gunn walking into the studio. Hi, Anna.
Take a seat. Make yourself comfy. We're actually on the air.
Do you mind if I eat a little bit?
Oh,
Eat. Go ahead.
You sure?
Are you hungry?
I'm kind of hungry.
Peckish?
I'm a little hungry. Oh, she's a beautiful woman. I don't want to be eating in front of her.
thank you.
I
Look
got
at you all in
manners.
bright orange.
I
Look
wanted
great.
to, wake you guys up a little.
Well,
if you
that
weren't
you
already
did.
awake.
We're awake.
That you did.
Thank you.
Of course, Skyler.
Hello.
From Breaking Bad. I mean, I've been fully immersed in the show for since the beginning. And what do you say? Because I got to bring up everybody. Seems to want you dead on the show.
Not everybody.
All right, not everyone.
Only those who, who identify with. Go ahead.
I just say it's a tribute to your acting.
Thank you.
Because, sometimes it's like, oh, boy, she's kind of getting in the way of things.
That's what it is. I think it's the people who really identify with Walt, and they that's the point of the show. I mean, that's what's brilliant about the show. People really get behind the story of Walt, and they get behind the idea of a guy who's been really pushed down by life and disappointed and has had to take a lot of things that he didn't want in life. And I think that Vince wrote him so brilliantly and Brian plays him so brilliantly that people root for him and they cheer for him. And he is both the protagonist and the anti-hero at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's such a brilliant construct. And then, in a way, Skylar is kind of the antagonist because she's the one who stands in the way of him doing whatever he wants to do, most of all.
Right.
And that makes some people kind of pissed off.
Yeah, because like the viewers, they see someone like Walter kind of progress through the show from this schleppy kind of guy,
right?
And very realistically and gradually, he turned almost out of necessity for every instance of evil that he does.
Yeah,
it's almost like, well, he wouldn't do that, and then, well, I guess he has to now.
Right.
Kind of gets caught up in it. I've never seen a character so bad that people root for.
I know.
So much. And yeah, you get in there, the voice of reason to a point, and people are like, hey, get out of his way.
I know.
What are you doing?
Exactly. It's really bizarre. And we were at first, the writers and Vince and I were like, what is going on? Why are people so upset?
Yes.
But it really is, I think it's really about that they just want him. They put themselves in him and in his corner so much. And she is the one even more than the villains in the show, like Gus Fring or, or Tuco or any of those really bad guys who for a while were bigger threats than anybody else. She's the consistent one who says, this is not okay. You can't do this.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's the one who kind of stands there and says there are consequences, there are repercussions. And that makes people upset psychologically. Yeah. It really gets in there and does something to them. And it's kind of brilliant that it's
kind of brilliant. It's amazingly brilliant.
Yeah.
Because, again, as a viewer, you almost want to see how far Walter is going to go without somebody holding him back.
Exactly.
So you sit there and go like, oh, God, Skyler's getting in it again.
I know.
Why make him stop? Don't,
But isn't that what kind of prevents us from becoming like a cartoon of somebody? Is the fact that in real life you do have people in your way, or you do have people in your ear, and it's like without that, then all of a sudden it's just like a Superman. And it doesn't make sense.
Like how would he would just go off the rails, and I think it would become, kind of ridiculous. And I think Vince knew that.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that Vince, from the beginning, he said, I don't want you, like, whenever I'm a pretty emotional person and I'm a pretty, I'm very, emotions are very much on the surface for me. So when I first found out, for example, about his cancer diagnosis, tears jumped to my eyes, and Vince very specifically said, Skylar is not a person where emotions come to her easily. They're deeply buried in her. So it was important for her to be a really, really kind of strong, steely person.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted from her. And again, that also sometimes makes people feel like, I don't know if I like that, because
they think bitch. Sometimes.
And that word gets thrown around, and that's a little tough. That's a little tough to handle, because you think, why is that bitchy? She's actually just a kind of formidable, strong person. And why is it bitchy to just be strong and to stand toe to toe with a man and say it's not okay?
It's so odd to have a show where a lot of the before Walt's getting into making meth wasn't shown, but you could see the result of what your lives were during all those years of him just being the teacher, you being the housewife and mother, and you could see, without even having to show it, what it produced and set it up so we could get into the unbelievable craziness of what happened. Did you have a backstory that you had to kind of, here's what your life was?
Yeah, I mean, Brian and I talked a lot about it because there wasn't much there, but we really kind of created this idea of what drew these people together. And certainly we felt a real attraction and a love between them, but we thought the thing that probably was the biggest attraction between them was their intellect. I think Skylar is as smart as Walt, as intellectually smart as he is. She is his equal in that.
Right.
And it's also both it's their downfall as human beings, really. I mean, they think they're kind of smarter than everybody else.
Than everyone else. Well,
you know, so that's why, in a way, as the show goes on, they become almost like the Macbeths in a way, because they think that they can outsmart everybody else. They think they can create these lies and these scenarios.
To a point, they have been. You know, obviously things change with the last half of the last season coming up. This is it, obviously. I was so lucky. I got an advanced copy of the first episode of this. I loved it. Don't worry, no spoilers, people.
That was nice of you to put it online, too.
Yeah, right. People were saying that. They're like, come on, put that up online. I'm like, you don't think I want another one maybe at some point?
Exactly.
Be like, here's another one. I am not saying anything or doing, but it is totally in line with everything that the magnificence that's been the show up till now. The beginning kind of showing you a little advance view of things, because they've done that before in the past, and then the way Walter, the character Walter, can explain something to somebody in a way that is so soft and yet just punches you in the face.
Exactly.
And obviously you know what scene I'm talking about. It's just because he pulled those shenanigans with you in one episode.
Yeah, he did.
Where it's like, hey, you know, you best know who you're talking to, kind of a thing.
Exactly. When he does that thing where he's talking to you and you're drawn into him. And you think, oh, okay, he's really saying something sincere.
Yeah, he's going to apologize, or he's going to show any regret, and no.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a threat.
Yeah.
It's
because
an amazing.
You're starting to lean into him thinking, oh my gosh, he's so sincere, and then all of a sudden he turns it. And he does that thing, you know, with his eyes when he gets all Heisenbergian. Where he suddenly does this. He gets Heisenbergian. And he does that little thing with his eyes where all of a sudden, and even acting with him, because, obviously I know Brian really well, and he's a great guy, and he's funny and sweet and lovely, but all of a sudden he does this thing where his eyes just narrow and they get hard, and even acting with him is a little bit like, I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm just going to take a little step back.
He is an amazing actor. To pull this role off also. And we've had him in before, and I was talking to him about how it's so odd to see a little bit. He denied it, but you could see it when he's kind of, because there are parts that are actually funny in the show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's almost part of that Malcolm in the Middle dad. A little bit of that comes through.
Absolutely.
At times. And I think I don't know him, but I would assume he's kind of like that in real life.
He is.
Seems to have a very good sense of humor.
He's got a great sense of humor. And those long, intense scenes that we had to do together, those are pretty rough to keep up for 12 hours a day. So there was a lot of laughing and pranks and
I wouldn't doubt it.
Jokes.
And you were both in Seinfeld.
We were both in Seinfeld. We were. We have that.
Yeah. Dr. Watley. And,
exactly.
And you were in the one with the glasses, George's glasses.
I was.
He had the wrong glasses and insisted that it was Jerry's cousin.
That's right.
Kissing somebody.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the policewoman kissing her horse.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. Okay. He kept saying, but my cousin looks like a horse. Yeah. It was the best.
Oh, it was fantastic. I watch the show all the time. So anybody that's on Seinfeld, I'm just like,
it's the
fantastic.
How do you feel with the show ending? That's gotta suck.
It's really bittersweet. I mean, this we wrapped in late March, and we all had a good cry, but we knew that we were going to have this kind of farewell tour in a way, and so we knew we were going to have all this time to spend together. But now that this is actually coming to an end. We've had some panels. We had a New York Times panel last night, and we all kind of started tearing up and a little bit of crying in public now, because it really is coming to an end, and we know that this time together is truly coming to an end, and that's hard because this has been the luckiest job of all of our careers. We know that, and
it's fantastic that you could take, I guess, 5 seasons. What it ends up being. And not and stop it where people want more. Obviously, people want this to continue, but to make that commitment to no, this is what it is
It's brave.
It's very brave.
It's
yeah.
brave.
Because obviously you could milk a show
Right.
until
And they
there's
do.
nothing left. They do it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seems like the perfect length for this to turn around and from talking.
Wouldn't 6 seasons be the perfect?
Just
6. One more.
One more
Just
time.
one more.
It's sort of like it is 6 because 5
Yeah,
is
true.
drawn
5.5.
out. 5.5.
Five and a
It's
half.
almost like 6.
I know that just from having done like little teeny episode work and stuff, you get attached to people quickly. Like you form a weird bond with people you do see. If you're there for more than one day, it's like you see each other craft services, and you're like all of a sudden like, hey,
you're pals.
And then they go on to much bigger things, and they feel no connection. But I can't imagine doing season after season with the same people and then having to call it quits. It's a rough way to. It's rough.
It's true. But the last day when I wrapped, Brian and Aaron and I had a group hug, and there was a little bit of crying. But then Brian said, just think in 6 months we won't remember each other's names.
He's such a funny guy. Aaron, there was a great scene with you guys when Aaron was eating over the house.
Oh, my God, that was the best
That was
scene.
one of the greatest scenes. How uncomfortable you guys made it.
It was so great.
He's just babbling about something.
He's
Walter's looking at him, and you're just
I know.
so angry.
So angry,
with the whole
guzzling my
situation.
wine.
Yeah, just drinking at that point. And but everything fits so well. The writing is done so well on that show.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And I loved, and Aaron he's sitting in between us like he's the uncomfortable kid between the feuding parents, just looking at us like, oh God, I wish it was anywhere else in the world. We had to stop ourselves from cracking up the entire time.
Yeah.
And then he ate so many green beans that at the end of that scene he said, I'm never going to eat a green bean again.
Oh, really? A few takes?
Yeah, quite a few.
Now, have you looked at other scripts and stuff since this ended, or like?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of really interesting scripts. I'm looking at a lot of movie scripts right now, and I went to the Sundance Institute this summer, and I did the Director's Lab, and I did this really interesting role that was kind of like a female Walter White kind of character. Where it's the psychological portrait of the making of a zealot, and but it's the female kind of version of that. So that was really interesting. So hopefully we'll get that made this year.
Yeah.
So you want to do a movie as opposed to? Would it be hard to do something episodic right now because you're just coming off this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some television stuff as well, but I'm really interested in doing some film, and I'm also a big theater girl, so I'm looking at some theater projects as well. Yeah.
It's amazing what can be done off of network television.
Yeah.
That's why I would assume it's probably hard to be offered something on a network where it's like, I was just able to read dialogue that was so realistic, and to go to episodic network television's got to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, this is some of the best writing that any of us have ever encountered.
Yeah.
And when you come off of writing like this, the bar is so high.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just so lucky, but then you're kind of spoiled. So you have to choose carefully. So, but it's opened a lot of doors for all of us. So we're in a good place.
Now, obviously, you can't tell us anything.
I'm going to tell you.
Nice.
All of a sudden, Vince Gilligan comes in the door and tackles
You will
me.
be quiet.
Yes.
Would there be any even possibility there could later be a reunion of sorts?
I think that's possible for sure. I mean, it depends on
Get the blogs on the phone.
what happens
And
in
who's still
the
living.
last day.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
exactly.
Who's still standing and all that. But there is talk about the Saul Goodman spinoff. So
Yes, who is another just
Amazing.
great character.
Amazing, Bob
little
Odenkirk.
comic relief in there.
Exactly, yeah.
He's good. And by the way, he was in a Seinfeld episode.
he was another Seinfeldian.
And if you think I'm bad, our producer Travis, 10 times worse than me.
He can quote all of
But,
them. My father can quote every Seinfeld episode. So,
It's just that. Talk about another just brilliant show for the time and everything. It's
I know.
just-
Yeah, but they
it's one
went
of those.
more than 5 seasons. You see, you can make it.
Oh, yes. 9 seasons.
They did. They
Uh-huh.
did.
Well, I guess with a comedy, it's a little bit easier than with an actual drama with a real story.
Yeah, you just keep
Yeah.
going. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry. I thought the scene, the episode where Jerry becomes a meth dealer was great. It was
maybe
that
all of you
would be
could
interesting.
Maybe you guys could all like do something together as a cast, but just a totally different story.
Oh my, could you imagine?
You know what? Somebody said that at the New York Times thing. They said, seeing you all sitting up there, it's a shame to see you,
Like maybe you're a hat distributor, and Brian owns a hat store, and you guys work on trying to get the hats for certain prices.
That's terrible.
That's a great idea.
Fantastic.
What a waste of resources.
I've always wanted to be a hat.
A dramatic / comedic / endearing piece about hats and what goes on behind the scenes.
Gilligan on the phone.
The one thing that has been going around the internet, which was kind of funny, is the fact that they say Walter goes into witness protection program and it becomes Malcolm in the Middle.
Everybody thinks that.
Yeah,
everybody. And who's to say that doesn't happen?
And who's to say that isn't what? Well, I like I said, I saw that first episode, and if that's any indication on the rest of this, I mean, I just sat there when the credits came on. I yelled out, "No!"
I know.
No!
I know.
More!
Exactly. It's gonna be sort of agony every week for the audience to wait to the next for the next week's.
And now
episode.
I get the good thing that I saw the episode, but now I got to wait 2 episodes to see.
You got to wait 2 weeks.
But I'll watch that first one again.
Yeah.
That was, and I popped the disc in, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to watch this. And it comes on, and I'm seeing the scene. I'm like, all right, I got to watch the last one again. So I had to pull it out because they screw with you. Yeah.
Yes,
so I had to watch the last season's last episode. And they're going, because they always start off these shows with something that you don't think makes any sense.
Exactly.
You're looking at a flower. You're looking at that. And this one, you're just seeing skateboards.
Right.
Skateboards. And you're like, all right, why am I seeing this?
Yes.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
And it all makes sense. And it's fantastic.
It's great. And it launches, I mean, it's like they don't ease you into this since you've seen that first one.
Oh.
They shoot you off like a rocket.
Right away, you're like, what is going, and that scene where she drops the grocery. I'm like, that's great.
You're loving that you have inside info.
Oh, it's the best.
You're loving it.
Look at.
I love it.
Are you feeling resentful right now?
Yes, but for many other reasons.
Where do we begin, Anna? You got 2 hours?
Great. When does this premiere now?
It premieres August 11th.
August 11th.
Yes.
Sunday, 9 AMC.
That's
Of
right.
course, Skylar, Anna Gunn. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
You're a doll and a love.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Anything,
think we're done
Jimmy?
for
You
today.
got something to plug?
See you guys tomorrow.
That's it, huh? Thanks again, Anna.
Thank you.
I want to say hi to Betsy Brand. Welcome to the Opie and Anthony.
Where's she?
Oh,
Bring her in.
from Breaking Bad, right?
Of course.
Is that the bubble wrap girl?
She has bubble wrap. Bring in your bubble wrap.
You got bubble wrap. Why is she carrying around bubble wrap?
Betsy.
What's going on?
Sure. Do you like bubble wrap?
Well, yes, and then I'd pop it. Well,
Yeah, good. Let's pop some bubble wrap. Let's do this. What's wrong with you? Let's share.
Let's do this.
I like to here.
Let's see. Oh, you like to sit on it. Let's see. You're too light.
That means you're light.
The chair is too soft.
But if I sat on a hard table, which I was doing earlier, and then I'm like, oh, my back.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like your back's cracking.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I had the chicken last night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, farts. I got you.
But anyway, this
Fart
is very
humor.
comfortable.
It looks comfy sitting on bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show. Believe it or not.
Well, we are. We got to make that montage. I'm telling you.
I know. We always get people coming in and like,
Put these on.
are we on the air?
We could do that.
Listening to.
We were listening to you talking.
Yeah. You were talking about bubble wrap.
Yeah.
What?
What? That wasn't happening. There it is. Why is that such a good thing?
I don't know.
I don't know why. It's the thing that people love to pop bubble wrap.
And this is pink,
Yeah.
which is very fancy.
Ladylike.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just a fun
I
sound.
am nothing if not a lady. Well, I make fart sounds with the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but it just feels so much better.
Betsy, you're of course Hank's wife, Marie, on Breaking Bad.
Yes.
I am completely involved in the show. I'm not
It's
like
good, isn't it?
I'm not one of these, I watched an episode because I knew you were coming in. I've been watching.
I have heard that you guys are fans.
Huge.
I love that. It's more fun to talk about it.
It really
if you're
is.
on the inside.
Yes. And I got the advance copy of the first episode.
Did you see it? I saw it for the first time last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's so good, right?
Yeah. It's like these
no
last
spoilers,
8 episodes are just so amazing. Just so amazing.
And you know, it's just this culmination of everything that's been happening, and it's not going to end well. I know it can't be this happy, fun little ending with the way this is going. I don't know what it is. You probably do, but I don't know how it's going to end, but it can't be good.
Isn't it right?
I feel
I popped 2 bubbles if he's right. Give us 2 pops for a yes, 1 for a no.
There it is.
Oh, that's 3. That means everybody dies in a fire.
Oh, my God.
I guess Anna, in an interview, someone said that Anna said that, the show doesn't end prettily.
Yeah.
And they said, is that a spoiler? And I said, I think happy ending for these people left the station at least by season 2.
Very early on. You're not going to get an ending where the music goes
right.
Nothing like that. Hey,
look what we got here.
Dean.
Oh my God, they know each other.
Dean Norris.
So weird.
Where does he go? Where does he go? Come here.
Dean, take a seat right there. That's look. Oh, the happy couple. The happy couple. Now the bubbles are popping.
Oh, they are popping.
Dean Norris is in studio. He's sitting on Betsy's lap.
You look so handsome. Look at
Doesn't he
him.
look great? Yeah.
How handsome he is.
Yeah, sitting on Betsy's lap.
Oh,
yeah.
Is the party over already? Is it over? Is the party over?
No.
Party's going.
Oh, good,
you
good,
just got here, honey.
Now it can begin.
It's so odd to see, you guys are a goddamn TV show couple. And there you are. It's like watching Lucy and Ricky. It's amazing.
He never stops working. Look at him. He's never stopped working. He's landing the space shuttle right there.
Yeah. Of course, Hank.
Yes, sir.
From Breaking Bad. I was just saying, I saw the advance copy. I've been fully involved in the show over the entire course of it. And then I finally saw the first episode of the new season without any spoilers or anything. I got to tell you, wow. I was sitting there just not wanting that screen to go dark and have the credits come up. Because now I got to wait. And the closing scene of that is just, it's brutal. It's subtle brutality.
Yeah.
Because, Walter gives that a threat. It's a threat.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. But it's done in that inimitable, quiet style. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And as Hank's wife, what role are you going to play in this? I mean, things are going down. We know from last season, of course, Hank took that dump and picked up that book that pretty much revealed what was going on. And now,
what do you mean, what role am I going to... You talk about his dump, and then you ask me what role I'm going to play.
Well, I mean, she changed my bedpan in season 4, but...
He comes out of the bathroom, and then Marie comes out. She's washing her hands.
You go through this series with... you're very naive.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You're not really willing to accept that something bad's going on.
Oh, well, is it that she's not... You just popped my bubble.
That's right, baby.
You just popped my bubble.
Been popping your bubble for 6 years.
I know. It's working. It's not that she's naive. She just doesn't know.
Yeah, but like you got
it. Who look at Walt?
Yeah.
Like, what sister-in-law would be like? You know what I think? I think Walt's a drug kingpin. Look at him in his ugly ass shoes and that sick green car. He's clearly
okay. Good point. But you'd think being married
to a paranoid person,
a DEA guy, maybe something would rub off, or you'd get a little info, or you stay out of his work. Except when you were getting his rocks.
I don't think Marie stays out of anything.
Getting my rocks? What?
Rocks off? Getting his rocks
my bubbles,
off.
touch my rocks.
It's minerals, motherfucker.
No, you can say that here.
Can you say motherfucker?
Motherfucker.
Yes, you. It's fucking rocks. Fucking minerals.
They were minerals, right. Your rocks are here. They're fucking minerals.
God,
God damn,
Do you
it's
know
so
how
good
many
to not be
times-
on TV and
Do
you
you
can
know
say
how many-
fuck.
I know.
All I do, like for the last 2 weeks, is not say fuck and not say the ending of Breaking Bad.
Right. Those are the two things you're not allowed to do.
Are we not supposed to say the ending?
Oh,
man. Oh, you can.
Wouldn't
You're
that
cool.
be
No, you're my
great?
wife. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Please say the ending.
I want to know it,
No
but
one wants
then
to
don't
know
want to
it.
know
No.
it.
No.
I want to
wanna know
see
it.
it. I know. I want to see it happen.
You don't want to know it.
No.
Do you know it?
No.
Sometimes you
Of course
guys don't
you
know
know
it.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Oh, yeah,
it.
no, we know.
All right. Sometimes you guys come in here from a series and you don't know for sure.
What are they on? What are they, meth?
They know.
It's This is it. This is the end, and this. It has to be a little. It has to be a little emotional, right?
Oh man, seriously.
Yeah.
Especially this week. Sorry. What?
Yeah.
You have some?
Could you get me a coffee, Dean? Could you order me a coffee?
Dean got one.
Straight up.
Huh? That's straight up. That's how I do my liquor,
good,
baby.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You sure you're good?
Yeah, I had a cup of coffee this morning.
Oh, you did?
Some chocolate with my real husband.
Oh, damn.
I didn't say that to be mean, but it
You
sounded mean, and I didn't mean it.
That's really
I'm
mean.
married in real life.
Oh,
off
man.
the show. You know that, right? Fuck.
This is ruining everything.
I'm so
ruining
sorry.
everything.
I feel
Yeah.
like I need to tell you. I'm so sorry.
It's a little late, isn't it?
Hey, but I'm always thinking. But I'm always thinking about you, baby.
You're who I really love.
When you play a couple, is there any real attraction there? It's got to be difficult to not feel something if you're playing a married couple.
I feel absolutely nothing.
Not me. I feel it all.
It's a job. They go, cut, I run.
I feel it all. No, I miss you so much.
In all seriousness,
I miss you so much.
it was such an amazing thing to have Betsy Brandt play my wife. More than I can tell you. She just added so much. Her inner humanity comes out in the role, and it's such a great thing, because I think it was such a big part of Hank's his own morality. It stemmed. If he wasn't married, he would have broke bad a long time ago. I feel, and I feel like having Betsy play Marie it'll always be just an amazing part of, for me, a memory of the show, because she brought all that to it, and it was oh man, just
You're
awesome.
Make me cry
oh
again.
shush.
Really, you are. You're gonna make me cry.
It does seem like the only real true loyalty you have is to the family, to your family.
Yeah.
And that pretty much holds you from probably, going the way of Walter.
Going really bad, and he kind of would just think back. At least I did, as a character, would always, in the kind of crucial moments, and there are some more crucial moments coming up.
Oh, damn it.
Would always just think back to my wife, and go, all right, that's why I got to be strong, and that's why I got to be the good guy, and go from there.
I love
that's
these
true.
two. I love being a part of this couple.
Yeah.
And to do that with you, But even from the beginning, I love that they would do anything for each other.
Yeah.
And in this show where people are just horrible to each other, and they decapitate this guy and stick his head on a turtle, and we have this beautiful relationship. Yin yang, I think that's what they call it.
In the middle of all that turmoil.
I always loved that.
And trouble. I always refer back to a scene where Hank is basically leaving the DEA, and he gets this elevator, and you never see him make a phone call or anything, but somehow his wife just knows that it's a bad day, and she shows up. I'm sorry.
When
she shows up, and I remember on that day, on like a second. And remember, I said, just don't look at me until we do the take. It was the only time I said some crazy method acting like that. But I did, because it was such an emotional moment, and I just couldn't. But as soon as I looked at her, it was just tears. Just because. It was like the worst day, and he's like, "Fuck!" And then the elevator opens, and it's his wife.
Yeah. Wow, that is.
And it did. You know how hard it was for me in that moment not to cry? And I remember asking Frida, who did our makeup at the time, I said, "Did we get it? Did we get it? Did they tell you we got it?" And they said yes. And then I just sobbed. Which I did a lot on the show, because Marie doesn't go and cry. And also, I think in that moment she just wouldn't. She's like, "No, this is all about you, baby."
Oh, yeah.
It's not about me. It's not about me crying, and it's about me being there for you.
Yeah, I know. Awesome.
Well, that's getting really deep into your character when you're on set like that.
Oh my God. It was so fun.
It was fun. I'm gonna miss it.
When did you wrap? How long ago?
End of March, beginning of April.
I honestly don't even know. I feel like I'm in this weird
man
time zone that I really don't even know. But that sounds right. What he says sounds right.
So you've been doing press and stuff, and then I guess that's kind of wow. And then you're done.
It's crazy. It's kind of hitting me now this week. Like when we wrapped, I had to go to another job, and so did you. So it was less. I don't know. I was you were kind of emotional about it, but it wasn't. This week though, it's like this kind of final victory tour, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm not going to see these.
I thought I was doing better with it than I am. Now that I'm like, wow, last premiere. Wait, what do you mean last?
Yeah.
That's not coming back.
Yeah, we can fake it though. We can just make up.
I asked him.
Let's show it again.
I told AMC last night. I said, if you bankroll it, I'll shoot 3 more.
That's it.
We'll show up and do the work.
I'll
Just
do it.
3 more.
I'll do it.
I know.
I'll do it for free.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't?
That's what I said. As long as they bankroll it, and
I think
we'll show up.
a kind of a goofy spin-off where you're almost like the new Ropers. That way, you go from that.
I get to wear a caftan.
Yes.
I'm in.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're already on another sitcom. My bad.
Ah, that's right.
I'm sorry, you're stuck in a bubble.
That's a dumb motherfucker.
What is that? How do you do that?
Oh man,
How do you do that?
It's a
like when you
badass
touch
dome.
it and it gets all weird.
Steven Spielberg, man. Oh, you making fun of Steven Spielberg? Is that what you're doing? You want to make fun of Steven Spielberg and his TV show?
Yep.
How about Stephen King? You want to make fun of him too?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not making fun of anybody, Dean. I'm just asking about the special effects. I can't watch that show at night.
Really?
Really, for real, I can't. I told my husband, I'm like, we cannot watch it before we go to bed.
Too creepy?
I can't. It just freaks me out. It freaks me out to like be trapped in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're all under there, so it's kind of nice.
I just got a pit feeling in my
stomach. A little
stomach.
microcosm of humanity under the dome.
I'm there.
But you're stuck. You're all stuck. What you gonna do with all
What
that
you gonna
fuel?
do? What you gonna do? Stay tuned.
Jim. What you gonna do?
And Betsy, you're working with Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
That's got to be pretty damn cool.
It's great.
And now
it's no Dean Norris.
easy.
He's no Dean Norris.
Okay, thank you.
But
Temper that.
But he's pretty great.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I know.
I swear
Do you
to
just
God.
feel compelled?
Thinking of you
Domestic
the whole
violence
time,
is like this close.
Thinking of you the whole time.
Do you feel compelled to just ask Michael J. Fox Back to the Future questions?
Oh, no,
I
but
would just ask him that all the time. But how many DeLoreans were in that one scene? If you think about it, you'd just be like, shut up.
No, I don't. But I do feel compelled to go, sha-la-la-la.
All right. Well,
From Family Ties.
Family Ties, the theme song, yes.
Sha-la-la-la. I hope you can get the rights to that. Otherwise, this whole time is
That is pretty good that you two go from Breaking Bad to, other
hit shows.
Very hit show. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not
but
too
isn't it? You're going to have
shabby.
to watch your language, though.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing.
You're good at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
You can't turn to
I'm not
Michael
so
J.
good.
Fox
I'm not so good
and
at
go,
that.
what the fuck are you doing? Like, oh, man.
That is usually how I talk to people. I think you confused me with my friend Dean Norris.
Are you normally more reserved or a little potty mouth?
Oh, no, I'm a potty mouth. But
Are ya?
I try and keep it in check with my children.
Yeah, huh? How old are your kids?
8 and 4.5.
Aw, yeah, those are very formative years where they'll just pick up everything, right?
There's that time where you're like, oh, my little boy, when he was a toddler, was like, oh, he's not
He's not
talking
listening.
yet. He's not talking. And then, like, he spilled his sippy cup and he goes, God damn it. And I told my husband, I said, it's not like he's trying to say fork and he says fuck, which we think is hilarious. Or instead of sit, he says shit, also really funny.
There's plenty of videos out there, yeah.
Cursing. And then I posted on my Facebook page, I go, my little boy said, God damn it today. And I said, he totally gets that fucking shit from my husband. Gets that fucking shit language from my husband.
So a little bit of a potty mouth, yeah.
A little bit, but I really try and keep it in check. It's just sometimes there's no better word.
Fuck's a great word.
Yeah.
There's no better word.
It is.
People should get off their ass about it, too.
Right.
Like, fuck you, man. It's a fucking great word.
We were talking about Breaking Bad and how it's so good to have these networks now that allow real gritty language like that. Because years ago, you had TV shows, detective shows or whatnot, and it just took that edge off of it.
Dang it.
Yeah. You're like, no one would
darn it.
talk like
darn.
that. It takes away from the character.
Absolutely.
Because
distracting.
they would talk like that.
Right.
Yeah. And The Hank character is great, and for the entire series, you're just like, come on! Although you love Walter, you don't want him getting caught, but you don't want Hank looking like a total idiot.
But he doesn't. I mean,
no, that's just
how
it.
amazing is that?
Great writing.
You haven't caught him, and it's so. And you clearly you're smart. Your character is smart.
Well, thank you.
Your character is so smart. But he doesn't.
Fucking need that. Like, I need that from you. Thanks. Oh, I thought it was really stupid. Thanks for like.
Well, they do sound married.
Damn.
I'm not going to tell you you're handsome anymore.
Yes, you.
No, I'm not.
How about sexy?
No, I'm not.
Oh, come on.
God,
Come
I
on.
can't
Come
help
on.
it.
Come on.
Yes, you're sexy, Gene Norris. Oh, God damn it. You're so sexy. But seriously, how great is that writing?
It is.
That you can have this whole cat and mouse thing.
It's
It works for both of you.
Right. I always thought that was really because he got me so close, and it made sense that he didn't quite get it. And he figures out Gus Fring, and he figures out some other things, you know. But I thought it was, and sometimes it's funny. There's one scene that's not a very popular scene, but where I'm almost kind of catching him, and Walt kind of squeals up next to me, and he kind of distracts me, and he does his little kind of Malcolm in the Middle thing.
Yeah, the Malcolm in the Middle
He's
guy.
Like, hey, and I was like, wow, what the hell's this guy? You know?
Yeah.
But so there's times where it's funny that that Hank doesn't catch him, and other times it's serious. But I always thought it was good writing that they got got him out of it. So.
I do like when he pops in with that Malcolm in the Middle character every so often. It's so goofy.
It is.
And then when you think of how ruthless he is, it makes it that much better.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is when you're loading up the bags in the car, and he said, "What you got in here?
Yeah.
$1 million in cash."
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So funny.
Yeah, or when you notice the WW
in the first time,
and he just goes, "You got me," and it's like, no, it is him.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you really want to be killed off in the first season to do a comedy pilot?
It wasn't the first season. It was. I'll explain that. They picked up the last season, and it was 16 instead of 13. So we go, okay, great. They're going to shoot all 16, and then we'll be free to do other stuff. And then the corporate. Can I say douchebags?
Yeah, you should.
What are they going to do? Fire you?
Yeah, right. Fuck them. So these douchebags decide that they're going to split it into 2 8 things for their own financial purposes. They're giving a fuck about my financial reasons. So I got to sit there and wait a whole year because I can't do anything else because I'm contracted to do a measly 8 more episodes, right? So I'm like, I got a few kids to feed myself, and I said, how about wouldn't it be great if the cliffhanger of the first 8, since you're going to do it this way, Hank dies, that way it frees me up to do another show. And, of course, they said no because we need you for the last 8. And I'm glad they did. And they ultimately did free me up in time, and you too, to do another show. But originally that wouldn't have been the case. Then you'd be sitting on your ass for another year waiting for another pilot. You know?
That's got to be frustrating.
So I was like, I love the show, and I'm down with art and all that stuff. But, I act to live. I don't live to act. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. You're such an opposite of some of the people we've had come through here.
The whole time?
I would do anything. I stood for 4 years in the desert just to do the last 8 episodes of Breaking Bad. I don't care. I'll starve.
Pay me.
I'll starve. I'm like, fuck it, man. I need another job,
Pay me.
Yeah. It's called Under the Dome, CBS, baby.
Yeah, Under the Dome.
Motherfucker.
That's huge. That is huge. You were in fucking Total Recall.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
You were,
no, not you.
Before my time.
You got a lot of nerve sharing your face around here,
That's
Hauser.
before my time.
Look who's talking.
That's the line. You got a lot of nerve showing your face
around here, Hauser.
Who are you in Terminator 2?
Were you doing Arnold Schwarzenegger again?
I think I believe it or not, I think it was probably the highest paid per line because I had like one line and I was on that movie for like 2 months. This is back in the day when they would take they didn't give a shit. Karalka was throwing money out, and we're like, oh wow, you're paying me to sit here for a month in a hotel? Great. And then I go and do one line, I forgot what the line was. I show up, I'm a SWAT team leader, and I show up and I point the gun at somebody and say something like, don't do it or something.
How much did you get paid per word?
Per word, I'm saying. If you add up 2 months of pay for 1 word,
that ain't bad.
Wow. That ain't bad.
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
What else have you? What did you early on work on? Anything we'd know? I didn't dig in.
Thank you.
Not you, Jimmy.
You could find it in old video stores,
for that.
if you know what I'm saying.
A
Most
lot
of it was
some
old
people
video.
call it adult films. I call them art. That's how I met Dean.
I win.
And he said, "Let me get you on the show. Little show I'm doing on cable." I did mostly, I did some movies, but it's smaller indie movies. I did one movie with Blythe Danner and Peter Fonda, which was really fun.
Oh, wow.
And then I did just a lot of drama on TV.
Yeah.
And it's like once you start doing drama, people see that, and then you just do more of it. But it was really fun to do.
You
so
on
that's
some
what I did.
Lifetime movies?
No.
Where the husband, all of a sudden, he's the greatest guy in the world, and then, oh boy.
No.
And
You know
the
what
best friend always knows he was a scumbag.
Right.
No, I never did anything like that. But what I am disappointed I never did that show with David Caruso.
NYPD?
No.
CSI Miami.
CSI Miami.
Yeah. I did NYPD Blue the
That
first
was before
season
my
with
time
David
also.
Caruso.
Yes.
And I was ready to go. That was my first serious TV gig. And I had a contract to go for the second season. I'm like all excited, and also over the summer I hear fucking Caruso decides that he's going to quit
and do movies.
Jade. Ooh,
That
was
worked
a good,
out for him.
That was a good one.
That was the worst decision. That was worse than fucking McLean Stevenson leaving MASH.
That's the number. That's probably the worst decision in all.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
it's right up there.
Because I was his best friend. So my 6 episodes I was going to do the next year was
your character all of a sudden
was
becomes
gone.
irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
that was early on when that mattered, and that would have.
Yeah, you're probably like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
I'll never act again.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get another gig.
My
No,
car.
half the time I've been in LA, I've been on Breaking Bad.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's most of it. So
true?
really been in New Mexico.
Yeah, I know.
Betsy has to go.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, Betsy
Sounds
has
like
to
I
go.
have to pee.
You
when
have to
say
go.
that.
Aw.
I have to go. Am
Why
I
does
my
she have to
bubble?
go?
Is it my bubbles?
She's still got bubbles to pop.
You're very, you're a busy girl. You're
has to go.
promoting. What's
Where
the
do you get
name
the
of the Michael J. Fox show that?
Michael J. Fox show.
It's called Michael J. Fox Show.
Yeah.
All right.
We just went out there and we're like, hey, let's call it the Michael J. Fox show.
This woman right here is the new Lucille Ball. I've been telling her that for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You always did say that, and I love that about you.
After Michael J. Fox, it's going to be like the Betsy Branch
I
show.
do tell Mike, I say, for the Michael J. Fox show, I really thought it would be a lot more about me.
Yeah, it should be. And it will be.
Like, I want more dancing on the show because there's really no dancing on the show.
You do that chocolate thing where you...
Yeah.
When the chocolate's going by, the Lucille...
Yes, where Lucy's shoving the chocolate in her face.
I step on the grapes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Stepping on the
Bring
grapes.
a vat of grapes in, and I'm going to stop.
And then
on
you
it.
get all starstruck by celebrities.
Right. Yeah.
You try to break into their houses in Hollywood.
I do get I met Linda Lavin in the kitchen of the Beverly Hilton this weekend.
There's a new girl in town. I thought she had passed.
She's doing a Broadway
Are you
show.
fucking kidding me? Linda Lavin?
Oh, hold on. No, I'm thinking of the other one from the one with Schneider.
So you're thinking
was
of
on the show.
You're thinking of
Three's Company?
Bonnie Franklin.
Bonnie Franklin. Banana, Bonnie Franklin. I know. No, because I was always into the Linda Lavin, the Alice theme song that she sang. It's like, not only does she star in the show, she's singing the theme song.
She sang this theme song.
Yes, she did.
It's so bad.
Cool.
She's like all like jazz club. There's a new girl in town and she's looking good. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I'll see that show.
You think the guy,
Come on, hit me again.
a fresh second face in the neighborhood. And it's like, you think they would be like, maybe we should get someone else to sing this.
Do you think I could sing the Under the Dome?
Yes.
Oh
You
my
can.
God, that was
Did
good.
you make that happen?
I can make that happen. I can make that happen.
There's a new dome in town.
Who indexes the dome so you could see? Is that a... Wow. Bomb-a-rooney.
I actually thought that was a serious question.
Yeah.
No.
For a moment, I did.
I did too. But that's funny.
Thank you.
Wait, is there a scene where birds fly into the
I
dome?
like that they have like TVs everywhere, so I
I
can
know,
totally
now I
watch
have to
TV
go.
while I'm talking. It's fucking great.
She's really got to go.
That's a funny comment.
They're dragging her out of here. Betsy really has to go.
But MasterCard is up by $12 fucking dollars.
We check our
and
stocks.
there's that guy who
Yeah,
always...
S&P above
Betsy
1,700.
Brandt. Betsy Brandt will be looking for you in Breaking Bad and the Michael J. Fox show. You're going to hate your next interview that you go to. You're going to hate it.
Yeah, it's not going to be as good as what they just did there. Yeah, bring the...
All right.
We got to take a quick break.
You got to take breaks?
Oh,
real
man.
fast. Can you stick around?
Is there...
Watch this shit now.
He's good to stick around.
No, yeah, I wasn't even supposed to start till...
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
All right.
The Opie and Anthony Show. Opie and Anthony.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're back, of course. Don't worry about it.
Let's see.
Dean Nars, of course. Hank from Breaking Bad in here. We We were talking. They would have been complete spoilers if we said it on the air. So,
so you weren't recording any of that, right?
Nothing.
Oh, wait, he gave away stuff?
Well, from the first episode that's coming up. When does it air?
August 11th.
11th.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's going to be one of the most watched shows, I think, ever.
It's going to be crazy.
Huge.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Everyone I've talked to is just like, oh, man, Breaking Bad, I got to see you. I've got to wait. Nothing's worse than when they cut those seasons in half and you're like, all right, here's 11 months. Sit on it. Have fun, kids.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
pricks.
Yeah.
So, and I watched the first episode, and people were just livid with me.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole. And then, of course, why don't you put that up on Pirate Bay? So I'm like, and I'll never get one again, so blow me.
But there are moments, because I saw it for the first time last night, and there are moments. It's great watching it with a big crowd, and there are literally moments in that show where people go,
yeah,
right, and
oh,
or you hear like
the reactions from people are amazingly visceral. And at the very beginning of it, and not giving anything away, but the way they just start the show and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was awesome. It's a great teaser.
It really is a great teaser.
Yeah.
And, again, not spoiling anything, but the neighbor.
Awesome. And then they come back to that line.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
There's a lot of inside talk here.
Oh, well, you know what?
It's very vague.
I think they'll have to watch.
Then they'll
11th.
re-listen to this interview and get what we're talking about.
He was talking about this.
I know what I want to ask.
That scene.
What did you you went to Harvard? What did you go to Harvard for?
Because I got in.
Let me rephrase that.
Yes.
Not why did you go to Harvard, but like what was your measure?
It's called a concentration in Harvard. Hate to be that guy, but it was called social studies. It was like economics, history, philosophy, and politics, all kind of wrapped into one. And it was great.
And you did well?
I did, yeah. I was an honors. I was an honor guy. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you went. Why did you? Not the why did you do acting, but did your family go like you probably shouldn't be acting if you graduated with honors from Harvard?
You know, all seriousness, I was the first guy to go to college at all from my family. Both my parents didn't go to college, and we came from kind of a lower middle class to lower middle class. So. One would think I had the pressure to go into investment banking or be an attorney or something like that, but my parents were cool as all get out, and they were happier in a way that I went in to do something that I wanted to do. So I had complete support of my parents. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Great. Yeah.
Were you acting in college, or did you like?
I did a lot of acting in college. It was all extracurricular because they didn't have really any. There wasn't like an acting program or anything like that at Harvard. But I got to work with some really interesting people, like Amy Brenneman was in my year. The directors, like R.J. Cutler and Bill Rausch, who work today in the business, very successful. And I learned the craft. I would do maybe 3 semesters, so 6 a year in terms of plays there, and then learned a lot. The American Repertory Theater was there, and got to work with them a little bit as well.
What got you into acting at all? Like, what?
I'm a failed musician. I would like to have been a rock band.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay.
But it didn't quite work out. So I was like,
I'm in that boat. Yeah, that's how I ended up here.
We're the guys buying guitars at Guitar Center now. We're like hey man, can I buy a new Strat because I can afford it now?
I can afford to buy this shit, but
it sounds really good in my garage.
That's hilarious, man.
I got a band together actually maybe about 10 years ago with exactly that, like some neighbors, and we're like, hey, let's do a band, man. So we get out of the house on Saturday night.
It's still fun,
That's awesome, man.
Fuck around. My brother, he plays out all the time and shit, and if he's ever like, I'm doing a gig over here, why don't you come on by and sing some stuff.
That's awesome.
It's always been a lot of fun to do, but when you realize the odds of making it are forget about it.
You're right.
So you obviously like performing.
Yeah, and I mean, my dad was had a band all his life, and that's how we made half his money. But local kind of band, weddings and bars and things like that. And so I would play in the band with him sometimes. And so it was always and he came from a dad who he didn't know very well, but was also a musician.
Wow.
So it was like rock and roll, kind of musicians. and then so it was, in a way, it was kind of cool that I made it at least in the entertainment industry, even though it wasn't music, because it was a long tradition of people who kind of wish they
didn't want a real job. Yes, pretty much it. I understand that completely, man.
Exactly. Did not want to grow up.
Exactly. Where did you grow up?
South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend.
South
wow.
Bend,
Okay.
yeah.
So what was there to do around there as a kid?
Drink beer.
Drink. Yeah. Blue collar kind of.
Exactly. Very blue collar.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a great place to grow up. I love South Bend. I go back there for Notre Dame games at least once a year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I still have a sister who's there. So
did you have some like real shitty kind of regular jobs growing up at all? Or?
Well, it was like I washed dishes at 14.
Oh man, I was at the El Adobe restaurant in San Juan Capistrano, California, washing dishes at like 13.
Yeah, I washed dishes hot back there, and 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 I worked at. And then when I got to be an adult, I started doing waiting jobs when I was in college.
Yeah,
as a waiter in the summer.
Oh, a waiter/actor. That's
waiter
something you
never hear that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that.
Oh, literal Jimmy.
It was a great, actually. When I got my first gig in LA, it was relatively soon. Within 5 months, and I was waiting tables. And my agent calls and says, "Hey, you got Lethal Weapon 2?" I'm like, "Oh, what does that mean? What the fuck that means? Well, here's what it means. It means X amount of times per week."
Here's what it means.
I was like, "What?" It was like basically 5 times per week what I was making. I said, "Are you sure?" I said, he said, "Yeah, guaranteed." So I took my little waiter thing off. Said, "Hey, this hamburger goes to this table. That guy gets the steak. See you later."
I'm out of here. Yep.
Who were you in Lethal Weapon 2? That was a great one.
I was the guy that most people remember it because I'm the guy we're playing poker and I go turn on the stereo and we get blown up.
Oh yeah.
But if you look back, we're in the whole we're on the whole beginning of it. We're chasing people with Mel Gibson and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, this was the day when like that movie last 18 weeks. I remember this because it was like a really important number.
Sure.
18 weeks I worked on that show, and I still get paid today because everyone watches Lethal. They show it again and again.
Then you still get like some checks for that.
Oh man, seriously,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
God damn, that must have been pretty good though. Like finally getting a job, being able to walk away from waiting tables.
Yeah, especially because the job that paid you enough that you didn't have to, and then the residuals start coming in. And then I did Hard to Kill right after that with, and then I did Total Recall. So I was like, oh, okay, this is
all right.
Acting's easy.
I'm in. I'm in the door.
What's everyone complaining about?
You were Lost?
I did one episode of Lost, like almost a cameo. I did like 2 scenes in it. Yeah.
Oh, who did you play in Lost?
I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah.
Some guy who'd lost his son or something, and some guy on Lost was able to try to, I don't know, I was going to see if he can connect me with him in the afterworld or some shit like that. I don't know.
One of those Lost fucking storylines.
Yeah, I just did it because it was like a classic show. I think I was already on Breaking Bad, and I was like, I just wanted to be on it because it's a classic show.
Yeah.
Actually, the director was a guy named Jack Bender, who is the executive producer and director on Under the Dome now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
In fact, these are his. I'm wearing his shoes right now.
Why?
What the fuck?
Yeah. You see those shoes?
Yeah. I see there's paint on them.
Painted because he's a painter, and like so he'd always wear them. He's a real legit painter,
right?
So he'd always wear them, and he has like a kind of a like scarves and shit. I'm like, fuck that shit, man. So we got drunk one night, and I literally fucking took him like this, and I ripped his shoes off. And I have them to this day.
And you wear them.
Shoes?
I wear them, yeah. I took his shoes right off his feet.
It's amazing they fit. I can't go to a sneaker store and buy fucking comfortable shoes.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. I would have worn them anyway if they didn't fit, but they happened to fit, and he kind of struggled, kind of drunkenly went home like barefoot. I gave him my shoes.
Did you get to meet Stephen King at all? And
yeah.
Hang out and talk to him?
Man.
How's that?
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What a great guy he is. And he's a really, really down to earth and funny and a really good guy.
Yeah. He goes Under the Dome. That's his
based on
baby.
his book. Yeah. Although we're deviating from his book, but he's cool about that, and he's down with that. So.
I started the book, but I didn't finish. Like it was great when I got through. I'm just such a bad reader now, but it was fucking excellent when I was.
Because you're trying to read like 3-4 books at a clip,
and I get none done, and then I just surf pornography. Every time I try to stop jerking off, I'm like, I'm going to start fucking reading.
Keep your hands above the table. Right?
Right.
These computers don't work today.
Are you? Do you pay attention to any critics on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else online?
I used to, like when Breaking Bad first started, because
how am I doing?
Yeah, how am I doing? And it just got so much. Just you can't. You know, if you start, I think in immortal words of either Beyonce or Rihanna, somebody never scroll down.
There you go.
Never scroll down because
there's always something waiting for you.
There's always some dickhead who's got, sitting there jerking off in his fucking basement. You know, fucking North sucks. Fuck you, you fuck. In fact, I'm sitting here right now to anybody who says shit to me on fucking fuck you.
Fuck you.
The scroll down's classic. You're so right. Because you get a few, you're like, I think I'm going to scroll a little more. And you always scroll too far. Always.
I'm the best actor in the world.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right. It always gets to the...
And it negates all the good shit you just read.
That's what Ben says. He says he can read like 99 great things, but he'll only remember the one bad one.
Shitty one.
The one shitty one.
Asshole.
And you know what this asshole is. You know, just some douchebag who's making shit up.
We would talk about this like so many times, whereas like years ago, could you imagine if somebody had to sit down and write a letter? Hey, Clark Gable, you suck.
Yeah.
It had to go in the mail, fucking stamp mail, and then it had to go through 15 levels of people.
Right.
If it ever got to them, it would be a miracle.
Right.
And now it's like any douchebag
can
just be like, you suck.
Clark sucks.
Yeah, great.
They're writing that right now.
Yeah,
somewhere. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah, you bastards. What a piss. Well, it's been great to hang out and talk to you, man. You're obviously one of my favorite shows that I watch, and just a great character. And if people, they just don't know what they're in store for. When I saw just that first episode, it sets up for an amazing conclusion of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, every one of these 8 is as impactful as the one you saw.
Right.
It really is.
I can't wait.
You know, the one after another is like,
Are there people that are real close to you that you go, all right, here's what happens? Is there one person that you've told?
No.
Come on.
I swear.
That'd be tough.
That's crazy.
That'd almost impossible.
Not one. Not even my wife. My wife didn't read the scripts this year either. So
Does she know not to ask? At this point, it's like a CIA agent.
She doesn't want to ask. You know, she wants to watch it too. Like
that's true
else,
too.
You know?
I want to know, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
The perfect thing would be if I got every episode right now, and just watched it myself and gloated about it.
Right. You get people that say like, "Hey man, how does it end?" And then literally like a split second later, they go, "No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell me."
Yeah, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yeah.
So no one really wants to know, and I understand because it's a real joy to watch it unfold.
It is. It's one of the most anticipated conclusions of a series ever. I think.
And the great thing about it is I think we get to go out going, we ended it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or satisfactorily, you know.
I was saying yesterday this show could have gone for a few more years easily without even getting old.
Right.
But to wrap it up in 5 seasons with the amazing writing, amazing characters, and just an amazing story arc, you can't lose.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
it's awesome, actually. Yeah.
And you're on Under the Dome. When is that on?
That's it's on Monday nights at 10. We're on our 6th episode already, and that's just it's a crazy show. It's it's international. We're the #1 show ever in China, U.S. show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're like in 200 countries. It's amazing, man.
It's an insane concept.
It's an insane concept, but it's like the highest rated show. I think there's only one show higher in like all of network TV. It's crazy. I swear to, I mean, in terms of scripted, I don't know what these reality shows are, but in terms of scripted,
definitely.
So it's like a whole. And it's great. It's obviously awesome to be on Breaking Bad and the greatness of it and all, but Hollywood, man, you know what they fucking respect? Numbers, motherfucker. Seriously, like you hang out in Hollywood and Breaking Bad, you go, oh, we love your show, it's such a great show, really
critically acclaimed.
Yeah. Now you're like, fuck you, I got fucking 3-3 in the demo, bitch.
I love it, Dean. Thanks so much for coming in, man. You're amazing. I love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
Yeah, a lot of people will just sit through the first season like one sitting.
Yeah, and it's very
and those
easy
people
to watch.
are called
Very
O&A fans.
Great show, man. I love it. You working on anything else while you're off?
Yeah, I mean, I just did animation series for Disney. It's Tron Uprising. And so I've never done any sort of animation stuff, so that was fun to kind of get into the room
cool.
and play villain.
And you also played Weird Al.
Yeah, yeah, Weird Al, and a Funny or Die piece. I actually just did another Funny or Die called Corky Girl. It'll be coming out in the next week or so. But.
Yeah, I like that. That's just hilarious. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
That should be hilarious.
Funny or Die is taking off, man.
Man, I did something for a comedy website. I forget what it was called, but once again, I bet the wrong horse.
It
was
kind of funny.
What was the other? Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes funny.
Yes. Moderately-amusing.com. Just didn't. What was the one right before Funny or Die? There was a website that was a weird name.
Oh,
Cringe
boy,
humor?
really?
No. Do you remember?
No.
Nobody does.
No.
Nobody
That's the
knows.
problem.
That's the problem.
You're proving your point, Jim.
It had a weird name for a comedy website. Oh, shit.
Great. Thanks.
But Funny or Die, that's serious shit.
Richboss.com.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Come on. That ain't gonna work.
Did he get me there?
Sorry, gonna
Call
work.
it a day on this one. He fucking zapped me.
Did they give you a certain amount of episodes like that they're going to end the show? Is there an end date or just?
We're not really sure.
Keep this thing going.
Yeah, no. I know Vince, our showrunner, wants to end it on a good note. He doesn't want to stretch out the storylines too much, and so I think probably 5 or 6 seasons will be done.
Yeah. And the what's his name? The lawyer is a comic. Yeah, he's fucking hilarious, man.
Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob Odenkirk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's great on that show, too. Yeah.
We did a benefit with him. It was some Andy Kaufman thing.
House of Blues.
It was so bizarre. Fucking.
Was it?
No one has ever milked a situation like Bob Zamuda with Andy Kaufman. Yeah, it was like some 20th anniversary of his death, and they were having comedians, and Andy always said he'd come back after 20 years.
Thing?
Yeah. It was fun to do the gig, though. Oh, they showed clips of his movies with Jim Carrey's movies.
We did 20. The show was me, Norton. I was hosting Norton, the guy. What's his name, Bob? But they had 2 hours before us of everybody telling Andy Kaufman stories. His mailman, everybody, and the room's depressed. And now our comedy show, and they brought us up in the fucking middle of this fucking memorial.
So what you're saying is you have a great excuse why people didn't laugh.
Oh no! I walk down, go Andy Kaufman. I go. I used to watch Taxi. I go. No, he didn't.
See.
Nothing.
See?
Yeah, that must have been an amazing show.
Amazing moment.
Oh, what is that?
Thank you very
3?
much. I texted Roland.
Oh, damn. There it is.
I don't want season 3.
I do.
I'm kidding. Thanks a lot.
Listen, you're not even. I'll give you season 1 and 2. I have it at home. I'll give you 2.
Yeah, well, really? So, are you going to bring Aaron to your house and have him sign it?
Huh?
Die in a fire. I'm getting him to sign this.
Die in a fire.
Thank you. Thank you, Roland. I said to Roland, I texted, do we have anything from Breaking Bad? 'Cause I'd like to get it signed.
Well, sign the cover and just let me use the inside, and I'll give it back to you. That's all.
Nah, I don't like the idea of that. I like to keep my things pristine.
Listen, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Jimmy, I got your answer.
What's that?
E-Bombs World?
No.
Comedy site? No?
Right, that's big. My video's going viral.
I thought I
on
had
that.
it.
No.
What's going viral?
One of my television appearances.
Right.
What television
On
appearance?
Lawrence, when the black lady was fucking with me, I smashed her.
Rich does have a viral video. It's making
okay.
rounds.
What year is it from?
Huh?
He's
Last
beating down
year
a
when I did
heckler.
the black First Amendment.
All right,
lady,
let's talk to Aaron.
I know, right?
Going
Exactly.
viral doesn't mean over
Hold
years.
on,
I like this. Yeah. He really is.
What's that?
I wanted to talk about a lot of shows. They have like these coincidental things that happen.
It's like
that
the
tie
actor's
in.
studio with
Shut
this fucking
up.
asshole.
He's the
Let's
guest.
just have fucking fun, all right, with your dumb
if it was
questions.
like the actor's
He's
studio,
got to fucking do this all day.
you wouldn't
Let's
be in here.
You got these fucking people here. Okay, all this
But we're having
attention.
fun.
He's the co-star. Let's
I
fucking
know.
move on.
I want to talk about. I enjoy the show.
Your idea of fun is talking about your awful Martin clip. Nobody knows about that. And some lady heckled me. Of course she did. She wanted her money's worth.
It's gone viral over 3 years.
Exactly.
Hold on, Tom's back. Hold on, there's an echo.
You're not getting season 3. I'm just going to start watching from season 3 and go, I don't know what's happening.
No.
Why do I have to be punished for what he did?
Season 1.
I'll do season 2.
I don't want season 2. I have season 3.
All right.
All right, let Anthony.
No, I want to get a lot of times coincidental stuff happens, and you're watching the show and goes, that ain't gonna fucking what are the odds that would happen and that would happen? There seems to be, and I'm not going out on a limb here, this underlying thread of almost this cosmic attachment between all the characters.
Yeah,
like that they're. I think Brian kind of is linking all these people together in some strange way that doesn't seem to just be, oh, let's throw this and people will believe it. It is almost some kind of spiritual thing going on with the show.
Yeah, it feels like it all kind of makes sense in a strange, dark, weird way.
Yeah, especially like that one scene with your chick there. That I won't. No spoiler from me.
I don't.
Ain't getting it from me.
Is it in season 3? Because I'll see it tonight.
And she is very hot. She actually made me look her up on IMDb.
Oh yeah.
To see what she was in.
So
anything
Dakota
else.
Fanning.
She's like, hey, you can't use her anymore. She's of age. You got to go with her younger sister now for the joke.
All right. Are you done with your questions? Can we move the fuck
I know.
on?
Yes. Why do we ask questions during an interview?
It's like the fucking Glenn Close interview. Enough of your stock interviews.
Hey, what's wrong with our Glenn Close interview? You did a terrific job that day.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck this interview.
Ask
Rich questions about Rich.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
Do with me, okay?
How did he get such a pretty wife? That's what I'd ask first.
Oh,
jeez.
Because his nose didn't
How
look
long?
like a
But you
fucking
think she's
racetrack.
50?
Look, I hit the pool.
Yeah,
and
hit
you
the
think
pool.
Bonnie's 50?
Terrible.
Exactly.
I didn't say that at all. She implied.
We haven't got
I said-
past that yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still crying about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
All right, Aaron.
I think Anthony's
Aaron
interview is
has a
very
question.
good.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
I love the show, and I'm really glad you came in. I did prove it. I know everything that's going on the show. Breaking Bad. When's the premiere? Sunday, July 17th.
Yes.
10 p.m. on AMC.
Our pal Bill Burr is in it.
I like that.
Do you know Bill Burr?
I saw Bill Burr. Now, wait a minute. That is from the 4th season, which isn't out yet.
Right.
So that's a little teaser.
Bill's in it?
Yeah,
Bill had a spot in it. He told me he's in it a little more, but I haven't seen that. He plays that guy that was testing the pH of the soil.
Yeah.
That's Bill. Oh, Billy Burr. He looked gruffly handsome. His beard was grown in and everything.
I don't like people with red hair and beards.
He gets more
You don't
handsome
like
as
pirates?
he gets older, that Bill Burr.
He really does.
Yeah, but red hair people have thin lips.
No.
It's like
That's right. I don't go for 50-year-old women. Sorry.
Okay. Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
No, you're not 50.
Whoa.
How old are you?
I look beaten down because I've been with him.
I wasn't even implying it.
Bonnie.
How old is Bonnie? Bonnie, come back.
You made Aaron uncomfortable.
You better not
Bonnie-
walk out. This is
It's just
something.
another excuse for me to use meth. That's all.
Exactly.
Bonnie's in her late 30s.
Yeah.
I that's absolutely where I put you.
In her late 30s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mid.
No, she looks good. I'm telling you.
Trouble.
A lady never tells me.
You know, I just
What
tried
happened to the
fucking-
interview?
I don't know. Bonnie jumped on me.
We all have this weird stuff going on. We have this weird dynamic. We're happy you're here. I'm attracted to a married woman in the corner, and it's giving her the creeps. I keep looking at her long toes, and I want to touch them. It's awful.
We haven't even interviewed fucking Hubble telescope eyes over here.
We'll get to him at some point.
Exactly. We'll get to Carl from Sling Blade in a second. I want to talk about her and how she and I can be on Land of the Lost with those slee stack feet. I'm very attracted. I'm kidding, of course. I like you a
Fun
lot.
of her
Sam.
big feet.
She's very sexy.
Jesus.
All right.
So and Brian, he won an Emmy for this.
Yeah. He's won the past 3 years in a row.
It's amazing because his acting is. I guess I underestimated him because he was just in a sitcom for the most part and kind of playing the goofy dad part.
Yeah.
But man, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, he's great.
He gets that whole thing going of the fear and confusion. And he played the cancer guy really well too. I was kind of a little skeptical at first watching it because I'm thinking like, oh God, I hate watching shows like this because I always think I have something. If I watch something where someone's sick in the show, but at least they didn't really dwell on it a lot. He was coughing up blood. I wasn't. I felt I was okay.
You're in the clear.
Yeah, I was pretty much in the clear. But I guess the first, and this isn't a spoiler because it happens. The first killing that takes place that he is responsible for, hands-on and eye to eye, is frightening.
Yeah.
Because you really do kind of get to know that person. And I think he did a fantastic job on that one.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
How many girls now are all over you because you're on this fucking show? I mean, you got to be.
He would have girls all over him even if he
well,
wasn't.
You're
on
your age, of course. I'm talking about. I'm talking about young, you know.
Right.
You know.
I think I can speak on behalf of the
I
youngsters.
know.
I'm talking about girls that you let stay over. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, I mean, are you from L.A.?
I am.
All right, so
How many questions are you going to ask the guy? You ask him two different. Let him answer one first, then ask the second one.
I want to hear the girl thing today.
Of course I do. Do you have girls all over you? You from L.A.? What airline do you fly? How many things are you going to ask him?
Can you get me a copy of the DVD?
I would like the third season.
So, yeah, you're from L.A. originally?
No, Idaho originally, but
Oh,
I've
wow.
been in LA since I was 17.
All right, and has the woman situation improved a lot since you've been on the show?
It's a little different, but I don't know.
You know,
I'm in a very serious, kind of
long
relationship.
term?
Yeah.
Ah, were you in it when you got the gig?
No.
Oh, you got involved after. How many seasons in did you meet the girl?
3.
Oh, so you have
Or
time.
2,
All right,
yeah.
you got it out of your system.
2, yeah.
That's fucking first.
Got it out of his system.
First 2 seasons, you go fucking crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you meet somebody.
And then
who-
settle down.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I wouldn't know. I've only been on a series that lasted 1 season. But I imagine if there was a second one. All right.
You're working on it.
Yeah, whatever.
You're working on it.
You can get, when you're on TV like that, you can get like clothing and
Could you
sneakers.
talk into the
top
mic?
and shit, like, you know
He's,
what I mean?
he's talking about he's talking about pilfering from the set.
He's trying to get
No,
swag.
he's talking getting swag.
He loves to barter.
Yeah, but the clothes
loves
that
the deal.
I wear on the show are they're all like triple XL, like giant.
Give them to Norton when you're done. Nothing.
But that's just mean, Rich.
I got greedy.
It's all right.
Did you have to hang out and watch some meth heads to figure out how to?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching and going like, yeah, that kind of looks like what meth would look like.
Yeah. I definitely surrounded myself with a lot of those characters.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, I went to rehabs and it was an interesting time.
A real disturbing scene is when you're having sex with that hooker thing in the room, and I'm like, I was
Wendy. Yeah.
I was kind of like, what's he doing there?
What's he doing?
That's gotta be
What was wrong
some
with
kind of
Wendy?
she's just a disaster, meth head,
She's fat?
bad. No, but she's like got meth fucking.
Yeah,
like,
she's our
teeth
crack
and-
whore of the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's great, but yeah, she's definitely the crack
Who plays
whore.
her?
This local actress in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they completely ugly her up.
Yeah. Oh,
the
is
girl
she
that
not?
played
She's
your
not.
girl?
She's not quite that bad.
No.
The girl that played your girlfriend was really attractive.
Yeah, Kristen Ritter.
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah.
Yeah.
She's,
definitely.
No, I'm not farting.
I actually somebody. It's got to be Jimmy.
No, actually, it's not.
It wasn't.
No.
Someone
Was it Rich?
got nervous
No,
on
it's
the
not
couch of
me.
Zilches.
It's one of the couches. Because you stuck
Who
the
got
whole goddamn
nervous?
studio during an interview.
It was Sam? Oh, I'm in
Oh,
love.
Sam.
Oh, she's a good egg.
Is it really you?
No, she's
bad.
like,
Who
It's really
farted?
bad. I'm sorry. I'm
really
actually
bad. It
starting
had to
to
be
smell
Jimmy.
now.
Jimmy, was it
I'm
you?
starting to smell it over here.
No, I would tell you.
Wow.
I
Good
wish it was
Lord.
me.
Why won't anyone admit
Open the
it?
door.
I don't know.
Tom, was it you?
No, good Lord.
This must be what it smells like in the meth lab without the gas mask on when everybody just falls down.
You guys
Well,
getting
can you
any?
give yourself a car crash?
I will. I'll try.
Really? You should come up over here.
yeah,
It's really bad.
Save you.
Now whoever farts now is going to get blamed for the last one.
That was. You people are terrible. That really did stink the whole place.
Yeah,
up.
it was awful.
I suck.
Good Lord.
One of our new people, I think, is fucking
Yeah, I
a little
know.
nervous.
Did
on
someone
the
admit it, huh?
I gotta apologize.
Another
for
No, this is a really fun room.
messing up this whole fucking.
Yeah.
What
Another
press
risk
are you
of
doing
having 20
today?
people in the room.
You have a bunch of radio shows?
Yeah,
or
I'm
TV?
hanging out in this building and hopping around. to
Like
different
you're
places.
doing a junket, a bunch
Yeah.
of okay. Any TV today?
I don't know. I honestly have
pop
no
you on.
idea what I'm doing.
I think we're having Brian on Monday.
Yeah, he's coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck! I wish I would have had something get signed.
It's really cool. Yeah, now see, you would have had 2 signed things.
I got to get that dirt.
You got nothing.
You
You got nothing.
stupid.
I saw the first 3 episodes of the 4th season.
Oh, what you think?
So I'm psyched. Very good.
I've only seen the first of the 4.
Really, really good, man.
Yeah, it starts off really-
No one's going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts off well. The 3rd season ends like, oh my
Yeah.
god. and then the fourth kicks right in.
The fourth season is definitely our darkest one. Yeah, for sure.
And believe me, the first three were pretty dark.
Yeah.
How many episodes? Sorry.
No, there's 13 in the fourth, and so yeah.
How about the other ones?
There's 7 in the first, and then 13 in the second and third.
Isn't it weird how cable does things? It kind of gives you like a freedom that network never gave. They had to commit to 22 or whatever.
Yeah.
So if they didn't like it, they'd shit can it. But 7, it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
I went through the first season pretty quickly. I was like, oh, I don't care what happens.
Let's see what's on reruns.
Yeah, it was. It just grabs you, and then the whole show just has this. Everything's kind of tied together, which is weird. And I really didn't kind of get a grasp on that until I guess maybe the second season. That there's this cosmic thing going on where I guess you're the center of it. And was that put out in the first season, or they kind of think of that later?
What Breaking Bad is attempting to do is to do something that has never been done in the history of television. And that is to start out the series with a guy in one kind of person. He's, in my case, I was a milquetoast high school chemistry teacher who is a good guy, loves his wife, has a couple kids, one special needs child, and is just trying to make ends meet, just trying to get through life. And over the course of the series, that completely changes because of circumstances that comes up, i.e. terminal lung cancer. You got 2 years to live. What are you going to do? So he changes his entire life, becomes a drug dealer, and by the end of this series, whenever that's going to be, I will be this hardened guy, this hardened criminal.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how it'll end in that respect. Like, will there be some kind of redemption? Will you just be a bad? Because as this is going along, from the first season till now, like, you don't have problems with killing people. You probably enjoy dealing the drugs more than you would running a science class.
Well, it's an interesting look, sociological study, really, because you say, what are the influences? What are the indicators that can change a man? What confluence of occurrences has to happen in order for, as our lead writer says, he wants to change the guy from Mr. Chips to Scarface. How do you do that?
Yeah.
You know, what are the circumstances?
Right. Yeah, because it's not that you're doing everything at this point, because I'm caught up, and I even managed to catch a couple of the season 4. Yeah, it's one of the perks. One of the perks. And I got to tell you, amazing. Just amazing. Yeah. Because the way season 3 ended, and then stepping into season 4 like that, it was perfect.
Cool.
But you start wondering, like, okay, this character did this for his family to start with.
Yeah.
But now you're enjoying this. There's a part of you that doesn't want other people. It's like, hey, this is my dope. This is my stuff.
Yeah.
And you're proud of it.
He takes a proprietary relationship to his dope.
Yeah, and it's not just taking, which was paramount at the beginning, was taking care of your family.
Right.
Making sure they're okay when you're gone. Nothing else other than that.
Right.
But now it's this thing where the character is turning into a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly as planned.
Like planned.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is not going to be any redemption to this man. He's going to go.
He's going.
It's in the title, Breaking Bad. We're going. It's going all the way there. And the trick is, in that first episode in the first season, you plant the hook in the audience that they at least relate to this guy. They either know him, like, I know a guy like that, he's just trying to make ends meet, or that's me, I can relate to him, and then you hook them. And then as you start to allow the changes to happen to this character, it's challenging for the audience to follow him along. And the audiences that we talk to, they love the show, and they say, look, man, you're really starting to piss me off now. It's like, you're freaking me out because and it's like, you're still on the ride because you're hooked. You're strapped in. There's no way out.
It is a great strategy because if they just went right into it as a drug dealer, you'd be like, hey, look, I've never done that. I can't relate to this guy.
And why would I want to watch this guy?
Right.
Kill people and make drugs is I don't know.
I've seen it. Seen it before.
Yeah.
But this guy, regular Joe, he's married, he's working, and then gets cancer.
And that's it. And our show asks that question that everybody's played over dinner at some point. What would you do if you had 2 years to live?
Yeah.
And what lengths would you go to make $1 million? Mm-hmm. And everybody, when it stays in that hypothetical, it's easy to take the moral high ground. Oh, no, I would do it. You know. But if it's really honestly presented in front of you, what would you do?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, man.
I would kill my enemy.
What? What if your enemy is?
I got $1 million. Kill my friends.
No.
Oh.
If I only had the 2 years, I would actually wait till I have about 3 months, and I got a short list. And I'm being honest.
Short list.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to leave this building.
Yeah.
Fuck that morality
for work.
But how would you take care of your family? That's the big thing.
They're already taken care of.
Yeah, but that's you. What if you were, a high school?
Oh yeah, well
teacher?
I don't have the answer to the $1 million thing. Cause I already got that. But I
elitist. Yeah. Well,
like I don't understand. Like Goldman hasn't gone after OJ.
Well, he's probably waiting.
But I think there's guys
He's
out
in
there
jail.
when they do
Yeah,
have terminal shit.
He's made OJ's life so miserable. OJ would be better off dead. Fucking Goldman got every dollar in that civil suit. So believe me, OJ has been miserable for 15 years.
What does prevent people from maybe going after some people that did them really wrong in their lives if they know they're not going to be around?
Maybe there is that redemption thing.
In my day, it was Jack Ruby who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. He had terminal cancer. He was the guy who was sent in. Take him out.
Yeah.
You think there's more people like that out there?
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I think from playing this role as Walter White, I've realized that even the meekest person out there is dangerous and capable of doing some real terrific damage.
A great thing about the character, too, is taking that intellect that would just be this nerdy, geeky intellect that obviously you've had being a chemistry teacher, and using it to outwit people, to save your own ass a lot of times against people that should be a lot smarter in the drug industry, but you're seeing like how they're working, pick up on it very quickly. How you got out of getting killed by the washing machine thing when they were going to take you downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Is genius. It's genius. It's like just blurt it out, and the guy goes like, I don't want to spoil anything for people, but it's like, oh my God, now they can kill him. But it's fantastic.
My concern is, though, what if kids are affected by this negative?
You ass.
I love this interview because I haven't seen the show yet, but because
I saw the first 2 episodes.
I can't wait
they gave me the box set recently, and I love the first 2 episodes.
I can't wait to get the box set and go through this now. Man.
It's fantastic.
I understand that my co-star came here, Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse. And there was the promotional discs that came in, and he didn't see him yet, so he took them.
Yeah.
That putz head bastard.
Did he take it? Good thing I didn't bring mine in.
Well,
How
we got him
shitty are
before
his
he
connections? He has to go through us to get stuff on his own show.
He's really got it played.
I had so
Billy
many
Burr
people.
was on the show too. Right? Billy?
Yeah.
Bill's got a
Burr,
part.
yeah.
Bill Burr had a part.
Friend of ours.
He was on. I was watching the season 4 couple of DVDs that they gave me with a couple of episodes, and I was watching it in my theater downstairs. So
you guys.
It's like a box cutter. It's fucking horrible. Their lips are like.
Did it take you that long to think of something thin?
You got greedy.
Well, I looked at you and nothing came to mind. Fucking swollen fuck.
He gotcha. I guess we'll continue with our couch of zilches. But Aaron,
you have him here. You're going to talk to him?
No, I'm thanking
He's a
Aaron
busy
for
guy.
coming in.
He's a very famous guy.
He's got to walk around this
Where's
fucking
he going? To the Food Network next? He doesn't want to leave here. This is fucking
You don't want to
big.
ask him
with
questions.
you in the
You don't
room?
want him to
He
leave.
didn't want to come in.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, but he'll come back now.
Yes. Breaking Bad. I wish that was a documentary about your teeth. And there's a big fist on the cover. I hate Rich. But I wish I had seen more than 2 episodes. I'm annoyed. I want to watch more over the weekend, so I'm more prepared for Brian.
They're great. It's a great show to sit down and marathon with the discs.
Everybody
It
talks
brought
about
my wife and I closer together.
Stop calling me your wife, you cockblock.
Wait, so you guys aren't married?
No, we are.
They are.
She's trying to get some sides.
She's miserable. Miserable.
No, we are married.
Have people been trying to make blue meth? Like just putting food coloring in it? I bet they are, right?
Yeah, some people have gotten busted for having blue meth.
Blue meth.
Yeah.
And it's just because they put food coloring in it.
Well, what's the difference?
It's
Why are
not
they
made with the
doing
good
it?
stuff. Because it's like celebrity meth. It's on TV.
Because our meth on the show is blue.
Yeah, you watched it. Do you remember
Oh,
watching
yeah,
it?
wow.
You remember watching the show?
Glad you're
I was a
watching it,
crackhead.
Rich.
Do you know colors?
Glad you're watching it.
Real
Would
fan
you
of
read
the show.
You don't have to be
synopsis?
a meth addict to know.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Oh, to
color
watch
of
the
meth.
show, you have to be a meth addict.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to tell you.
Oh, wait, excuse me,
You won't
sorry.
get it unless you've been on
Sorry,
meth.
fucking research breath. I don't remember the color of the fucking meth.
Why don't you remember? That's an easy thing to remember.
Research breath. Oh, my
I
God.
remember every
Stop
episode.
trying to shame people who know things.
You can't just turn your head. Your whole body has to turn.
He's trying to shame Anthony because he knows the show.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the star of the show, and what are you doing watching it and asking
What an
questions about
ass.
it?
Yeah, I'm asking him questions about a show I enjoy. Wow, what a dick I am.
Exactly.
Fucking guy.
Exactly.
Damn Rich.
So what are you doing? Bothering him with questions about his own show, which is premiering. Why would he want to talk about that?
On July 17th. That's, by the way, the 17th, same day Casey Anthony gets out of jail.
And 2 days before
think-
my birthday. See how ugly it is when we make it about ourselves?
I want to know when your birthday was.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Look.
Let's get Aaron out of here.
Let's wrap up
before we
because
fuck this up.
Get Aaron out of here. I want to get the fuck home. It's Friday. I'm tired.
We have to finish up with the Couch and Zilches.
Yeah, the Couch and
The
Zilches.
Breaking Bad, obviously, I'm
Yeah.
annoyed I have not seen more. It comes on Sunday night. What time?
Yep, it's on at
10
10
p.m.
o'clock on
10 p.m.
AMC.
Right.
Look for Aaron and Brian in that. It's a fantastic show, man.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
it. And pick up the discs and get caught up, you bastards.
Can you get it on iTunes?
Yes!
Of course. iTunes, Netflix.
Yeah, come
It's
back and see
everywhere.
us. Next time you're here, he won't be
Yeah,
here. So
yeah,
don't worry
exactly.
about it.
Please.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you didn't
Thanks,
want
Aaron.
you didn't want us to interview the guy.
Yeah, you wanted to
I
start asking
wanted to
questions.
get it.
I'll
you
get
know,
a picture with Aaron.
no, he's not doing pictures.
Yes! My stupid iPhone. And
I'll take one with a real camera.
Fucking face. Oh, yeah, so I never see him?
I have a whole. I gave you a disc.
No, you didn't.
I did so.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you have some of our
It's
pictures.
almost
Jimmy.
over.
The wall was there. And
Yeah, go
They just
ahead.
let it happen
Hal
like that.
Danny
No, it's 5
did
minutes.
it the other week, and I laughed at him. So.
No, but
Look at
this is
this.
like
This looks like a fucking.
No, it's rolling.
This looks like before and after.
Hey, thank
Could you
man.
snap one at me and Aaron?
I love the show. Love it.
I normally don't do this, but hold on.
Mr. Picture, I normally don't do this.
Jimmy had an extra good smile on that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Jimmy, you really went for the smile on
I want to
that.
see your handsome picture, Jim.
Yeah. Jimmy, why the over-the-top smile there?
Oh, with the annoying interrupting guy.
Yeah.
At some point, Voss will watch the show and then be like, "Oh, that was the guy."
he does. He
Oh.
has watched
Oh,
the
that
show.
was the guy.
I know that fucking show.
And you'll be pointing at a different person.
I'll tell you, it's in my top.
Oh, shit.
What?
It's on my wish list. on
Is it?
Amazon. Yeah.
You know what's on mine? Right. We get it.
Hopefully a plastic surgeon.
I know. I'm a fucking disaster. Believe me. I have no illusions here that I'm a fucking wreck. I was supposed to do Red Eye last night, and I couldn't even fucking do that.
Would you
It
do
kind of
Red
would have been
Nose?
funny if I know. Yeah.
Do they sell swimming helmets?
It would. I think I need one, man. I'm a disaster.
Who's the last guy on the Couch and Zilches? Give him a little time.
Well, we didn't talk
Yeah.
to the fireman.
Give him a
Oh, we
little
talked
We
to
talked to the fireman.
Oh, yeah.
The fireman.
As Rich
And,
calls him, the fireman.
the buzzard from
Damn it, I
the Bugs
have one
Bunny
of those and
cartoon.
I
You haven't
didn't
talked to
bring it
him.
The what?
This guy.
You're the best.
Well, that should have been yours. You're the
Thanks,
host.
man. No. I got one.
yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Hey, Aaron,
Aaron
thank
Paul,
you, man.
thank you, sir.
Enjoy the rest
Thank
of
you,
your
brother.
the shit that goes around this fucking studio.
This was
Later,
your best
man.
interview of the day. You just don't know that yet.
Take it easy, man. Open that door. Come right in, sir. Hey, there he is. Brian, sit down. We're on the air. We just do this.
On there.
Easy as that. How are you? Oh, look at that. Nice to see you with a little bit of hair on your head. That's good.
I'm good, guys. How are you? I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah,
You know,
Dan,
as
Brian Cranston,
there was
yes.
a guy in your producer's office.
Yeah.
Who has a Heisenberg T-shirt from the show, and
yeah,
you know, other people, other stars of TV shows get to sign tits.
Yeah. What'd you get?
I signed
That.
this guy. Yeah.
Usually, if it's a
crazy.
listener or a staff of our show, you're still signing tits because
Yeah.
the guys here really not staying in the
It's man
best of
tits.
shape.
Yeah. Who did he sign, E-Rock?
Salil.
Was it Roland? Who's wearing the shirt? I don't know.
Oh boy, look at him, he's panicking with his little 5-year-old
I'm just trying to figure
baseball
out
cap on.
Exactly.
Who was wearing the
Looks
shirt?
like a
Hey,
little
Vic
child.
Morrow, take some pictures.
Yes,
that type of show, bro.
That's the Blackboard Jungle hat.
Yeah, that's a good one. Brian, wow, I can't say enough about Breaking Bad. My girlfriend, she watched it as it was playing, as it was on each season, and kept telling me how good it was. I went out, got all of the seasons, and by the first show, I don't know who figured this out, but the first show is so weird, the opening scene even, that it's like, all right, now, thank you, I'm hooked on this. And couldn't stop watching it.
It's designed that way. I mean, the very first page of the pilot episode that you're talking about says, a pair of trousers are falling down from the blue sky, white clouds, red dirt, hits the ground, an out-of-control RV rolls over them. Inside, a man only wearing tighty-whitey underwear and a respirator drives frantically. Next to him and I'm going, what? Next to him is another man with a respirator. Behind him, 2 dead men sliding up and back in a sea of chemicals and glass. And that was page 1. And it was like, what?
That's what gets you, because you cannot turn that off and go,
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
Hey, let's bring in Aaron Paul.
Yeah,
where are we going to put him? We got
He'll be in the chair of honor.
The chair of honor. Ah, there he is.
Wow, I know this guy.
It's like, hey, I know this guy.
Fuck, I know this guy.
I know. We have the
Jim.
How you doing, Anthony? That's
Opie,
brother.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And for the 80th time, I have to explain. Look, I don't normally look like this. I had a fight with my
He doesn't
pool.
care.
I didn't even notice it.
No, actually, I look like you in every episode. I know. You get the shit beat out of you constantly.
They
love beating you to a pulp,
throwing me down.
Yes, you're Jesse, of course, on Breaking Bad.
Jesse Pinkman.
And I didn't watch the show from the beginning when it was actually on, but somebody turned me on to the DVDs, and it was one of those where I popped the first one in and went, all right, that's it. Captured.
Yeah.
That first episode grabs it because you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And from there, it just gets better and better.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I started smoking meth.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
really,
have that effect.
it kind of does make you want to do meth.
Yeah, it
because
really
just
does.
looks so fun.
Yeah,
They're just like so excited when they do it and everything.
I literally just started. I'm only 2 episodes into the box set because I know the new season starting. What happens after the acid bleeds through the ceiling? I'm kidding. That's where I am. I have
The melted body falls through.
Yeah,
That's where I am
that's
right
a
now.
great
Yeah.
one.
I've only seen the first 2.
That is a good one, and you screwing things up like that really makes the show, because obviously you got Brian, who's very technical and knows his shit. And you're just like, yeah, well, you get a plastic tub when I could use the metal bathtub. And ooh,
I can
See,
do
you
this.
learn stuff on that
bad
show.
idea.
Like,
you
don't
really do.
Yeah.
Have you been watching it and thinking like, I think I could make meth?
Yes.
I'm going to have to be devil's advocate. I don't get it. No,
I don't understand the
No,
story.
we watched the first 2 seasons,
Yeah.
and I mean, this has nothing to do with you, but it's taken forever to get the 3rd season on DVD on Amazon. Is it out?
Yeah, it actually it just came out.
It just came out.
Yeah.
He's having a problem with his iTunes download. Could you pull somebody?
Can you go to his house and
Hey,
work
wait,
on
listen. I'm married. My wife and I are comics, and we don't like talking to each other, so we got to watch this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? 2 fucking seasons. You know how much conversation we.
Rich, what is the show about for the people out there that don't know?
It's about. You want me to tell you? It's about.
Yes,
it's
please,
a school teacher who thinks he has a certain amount of time to live. He has cancer, so he wants to leave his family with a little nest egg.
Right.
So and he's a chemist, so he realizes, hey, I can make money making meth because it's big. They kill people throughout the show. There's never an investigation. People are dead. Okay, the guy's selling meth in front of his brother-in-law, who's supposedly a big DEA agent. Okay. but it's fucking good. All right,
But that's
it's not
just
like
it.
it's not like the killings of Son of Anarchy where they kill you right in front of a cop and they don't investigate. There's drugs behind
it.
it.
Is, but I see it as they're like drug skills. They're scum. Like a lot of times you don't really want to investigate.
Have you ever
much
been
into
in
that
an interview where you didn't speak at all?
No, actually, this is fantastic. I love watching you guys talk.
It really is.
I'd much rather be in this situation.
We're just looking at Aaron and going, right?
Yeah. And I just said, yes,
right.
you're absolutely right.
No, I do want to ask you a couple of things, I gather. You were not supposed to be in the full show.
No,
you were just supposed to do.
Jesse was supposed to die at the end of the first season.
Now, what changed that? I guess you did a good job.
Thank God they decided to keep him around. They just Vince, our creator, kind of just loved the tug of war, odd couple, like beating head element of Walt and Jesse's characters. So
yeah, I couldn't imagine like what they would have done if you weren't in it, because it would have been kind of one-sided. It does give that kind of two guys that are complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, it's this type of show is like you never know if you're going to die or not. There's a lot of our main cast. They just meet their demise, and
when I first started watching it, and I was trying to stay away from spoilers.
I don't know any
people
spoilers.
Will just be, no, I'm not going to say any. But people are like, there are these holy shit moments where you literally sit there and just go, holy shit, no way. No fucking way that just happened.
Right.
Or that person got killed or whatever. But
so wait, when you got hired, you knew you were supposed to die at the end of the first season?
I had no idea.
You didn't?
Yeah, I mean, I've done so many pilots, and none of them ever, see the light of day. And this is the first one that I did that actually got picked up. And I just thought I got a series regular gig, but they told me towards the end of the season they were going to plan to kill off the character, and then they decided.
Hey, we got some bad news for you.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to die.
Don't tell him.
No spoilers.
You know what's depressing? When he came in, his publicist was outside, and she's looking. I'm going, oh, she recognizes me, and it was stupid fucking Tom Papa.
Of course she recognizes Tom. I work with her too. Tom's a big star.
Tom has a show on NBC.
Yeah.
You were on between fucking whisk commercials in 1997. You depress me because you look like what I would want to look like.
It's true.
He's me.
Oh shit.
He's me if I was really handsome and thin.
And in shape, right?
He's the perfect Norton.
You're what I could have been.
No, you couldn't.
A little booze during pregnancy might have hurt him.
No, and he can act. He knows what to do with his hands. Not like Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Eyes don't pop out after every scene.
I do. What do you do? That's the hardest part. I always ask real actors. When I act, I don't like. I'm talking. My hands are very still, and it's fine. But I don't know how to work my hands when I act. It's a fucking nightmare. I literally am all over the place.
You're not a puppet.
Your mouth.
He's a puppet.
They're all over the place. It's uncomfortable.
Maybe hold something.
That's a good idea. But every scene I'm holding things.
Where are you going to put a black cock on every side?
Your mouth.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now, Bryan Cranston's your co-star. Everybody knows him from Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
And he played like a pretty goofy guy in that. And you could see pieces of that come through in Breaking Bad. Is he more like that on the set?
Bryan Cranston is a child trapped in a man's body.
Yeah, that's what it comes across as.
Yeah, he's incredible.
His girlfriend's a child trapped in his house.
Oh, right, Rich.
Oh, me?
Oh, yeah,
Anthony.
me.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty funny.